At the tone, please record your message.
Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Audrey. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a Tuesday afternoon. We're back once again. It's June 2nd. We have just begun the best month of the year, so hopefully you're ready for that. And we're here to play some Netrunner, that's for sure. It also has been a busy weekend, mind you. We are healthily into Megacity season, so we have a lot of responses and stuff. Upcoming weekend, there's a lot of stuff. Shout out there, Sundarian in chat. There is the Vancouver Megacities just this weekend, June 6th. So hopefully you're going out. There's always a great party out there. Feels like ages since I caught Métropole Grid stream live. Hey, Seabeast, how's it going? Maybe it's been a minute, but hey, now it's easier than ever. We have 2 time slots. We've more than doubled our streaming hours per week. Speaking of content too, we're putting out some video content, and I want to say this is a bit of a short-lived, experiment. But we did upload this video. Don't worry, we straightened out the footage in a bit. But we put out the Montreal Districts 2026 footage, the first game, and there's only 2 games because top forcing elimination is literally only 2 rounds. But the first game is up yesterday. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And the second game will be up next Monday at the same time slot. So it's nice to get some gameplay up on the channel. I actually had to edit down my commentary because at the beginning I said like, these games were in the old meta, so I'm not going to do like a good job editing them. I'm just going to talk over them. And I did solo commentary. And then I had to edit that part out because I just edited it properly anyways. So it wasn't that bad. It's fun to edit. Happy Pride. Yeah, happy Pride, SRN. How's it going? Hey, Komodo. Ahoy. How's your Monday? Joe, let's go. Yo, Baza, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. I don't know if you went out this weekend or not. I love me some Tuesday streams. Safer, it's been a minute. You gotta play some Deadlock with me. I've been like really into Deadlock when I have some spare time. I don't know if you've been playing it a long time, but it's been great. It's been good enough actually. Yeah, let's just say that. Editing was really slick. Thank you. This is how we used to edit gameplay, and we haven't had gameplay on this channel, I feel, for like a year. This is how the channel started, I guess, for those who don't know. There's a history here. I think we're like 10 years old in July. Hold on, let's find out. We'll go to oldest. Yeah, this is 10 years ago. And I think this was, oh, sick ad. That's awesome. Actually, no, that's great. We make money on the channel. You should watch this and purchase 7 of whatever they have. This was published in July 20th, 2015. Oh, wow. So we're 11 years old. Did I miss the 10-year-old birthday last year? We're 11 years old in July. But this is exactly how the channel started, where young Andre learned how to do motion graphics and then figured all this out. In fact, this graphics title has been the same. I had to make it quickly because I'm like, I don't know what to put at the front of the video. But the same thing with the card overlays and all this. Technically was a bit more elaborate back then, but yeah, 11 years later, we've learned nothing. Been meaning to get back into Deadlock, so down whenever. Okay, sick. I think we're friends on Steam. The game's still good. They've been adding characters and making some changes. It's been great. I've been uploading your districts footage, but I'm still in the process of learning video editing. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't need to do any of this. Like, let's be honest. If you just like talk over it, even if you don't talk over it, just putting the video online, some people will watch it. But if you just like talk over it reasonably, invite a friend if you want to. Like, people do want to watch table Netrunner play. There's actually a lot of really good streams this weekend. Not of which of many I was aware of at the time, but like, I think Toronto was streamed. I'm pretty sure Toronto was streamed, but I literally have no idea where. We'll talk about this more in a bit, but like the Berlin Megacities was streamed. It was a really good stream. Like this channel has like 20 subscribers. Like no, actually a fair few people watch this. This is actually really good numbers. But like I think the production level was great. There was live commentary. There was like table microphones. It was kind of really, really well done. So shout out to whoever put this together. But yeah, it's just really good to watch people play in paper. It's been a minute. As much as like JNet tournaments are obviously good for their own reason. I still mostly dead after a weekend of selling Netrunner to people. Oh, how was UKGE? Slept for 17 hours yesterday. Yo, let's go. How was it? How many people are learning Netrunner? What's the vibe like? Did you pick up Arkham promos for me? That'd be great. Yeah, UKGE was this website, which is great. Toronto streamed there at Torsog. Fedora, thank you. Okay, hold on. Let's open that up. So I know it was streamed because I talked to someone who said they were watching it. I probably should have asked what that was. But the Torsog, it was on No. Yeah, Toronto's Grid live stream. So it was a 2-day event. So this only seems to be one stream. A really big thing for folks who are running YouTube channels for Torsog City Grid and also for the nice people at NR Swiftleys. If you do not ask your YouTube channel to put your live content on the front page by like doing arrange my channel, people will go to your page and not see anything and walk away. The fact that you have to go here and then you have to go to the live page to see it, I mean, it sucks. I wish it was on the front page, but it looks like this is the streamed event. And talk about Torsog. Torsog was actually just sick. Oh, this is just the top cut. Okay, so this is just day 2. Okay, cool. So Torsog was huge. It was a really big event. It was like 40 people, which I'm actually like really, really pleasantly surprised with. I was like bummed out because I wasn't able to go. I thought that there would be no people from Montreal. Turns out a bunch of people from Montreal went, which is awesome. But it was like one of the bigger mega cities this whole weekend. Like I think pretty healthily, which is awesome. The folks in Toronto do a really good job organizing, and they put on a great show. So I'm really happy to see that, because I'll be honest, some numbers have just kind of been like lower in Netrunner organized play this year. I'm not 100% sure why, but it's nice to see like healthy mega cities in Canada, which is good. Unfortunately, here in Montreal, we like get to suffer from the fact that we have the World Championship on our front door, so we don't have any major events in the city until October. So we have no mega cities, we have no continentals. Like that makes sense, but yeah, it's like we have districts and then we have literally nothing until Worlds, which feels weird. That's why you travel to Toronto. It's like 6 hours away. You can walk. Also requested Arkham promos. You did. I didn't request any Arkham promos. I just knew they were there, which I thought was funny. Hey Aurora, good to see you. Nothing like being surprised on a Tuesday stream to salvage a rough morning. Yeah, I still haven't reacclimatized to Tuesday streams. I think it's going to take myself too sometimes. Remember that this happens, but I'm always excited for Tuesday. Hopefully it's not too rough of a morning, Aurora, and it's going okay. Okay. Hey Brennan, it's the grid. Peter Celia, how's it going? Had my first time casting round 4 or 5 of Megacity. It was so fun. It was a good production. Do you know, Peter Celia, who was the person who was running it? Because I saw them at the end. They came up and did like a little speech with the winner. I don't know who they were. They weren't credited by name, but they seemed like they did a great job. I don't know if they were also running the stream, but the event looked like it was quite nice. It went really well. A bunch of old FFG and CCG vets got back into it, and new people were incredibly enthusiastic. Was there organized play, or is it just like learn to play because it's a convention? First Pokemon VGC on New Champions game regional was this weekend. It was super cool. So looks also like I have a lot of Netrunner to catch up on. Pokemon VGC on New Champions game. Oh, it's the new, like, that's the free to play fighting, not fighting game, but like Pokemon battling game, right? Training at work and the new guy would be spooked. Good luck, Brennan. Montreal suffering from success. I mean, it kind of feels like that. That's how it is. Craig, how's it going? Good morning. Yeah, we're definitely playing some Topan gaming, and we saw a couple Topan lists do really well this weekend. It just seems like every week I want to play ZomZraft's list. So I'm like super on the fence about the Topan list, because it seems anytime that I've seen it, Topan has seemed to be the worst part of the matchup. And it seemed like Topan has cost ZomZraft games. Or like every game that we tuned in where ZomZraft was playing it, seemingly it was a matchup in which cards in hand mattered. And ZomZraft was caught out by not having enough cards in hand. And obviously like Topan wants to eat cards in hand. So I don't know what to say about that. In terms of the weekend, Lavender played it in the Mega Cities in the finals, played a version of the list. I think she changed a couple cards, but she also didn't love some of the card changes. So we have a couple more data points, which is quite nice. I must say, I didn't realize how much I missed mid-work Metropole Grid. It's so cozy to have these again. Hey, Quesadilla, how's it going? Yeah, me too. It's Tuesday. Hey, Diogenes, how's it going? How's your Tuesday? Semifinal was so well produced. Well done. Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to be like, I don't know what to say about this. Because like there's only one more game and then we're done for a bit, right? Like we don't have gameplay. I don't know if this stuff exists as a video. What's the quality of this? This looks like it's a bit fuzzy. But like maybe I'm at the point that I just need to bring a camera to locals, to casuals, just to film more gameplay. The thing is, like, generally if it's a competitive game, it has higher you know, stakes, and you can kind of expect what it is. This camera angle is actually really quite good. It's a bit, I think the lens needs to be wiped down, but I think it's just out of focus. Oh, we go top down at that point. These are gonna be fun to watch. These are always really good. I don't know if they have audio. This is probably in the basement of the church, which doesn't have a lot of space to do like commentary, but classically like Terrence has been filming these, and I didn't know streamed these too, which is great. That's really cool. Just learned to play. We were trying to do some demo decks with scripts, and it seemed to go very smoothly. Generally, if someone got a demo, they were very likely to pick up SG and Elevation. Game sells itself. I mean, people know what Netrunner is, right? Like, how often do people come up and say like Netrunner, never heard of it? It's usually if you're a board game convention, you're like, Netrunner, oh, I've heard really good stuff. Like, I do think, yeah, it sells itself is a really big point. Pokemon Champions is the name of the game that all competitive Pokemon video game is now on. Whoa, it's just PvP battles and set story. Yeah, it's like Stadium, right? Stadium. So it's all mini games. It's like volleyball and stuff. You do that one where like you're the Sandshrews and you all race to the end. Yeah, I get it. I just don't know why there'd be an esports scene from Pokemon Stadium mini games. They were good though. Solidly 50-50 people that had heard of us played it in the FFG days, and people that had no idea what we were. Okay, I'm getting old. All right, I'm getting old. I'm out of touch. I need to watch this. It'll be linked in the description. Shout out to the Torsog City Grid, and link to this as well. This was great. There's a lot of nice commentators. I think the finals there was a lot of Axu and Warlock doing commentary, and damn, they're good. I've only heard Warlock do commentary really for like ESL, and I think Warlock is really well spoken. It blows me away too. Like all the people who are doing this casting, respectfully, are English is probably not their first language, and they're doing such a good job. Let alone in another language. Like it's absurd. It's really really good stuff. So check that out. Axu is also the goat. This is coming back afternoon Tuesday, Metro. Awesome. Yeah, Diogen, ça va? We're gonna be back on Tuesdays for a bit, so I probably for the next little while. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. I guess for better or for worse. Hopefully you're well. Stream Bonanza. Hey, how are you? How's it going? Didn't realize I was typing into chat. Glad I didn't send all the code meant for my work PC. I mean, just command paste. Just keep going. Like send in the URLs. We'll collect any passwords. We don't know what they're for, but their passwords are valuable. Okay. I think generally the structure of Tuesday streams are a bit looser. I bet there's a community of competitive stadium minigame players. I mean, there has to be. They were good games. And like 4 people can compete. So like you already have a bracket built in, I guess. At one point, I did have someone come up to me who just wanted to talk for 5 minutes about how much he hated Netrunner. He was lovely, but slightly odd conversation. What the fuck? Did you just say like, hey, bud, read the room. This is not you. What can you actually, more interestingly, can you explain why? I won't lie, when I hear a well-spoken English commentary from people that aren't first language speakers, I feel like a caveman given I only speak one language. I gotta get my game up and pick up something else other than English. I mean, you still got time. It turns out it's easier at a young age for sure, but like you can still do it, and I don't think you'll regret it. But yeah, it's so buck wild when it's like done so well. And yeah, I can't, like my French is not good. Okay, how do I ban this? Ban report. Okay, it's gone there. If it's possible, I'd like to see how you would pilot Odanuva's deck to use at Toronto Megacity. I don't know what it is. Generally, I wouldn't, respectfully. I don't like a lot of Odanuva's decks because Odanuva, like, I'm assuming this was a Traps version list. I think this was an Urtical list from what I saw. I don't like that sort of gameplay. Particularly, also, I don't like that sort of gameplay in a competitive setting because you'd have a lot of variance. But you'll see Odanuva's list. So Odanuva is one of the finalists in the video that we're going to upload on the weekend. And also like his runner list is not the sort of Netrunner I enjoy, which is just like, oh, we're going to maximize multi-axis on centrals, right? Like the sort of slapshot Netrunner where it's like, I have not a lot of, ability to play my opponent's game. I'm just going to try and send my game and see if my game can win on, axes. And it's like, I don't know. Only one Urtica used it as bait. All right. So I'm assuming it's just like Melius ganked, which is like pretty common right now. But I don't think the list was published, so maybe we'll see it. I hope that didn't come off as rude. Respectfully, I don't want to. No, but it's usually the decks that he plays don't line up with my my sort of play styles, which is like, that's fine. That's cool that the game supports a lot of different play styles. He just wasn't really into asymmetry, card games, or hidden information, which is like totally fair. Just an odd thing to come up and talk about. You just end with like, yeah, word, and then they leave. You'd be like, okay, yeah, well, I'll do nothing with that information. It is published? Okay, hold on. Maybe it's just not on the popular page. Author name? This. Oh yeah, cool. So this is very similar to the one that he played in Montreal. And the thing is, like, this is also very similar to the modern, like, good Melius decks, like the competitive Melius decks. The BOAC is fun. Komodo's in chat, so they'll get happy about that. But this is not very different than what we've played on the channel before. Like the jungle decks do this. Generally, you have a choice when you play Melius Glacier, whether you want to be playing 3 Sisyphus or whether you want to be playing Lotus Haze. The Sisyphus into ganked is particularly like mean. It's not super common. But yeah, no, this is actually like relatively straightforward for Odanuva. I know this is very similar to the list that he played at Megacities, or sorry, at Districts. But yeah, this is just like Jinteki Glacier. It's good. Most I hate Netrunner conversation I've had boiled down to wow, game too hard or wow, game too random. I haven't heard game too random in a long time. Is it hard to live in Montreal without knowing French well? It's definitely not hard. You can get by speaking no French. It just does limit your options when it comes to like career stuff. But it just kind of limits your, I think how much you feel like you belong to some extent. There's parts of Montreal, mind you, that are totally Anglophone. I'm in like the Mile End area. I'm more in the central core. So like both languages are expected from most positions if you work publicly. And so if you go out to like a store, to the street, if you speak English, someone will respond to you in English, sometimes begrudgingly. If you go to like the West Island, it's entirely Anglo, where schools are Anglo. People don't even speak French. But then you can go to parts where like people don't even speak English. So like there's a pretty big gamut, a pretty big spread, excuse me. When it comes to Quebec, the province, which is massive, as soon as you leave Montreal, yeah, your English is not going to help you anywhere. So specifically where I live, you can't get by. And I know people who have grown up here who don't speak French at all, or particularly well, that have no problem being, fully functional people. I feel strange because I moved here, so that feels kind of weird. But yeah, at this point, I should have sorted it out. They are going out of the way to make it much more complicated and much more difficult. Specifically, like the government will not respond to you in English anymore, which they cracked down on that a couple of years ago, which is relatively hostile, I think. But yeah, it's okay. We'll see. Hey, Bardic, finally catching this live. I might pick up System Gateway next paycheck, trying to find out my buddy who bought into the original release will play with me. Thanks for telling me about System Gateway. Bardic, it's really easy. If you don't want to like spend, your next paycheck on it, you can just like print and play it. All the documents, the PDFs are on Null Signal Games website. So you can just go there, go to a library, go to, I don't know, a store where you print things, or an employer maybe, and just print out the cards and go get some like Magic lands for free at a card game store, and you're kind of good to go. So you don't have to, but you can. Should I be brushing up French for Worlds then? No, you have no reason to. I think if you're coming to Montreal and you're like a tourist, as long as you can say like salut, merci, like the basic things like s'il vous plaît, s'il te plaît, people are super, super happy. The thing is, like, as soon as you say something in French here and they hear your English accent, which of course they will like jump to English. Like they're not going to fight you about it. And if you're noticeably, like if you're not living here, people are just excited if you try. So if you try, that's like already way, way, way good. There's no hostility about that for sure. The fact that I've actually managed to convince one person to import BOAC and they've actually succeeding makes me so happy. Lizard. Yeah, there's some Lizard. Sorry if it's already discussed, but are you concerned about the PD kill deck as a negative influence on the game? I'm not 100% sure. Like, I don't know how consistent this is. People seem to be, as soon as this Megacity teching for this, and this deck did not win anything this weekend. Not that it didn't do well, but I don't think it won any events. I'd have to double check that. We will together. I think it's bad that we saw like a turn 4 combo that like takes, maybe 5-7 minutes and then kills a runner with 6 damage in hand. Like that's obviously not good. And I think people will get better at this and better at playing it and better at setting up potentially. And then that could be an issue. I think nobody wants the game to be like over on turn 4. Obviously they don't, but I don't think this is proven to be an issue yet. I do think the fact that the turn 4 kill was caught on camera, especially against also ZomZraft, is like not fortunate for the narrative here. And if this is an issue, I think it will be addressed. I think we'll have to wait till the whole Megacity season. And so far, 1 weekend away, it hasn't been an issue, but that might change really relatively quickly. There's still PD and top cuts, but I don't think this deck archetype won anything. I know 34 Witches hit a top cut in Cambridge this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm not like a doomer about it for sure. A1 Toronto feel pretty consistent from experience. Oh, okay. So maybe I'm wrong. Ultra Filter also, congrats on the weekend, right? I think you made a top cut. So King won with it. I assume King was playing Jinteki. Okay, so I'll look into it. And in fact, we have some footage we can watch. So it did win Toronto, which was actually a pretty big event. So maybe I'm wrong about that entirely. I think Hermes drastically raises the amount of random runner winners. Corps have much less opportunity for random win conditions. I think you see a surprising amount of like weird random wins and competitive core play where it's like somebody steals something on turn 1, steals 2 things and dies to measured on turn 3. Like in competitive games for the last 4 to 7 months, I would say we've had surprisingly many 3-turn games on both sides of the table. That's not great always, but like we've had weird measures out of nowhere. We've had weird situations where runners like just do really big things. Hermes is very easily one of the most powerful cards in the whole format, and there's always going to be a more powerful card in the whole format. It's undercosted. Its ability is really, really strong. I would not play a criminal deck without it. Obviously, I wouldn't, which is an issue for the design space, but I don't think like, everything's falling apart because of Hermes. It's absurdly powerful though. It's a very, very strong card. I was volunteering for cons, having gone with another person to pick up food that spoke French, but I definitely noticed a vibe shift to my interactions. I mean, if you try, like if you come in and you just say a couple things in French, like you can order in French clumsily, people are very excited that you do that. Also, if you like show that you're not from here, like if you can wear your, your American flag or your whatever, I don't know, people are not gonna be upset with you, but that'll show that you're not from here to some extent. Hey, Funky Man, how's it going? I had to take French twice, so glad to hear I stumbled into English. Also, very importantly, the French here is very different than the French in Europe. Not that you won't be able to communicate, but like growing up in the Ontario school system, they taught us French. We live 6 hours away from the border, 5 hours away from the Quebecois border. And then you come here and like you cannot understand the accent. So like your European French is still valuable, and there's a lot of European French speakers here, but like just understand Quebecois French is very much a different language, and it's different in a funny way. It's kind of Quebecois French, from my understanding, is like old English compared to modern English. It has a lot of like weird antiquated stuff to it. Like no joke, the slang for car in Quebecois French is char, which is chariot. Not joking, but it is kind of like people speaking old English here. It's weird, it's strange, and I was very surprised when I moved in here. Dullbulb tech with eye for Megacity with combo PD and took the Megacity Cambridge one. Yeah. I've watched the video of the deck list, and we'll definitely talk about the deck list today. I think I was shouting out on stream last week that I would definitely play eye for eye and Anarch to deal with combo PD, and it looks like it was a good choice. I think that list has like some pretty big flaws in it, but there's some really, really, really strong backbones to that list. It's a bummer too, and we'll probably talk about it more when we talk about the list, but like currently it seems like the good stuff Anarch list is literally like reg, flat Anarch with stealth, and then twinning and Keiko, and it's just like, throw me into the ocean. Like I get it, I totally get it. After image is really good. The code gate breaker is pretty good. Don't play the fractor. In fact, don't play 3 stealth breakers in any stealth deck. It's a huge mistake usually. But yeah, just like being able to break sentries cheaply and then having twinning is like good. It turns out it's really good, and it's really annoying. That's what Anarch has been for the last like 6 years. Flood flop is a lot, but I think actually PD's recursion ability, when people are talking about this, okay, here's my 2 cents. Do you know how you fix this deck? You ban Drafter. Okay? Just ban Drafter. I'm not kidding. Ban Drafter. I think people are going to be like really upset at Flood and fully operational, all that sort of stuff. Nah, that stuff's new. That's interesting. There's a lot of ways to interact with it. Honestly, my issue with this deck is that the face check into the Drafter loses you the game. Face checking into a Scatterfield or Sleipnir costs them 3 to 4 credits. That can matter. Now, Scatterfield has good tech. Sleipnir has mediocre techs, I'll be honest, in this deck list. It's okay, but it's not the most important. It's just running to this, they grab a fully op back, you lose the game. Did you trash a 3-cost card? They brought it back, installed it. You lose the game. And like this card is so over curve. Now it's like the best sentry HB has seen in like 9 years, but like ban this. And I honestly think you can start face checking into stuff. You can't face check into this. It's way too bad. Nobody breaks this well. I think there has to be weaknesses to fully op. And right now, like face checking into a Drafter, they get the fully op back and they install a card. It's way too much. I don't know. That's my take on it. I'll catch up on chat to see how much people disagree with me. But like, it's a weird call. But and then you'll have no sentry for this list. And maybe you'll end up playing like some of the weirder sentries. But like, just get rid of this, and then you can face check more. I think that's the issue. You can't face check a lot. Wearing an American flag feels like a terrible idea. I mean, could be worse. Honestly, I'm a big doomer about this combo deck. Yeah, I haven't seen enough of it to get to that point. I haven't seen enough data points. Maybe after watch the Toronto stream, I'll change my tune a bit. But yeah, it's something you can deal with. It can help you for sure. I think my doomerism of a PD deck is just that's basically zero interaction. There's things that you can interact with it, but more so like survive than it actually is to be disruptive. If you wanted to be disruptive, you need to play things like eye for an eye. You need to like, you know, play ways to go centrals. Stefano, this is Warlock, right? Am I hearing his unbanned Begalter? I mean, you're kind of hearing it, aren't you? I do want to say that your commentary on the weekend in Berlin was really good. There's a really funny line where Axie said something totally inane, and then you were like, what the heck are you talking about? It was like the funniest thing. Even Axie laughed. It was very good. Guess I'm printing the box and using all the extra Marble Champions resource cards as backs. Yeah, start there, honestly, Bardic. Like, that is a very big part of this game. This game wants to be as accessible as possible, so don't feel like you need to spend money to try it out. Try it out, and then if you like it, spend money. I'm not part of Null Signal Games. Maybe they'd want you to spend money, but at the end of the day, if you like it, you will pick stuff up, and the game is relatively cheap, so don't worry about it. That's why the print and play PDFs are there. I want a PD ban or a flop ban. I think both together are just too crack. Personally, I prefer a PD ban. I mean, I could see a PD ban. This ability is very, very good. In fact, I honestly want this Agenda Suite banned, if anything. Like, I want to go to startup. I want to not be able to play 6 3-pointers, but a lot of weird issues here. I don't know. After playing it against like 3 times in the past 3 days, kill flop. I'm generally starting to think that 40 card corp IDs are not okay. I agree with that, Crank. The ability to merely 6/5/3s in your corp deck has been unhealthy at multiple points in history. Yeah, this is awful, right? Like, this is the quintessential worst part of Netrunner. We've seen this many times in the meta. When these agenda suites are common, it sucks. It just sucks. And like the fun of Netrunner is like touching centrals. It's like making runs. And a lot of the times making single runs don't make sense when you have this as your agenda suite. Again, the runner needs to hit like 21 single axes, which means there's no point playing half of the game. You basically have to play their game, which is control the table until hopefully they fall over. And like, I mean, that's okay, but yeah, this is just garbage. It is so annoying. There's no fake points on the runner side of the game, if I'm not mistaken. So you literally have to get your 20 axes in and then still maybe not even have a chance. 40 minute card IDs make me sad. Yeah, the fact that this can be 18 agenda points is the worst. I wouldn't mind getting rid of all the 40 card IDs. I think they are a bit of a mistake. Do you remember when Drafter first came out, it was barely played because it just looked like a subpar architect? I don't know. I know people saw this and were like, that's worse than Architect, because of course it is. But I think it still got played. I don't think this was ever in format while while Architect was around. I don't know. Please don't flop into the sun. Hey, right. Had a good weekend, huh? We literally provide print and play. NSG wants people to play the game. Yeah, NSG wants people to play the game. They don't want to make money. Weird as that is. We already got rid of RH, JK. No, you're not JK. That's true. Glad you like the commentary from Berlin. Axe and I have a pretty good chemistry behind the mic. It was really quite good. I thought it was very charming. Let notice that simulation reset is used for great effect here. Yeah, but okay, so like the way that simulation reset is used in this deck is inspired. It is kind of goofy, but the way that simulation reset is used in this deck is by decking out, right? Like you get to know cards in archives, or sorry, in R&D, so that when you play simulation reset, you can choose 5 cards to add from the archives into your hand, and that's technically cool. There's a chance that this card could get targeted because at the end of the day, these sort of recursion cards from archives are toxic. Like they're poisonous. Technically not so much in this deck, but like I have played, I'm going to put Diogen on blast, like simulation reset games against Shinteki Glacier where you just put like 3 bites back in your deck. Like, no, stop it. Like that shouldn't exist. Man, this card is the worst. Never liked this thing at all. Single click 5x archive memories. Let's go. Exactly, Garcia. Like it's not healthy, but like this is the only deck where it's been used in standard in the last like 2-3 years. So it's easy not to care about this. But it's I don't know. I think I still think the recursion ability on Melies is inherently problematic. Like we're now hitting the big deal part. Like people are doing this. People are playing big deal Melies because you can score out Regenesis and not have a card enter archive, so you can fast advance out a 4-pointer or a 5-pointer, right? And so like you run the wrong thing, the big deal comes back, right? Like people are playing measured. It's like just the worst. You make the long run and their win condition comes back to your hand that you trash. It's like, no, stop it. Don't let them bring the bites back. It's just the worst. I can't get over it. I've used Simmerset. I know you have. But you've used Simmerset for tempo. Like, we are not the same person. This is Simmerset as a combo piece, you know? Like, this is used as a strategic combo piece, not just like Dirtle, shuffle back in 5 econ cards. Play the game for another 15 minutes, respectfully. Maybe recursion was a rub all the way on. Yo, Terrence, how's the weekend? I think simulation reset is ever used in this way, it should be banned. Speaking as someone who played the combo deck this weekend, I did not realize that the king won the event. I think that's the only event this weekend where this took an event. And I just got a link to the stream, and so that's good. Terrence, was this recorded? Was it just streamed? Also, the event on the weekend seemed like it had a huge amount of players, which is just great. I'm really, really happy people came out for that. I think Flaw doesn't fit the philosophy that you have more money to make money. Petty cash hedge, government subsidy to draw 10 cards with just 1 card is weird. But it's not 1 card. It's like, if you want to draw 10 cards with fully operational, it costs you 9 cards. Right? Like, this has text. Like, to beat this, you need to trash their ice hard, let's be honest, not a thing everyone can do, or you can trash their stuff, right? As long as runners are able to trash their stuff, this shouldn't be an issue. And I would rather, I think, have this card exist because it's an interesting card. It works in a lot of archetypes and a lot of different factions, but make it harder for corporations to spam stuff. Like, I'm a sort of player who would rather ban top-down solutions. I'm a sort of player who would rather have the face check space less punishing. Like Drafter, which nobody can break early easily. Even like, I guess Revolver's the best you have. Maybe you can boomerang, but then they just don't res, so what does it matter? Like, I don't know. I'd rather have the game about you have ways to deal with the powerful cards than just get rid of the powerful cards. And for me, what my experience so far is, which is pretty limited, is you don't have enough clicks to run while respecting all the ice and to trash all this stuff. And so if you can slow that down, then this is an interesting card. Does this deck collapse into hard tech? Tron, from my understanding, you need really hard tech to make it collapse. Otherwise, it can beat reasonable hard tech. It can't beat the hardest of hard tech, right? Like if you put down a Hermes, okay, they need one more combo piece. If you put down Hermes and a stone chip, then they probably need 2 more combo pieces. But I do think there's iterations of this that can score at 9 points. It was recorded in the way that I opened up OBS and hit stream. Okay, I also hit the record button, but I suspect the quality will not be up to par. Yeah, unless you set up your recording quality specifically in OBS, it's probably not great. But if it looks good, maybe we can do something with it here if that's interesting. But yeah, I'm glad you streamed it. I think the problem with flop is that only one faction can reliably contest ice installs. Once the ice is down, the corp can install 3 servers. Now threatens flop 3. It's not even expenditure. And that's the thing that we saw, like on the 4-turn combo, like cards like this. It's like, oops, you just have another server set up immediately. Like that, I don't know, maybe that shouldn't happen. And then this costing 2 doesn't matter when you get the money back. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I think ultimately, at the end of the day, this is not a card to draw 9. This is like 9 cards to draw 9. I just wish we had better ways to deal with the other cards. Because like the trash costs on this, we thought the trash costs would go down, and they're not. It's like we have 4 costers, 3 costers, 3 coster, 3 coster, 4 coster. Like these are the numbers that we were promised wouldn't exist in 2025, let alone 2026. Like the butts are still big. Like these are still wizard ass numbers in 2026. And that is another big issue. The non-neurospike version of the deck, hey Talk, is still quite strong. Scoring 9 points in 1 turn is possible. It just isn't as strong to score with 2 turns with fewer tricks and short turns. Yes, I think the one that JTF can still score to 9. I do think it's slower and might be softer to tech because there's like not a single card that can just end the game. So you have to score 9, which seems like a longer, tarmac you have to get down. But I don't know. Like I've never played this deck. I've never played against it. I've only seen a couple replay points. So like I'm not an expert. I gotta pretend I am. But yeah, some kind of recurring trash cards based on the number of servers the corp has. I mean, maybe I could say that, maybe wizard, I don't know. But like ultimately the tools for runners to contest this sort of board state, that seems to be more of the issue. And I do think some of that is the ice is too good and too cheap and the face checks are too relevant. Like a 4 strength 3 cost code gate is nonsense. And having to be able to break this like 2 turns in a row and trash something behind it doesn't make sense. To be fair, the deck is prioritizing high trash costs over functionality. You love to play Warm Reception. The card's harder to trash. Yeah, I could see that. Warm Reception would set you up quicker. But like, I think those are genuinely the bigger issues. Maybe, I've never been part of Start and Standard Balance. I'm never going to claim I'm going to know what to do here. But like, maybe there's a chance that you can ban these things in the midterm. But like, I think ultimately the issue is numbers too big, face check too hard. This gets too big too fast. Because this card has been around for a long time and it's never been massively unhealthy. It's always been a powerful and interesting card. And adding Flood the Market to the mix now just means if you fail to 1, you fail to 2. At least this closes the game a bit faster, maybe. I don't know. What about a card that's virus counters used to trash things? And another card that gives you a virus counter when you make a successful run. I bet cards like that would deal with the deck pretty well. And how about also Kolava? Instead of paying the trash cost, you could do like the res cost? Maybe? Like... It's interesting. Well, this one doesn't care. This one's perfectly symmetrically made. Besides the word double, it should be triple. The first triple you play, then it's 3/3. Costs 3 less to play. To be fair, the deck is sorry. Between Chesva Companions and Bad Pubs, this meta runners have access to lots of free eco to trash though. Not fast enough, and Chesva doesn't work. In fact, there's only 1 companion. I don't think a lot of that sentence lines up. Apologies. I think Flop Flood Melius is too much tempo at once. Well, I mean, yeah, that's why you got to trash your stuff, right? Train Agenda is just cursed that we learned nothing from Astrotrain. I mean, Astrotrain was kind of cool for a minute there, wasn't it? When everything corp installs the first card in a root or remote server game, 1 credit might be too strong. The thing is, like, I don't even ultimately know if that solves the issue, right? Like, say that the runner had a built-in access to hijacked router. Like, is that even good enough? I don't even think this is good enough. Like, this is the opposite. This is the corp loses whenever they create a server. Like, is that good enough? I don't know. Don't bring the wizard back. Don't worry, Dan. We're being facetious there. But that's what I mean. Like, these are numbers. Bring back Bones. I don't think Bones is it, but I do think that's the sort of thing we need. We need a way to be able to deal with the table relatively soon. I do wish we had a mining accident instead of the worst version we got in the set. Yeah, Compromat doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Shout out to the one Compromat deck that was published recently, where it seems to be an okay card. But yeah, it's not exactly that easy. What's your favorite card in Netrunner and outside Netrunner? Any abilities in card games in general you love? Oh man, so any abilities in card games generally you love? Tokens. I love tokens. And it's not something Netrunner does at all. But cards in the game that can generate cards from outside of the game that have limited value, right? So token decks. I guess the closest card that we would have to this is if we had an identity or hardware or program, whatever, that could generate a Chrysopian skimming as a token, which is a 1 or 0 cost event that you played that had an effect, I would be down for it. Because it's a card that is generated. So it's not worth putting in your deck, but it's valuable, right? I love that idea. I love token decks. Love to see it in Netrunner, where you bring out cards from outside into the game. I think that's great. My favorite card in Netrunner, I mean, that's a hard question. There's lots, but generally, I don't know. I'm just a huge Geist fan, like many are. Geist has just been some of my favorite Netrunner. Just drawing cards clicklessly is good. We have Lampades. We do have Lampades. Issues you have like 24 clicks to stop PD from comboing? Yeah, that's what people said. But like, if you can spend your clicks more effectively, you'll have more clicks, right? Snare is my favorite card? Yeah, I guess Snare is a lot of people's favorite card, isn't it? I guess it is. I feel like I missed a couple of chat messages, so apologies. At the line is, we don't care if you buy the game, we're happy for people to play it for free. Seem to really convince people to buy the game. Reverse psychology. Any game person should be in front of their booth being like, no, don't buy it. We don't want you to buy it. We just like, if you have fun, that's great. And everyone just buys it. Do you like your token idea? Andre's a Geist enjoyer, unsubscribing? Cranked. I'm such a big Geist enjoyer. Yeah, how are you still here? Yeah. Tuesday Gate A, pre-cheap. How's it going? Yeah, I like token cards. I think they're really quite fun. Like, imagine we had a run-based criminal that just generated a 0 cost event that just said make a run. Like, that's honestly almost interesting. Like, under some condition, you create a 0 cost event that goes into your hand, so it can be lost to net damage, but whenever it hits your archives, it gets removed from game. So you have this way to like create cards for damage, but then just having a 0 cost run event is not a good ability, but you can get it consistently enough for free so that all the other stuff in your deck works, right? Like Debbie Downtown works. Your touchstone works consistently. Like, these are the sort of ideas I love. I love the idea where it's like, okay, this is a very low value piece, but if you can generate it consistently enough, it becomes interesting in the context of an engine. Red team on mine creates clean getaways for centrals. Yeah. But imagine that if red team instead, like the new red team says that, I did read team, that said like at the beginning of your turn, put a clean getaway from your hand, like a clean getaway-esque token. And then you can choose how to use it. And if you don't use it, maybe at the end of the turn, you discard it. I don't know. You have to make rules about it, but it just seems fun. Don't abilities on the board with limited use counters kind of mechanically function like tokens? They do, but notably cards are very different because cards work like cards. So like the red team doesn't make a run, so it doesn't actually combo with like most of the things you want to be doing in run-based criminal, but also because of the card, it doesn't work with damage, it doesn't work with discard effects. Like it gets a bit more useful or a bit more interesting, but you're technically right. You could make it just a click button on a hardware, but the way that actually plays out is significantly different. Yeah, they're never being so cheap to start plays. Ironically, why now I spend money on it? Yeah, they got you so good. Yeah, the mouse deer, yeah, works with the mouse deer as well. Sunk conchal, like it's neat. It's a neat thing you can do. I like tokens, they're fun. Especially because they don't have to get shuffled into your deck too, so you can get pretty wild with alt arts and stuff like that. Hey, London, Flop is a big offender. Multi-server is a huge commitment. Corp should need econ asses to support it, and runners should be able to contest that. It's a shame because Flop is cool for 1 or 3 remotes. Yeah, what if you put a limit on Flop? I don't know if it changes that much. Tokens are fun, but for physically games, it can be annoying to have to bring cards that are not part of their deck. I mean, adding one, like, I hear you, but like, generally with these tokens, you only need 1. I understand, like, if you go to, you know, some magic event, you have to bring like, here's my 6, you know, goblin tokens or whatever. Like, yeah, that can get a bit annoying, but generally with this, you only need 1 or 2. It's not too different than people bring like the marked cards or like a marked die when they play Sable. But yeah, it doesn't seem like a huge ask, but I'm not asking for a deck to bring like, you know, whole conjuration deck worth of stuff. Guys, creating token ice or icebreakers could be a thing. Creating tokens in hand seems a bit hard. I think creating tokens in hand is actually how it should probably play out. In your opinion, would Flood, the market to fully operational, be better banned to stop the PD combo? Better banned than what? I'm assuming as part of this that Null they're going to ban the type of deck at some point. I don't know if they will. I think it has to be proven that it needs to be. At this point, it seems like, you know, everyone wants to be scared of something. We're scared of this right now. I don't know. I'd be really surprised if they banned these cards. I'm assuming generally the way that they work is they want to make this the floor of this, or they want to make this, they want to have runners have more agency to make this not pop off as fast as possible. So I would be more in the camp of like banning top down or like simulation reset, weirdly enough, or as I said before, just ban drafter. It's fine. You can ban drafter. It's okay. You'll have no sentry. You want to play an HB, but that's another problem. Hey, Kirby, you did some commentary on the weekend, didn't you? Or no, we watched you play in Berlin, right? Playing Sable in this economy. I mean, isn't that fun? Yeah, exactly. Not that different than bringing 3 Melius copies. It's not a reasonable ask, I think. Yeah, you bond the cards like you do in Arkham by including one card, you automatically put the other with not in your deck. Yeah, Arkham has this as bonded cards. Honestly, not all the bonded cards are that interesting because they don't feel like token cards. They're just like a way to access a different card. They don't play out like token cards. Hey, Conrad, I've been looking forward to today's stream as a way to get me through a very slow workday. Happy Tuesday. Hey, happy Tuesday, Conrad. Hopefully it's not doing too bad. Fully up and flutter, interesting effects. I hope we can do something else instead. Yeah, like these are cool effects for the game. This has been around also for a long time. And it's only now becoming problematic. And I think you want to address why that is, not address this card. This card has been around since 2019. Ignore that text. Would prefer something like a hardware when the corp draws a card. Yeah, I guess the closest we have to something like that is Lagu, which is like when the corp does tempo, get tempo. Personally, I think it should be either YDL or flop. I would see YDL go, at least there's interesting the two. Oh yeah, I guess we could mention YDL. Like YDL is a problematic card that ends up on a shit list anyways. If YDL gets banned, I don't know if this deck just dies. Maybe it does. But again, I don't know. I haven't played enough of this. But yeah, YDL technically is a target. But I'd be very surprised if they end up banning an NBN deck in 2020, NBN card in 2026. I feel like that's a pretty ugly look overall. Maybe the minority here, but I'd much rather flop style deck be part of design goals versus full no ice assets. Yeah, I agree. Exactly, Conrad. I think it's way more interesting. There's way more fail states. It's harder to deck build. It's more interesting for the runner. I do think overall flop is way cooler than just full horizontal assets, which is why I want to protect this. Too many cards interact with ice in the game, and it's a bummer to queue up as Baz and to deck with 3 pieces of ice. Amen. Yeah, these are the things what I mean. It's like this is inherently a card with a lot of interaction points. Just make the interaction points more reasonable. YDL did nothing wrong. Stop the NBN hate. No, I'm saying I would be surprised. I mean, you can't ban an NBN card in 2026. They'll just win worlds again. It doesn't make sense. Issues both WinCon and Econ. I'd rather ban a flood and let the Econ live without having a strong win condition that banning the Econ is getting the WinCon as collateral. Ooh, hold on one more time. I read that too fast. Issues both WinCon and Econ. I'd rather ban a flood and let the Econ live. Oh no, I think you want to have a WinCon. I think WinCons are way more important for the game. I think every time that we lose a win con, the game gets smaller and smaller. And then you end up playing twinning for 17 years. I think Powers is a decent ban target here. I think Powers is like an integral, a very interesting card for a lot of horizontal decks. Like every horizontal deck wants to play this. I don't think it actually matters for this deck. It's good, but I think the deck can live without it. Maybe that's the design goal, is to make this deck still playable, but not busted, which I'm assuming it is. I don't 100% know. But yeah, maybe. I just think like Epiphany wants to play Powers, Ayuko wants to play Powers. And I think this is like, I think what Powers does is also like very rare for the game and also should be celebrated, is like giving corporations a reason to score agendas is good for the game. It is genuinely good for the game. Shout out to World Office, but like getting abilities that fire when the corporation scores. Again, this is not a good thing, but like team, I don't know if people know, this card is a reprint of a non-unique 4-cost trash card. This used to exist. We used to put 3 in our deck for 3 influence. Like, and I'm not saying just because it happened back then we should do it again now, but it seems kind of nice. Team Smo was awful. I had fun out there with my Lakshmi tokens saying you can't steal my agendas. I don't know what you're talking about. People love this. Do folks feel NBN is missing an ID for a flood style deck, or is it lacking the ice, or both? That's interesting. I think like it doesn't seem better than Epiphany, so I don't know why you would. In terms of an identity, like the identity options are okay, but they don't seem stellar. And like I do think inherently that's one of the big issues with decks like this, is decks that have a powerful operation, specifically a powerful operation that fires to score an agenda, is always going to be good at PD because you can consistently get it back because you just scored an agenda. NBN also has like a weird slots issue where like their ice is okay, but not this relevant. The economy is like strange too. Not that there's a lot of economy in here besides fully up, which you'll play fully up. Then you have to like play tags. So like you have to put 3 slots in your deck for oppo, but then you also have to have tag punishment. So you end up playing like beat 1001 and then like 4 operations for tags. Yeah, it's weird. That being said, like these assets are very, very good for this win con, right? Like Humanoid Bass, Wage Rigger, Cyclotron, like they're all very, very good. And so if you're playing NBN assets, you're playing like some econ cards, B1001s, and then like Hollowman's your best card, or even Vlad Grid. I don't know. Could ban PD? I know. I think you could. That would honestly make sense. It would make so many people so sad though, right? Like think of Rotom. Maybe Rotom would be happy. I don't know. Think of Rotom though. Powers is frequently a really interesting trash decision for the runner too. 3 trash costs for something that might not be relevant. Yeah, exactly. You see that and you're like, don't worry, I won't let them score. And then your hubris kicks in and you lose the game in 3 turns. Never been there. I have fun playing GameNet Flood personally. Yeah, fun in GameNet in this sentence. It's rare, but like that's good. Yeah, we've tried it in GameNet. We've played it to like some amount of success in Sync. It's okay. The rate of ID banning in NSG area is a little disappointing, to be honest. Why, though? Like, are you disappointed that the game's in a better spot? Because I don't think that's actually the message that you're trying to say. I think you're trying to say that the problem is that there's not enough IDs in the game. Because I agree with that. Ultimately, having an ID that's not healthy, which I'm not saying this is a worse problem than not having enough IDs. I do think a lot of the issues we run into constantly are just because the card pool does not expand fast enough, which is like, I'm sympathetic about that issue. Obviously, we'd all want it a different way, including NSG, but fun playtesting story. Powers was not unique for most of playtesting. At some point, we identified that was really snowbally when you could have multiple. But then how did the theme work? I guess 3 people, 3 copies. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. That's cool. Yeah. Anyways, we'll have to play this on Thursday, which means I have 2 days to figure out how to play this, which I don't know if there's enough data points. Luckily, there is this this tournament to watch. Not this one. This one's from 11 years ago. From this one, which is going to be a good watch. It's a bit fuzzy, but I think we can watch it. Yeah, we're as good as it can get. This is like the Vaseline on lens, like David Lynch kind of dream look, which is it's a good vibe for Netrunner. And the fact that this is streamed at all, like, we should be thankful. And like, this is what you expect. You got your little rising tide there. You got your Hermes and Lou. Is this Tatsuya? Then we've stolen 153, and then on the other side, the king is about to combo the F off and win the whole tournament, is my guess. Looks like the YDL's in the bin. And we're off to the races. Metropole during work in this economy. What's up, dude? Yo, Z-Bag. I saw you at Tor Sog, or at the Megacity's top is Swiss for a moment. I wonder if that converted. I tuned in halfway through the day. Hopefully you had a good weekend, eh? Lunch returning. Sick. Yeah, man. Bummer to not make this. It's always like such a great event in Toronto. They do a great job. Okay. We've been streaming for a bit. Before we dive into some games, I think we should just continue on to the news segment to talk about a bit of the meta and what we saw this weekend. So for that, of course, we have 2 things. We have the meta analysis, and we can look at some results on ABR. So megacities are like underway, that's for sure. And so we get to see some good results from bigger events. There were some sizable events this weekend, so let's check out what it is. May 30th. Was there an AMT this weekend? There's an AMT this weekend? Huh? I guess there's an AMT this weekend. I had no idea. Okay. Casual New Jersey. Let's look at the Cambridge Megacity, which this is the one that Dullbulb won. There's a video and a half about this, which is great. Toronto Megacity's at 36 players. That's sick. That's a really good number. I did not think it would be that big. I'm so happy it is. Berlin Megacities was 27 people. Toronto being the biggest in the world this weekend was like pretty sick. Shout out to Toronto. That's awesome. And then, well, I think those were the 3. If I'm missing one, please shout them out for sure. Hey, Gyro. Birthday on Sunday, crushed everyone, then bailed. Oh, they got lucky. You let them win this tournament. Second week in a row, I'm surprised by Tuesday stream, but this time it's just because I'm forgetful. Yeah, well, welcome back. So let's look at this. This is the standard AMT. So AMTs are, they're not exactly the most competitive thing, but there's always good players playing great decks, but it's sometimes a place to explore. We're looking at Lou, Essa, Arsana, and notice that. Okay, there was only like a handful of players here, but 1 criminal. And I do think that's the one thing that you have noticed is people have fallen out of love with criminal. I'm not 100% sure what it is. The criminal into the MU, the Melee SU matchup, maybe that's not great. I'm not 100% sure. And to the PD matchup, I think that's meant to be okay technically. But yeah, man, criminal is falling like a rock. And I don't think we saw a criminal deck with an amazing, really good representation for the last little while. And I'm not surprised. I do think like the reg, there's always this like middle of the road. If you ask the average person at the tournament what they're going to play, it used to be Sable all the time. And at this point now, I think it's Lou. So like that has shifted over. This is not super surprising. You'd expect a bit more Wayland, but Melius and Ayuko, yeah, about half the meta sounds about right. And I think we're going to see that trend across a lot of different IDs. Probably my last update for a bit. Cards printed. Yo, Bardic, that's sick. Sleep them up and have fun. There's some good content on the internet to teach you how to play. But yeah, it's a good time. That's for sure. Stop Class Act, play Q-Loop Crim, good. I want to play more Q-Loop Crim. I want to play more like as Crim, which I think might not be the worst thing, JTF. How's it going, by the way? Something interesting is that with the last SPL update, we're back on 5% of the card pool on the ban list. Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. I would have guessed, yeah, somewhere between 2 and 4. Madison, Wisconsin Megacities in 2.5 weeks, by the way. If you're in the Midwest, please come through. Madison, Wisconsin Megacities. Is that off the grid or is that separate? I think off the grid's a bit later in the year, right? Cranked? Yeah, Q-Loop is good fun. All right, so we look at this. Cyber Shark takes it with Melius and Lu, and then we have Ayuko, and then this is going to be High Speed Rail, which I'm assuming is a Neurospake version of the deck, so it did make the top cut. Whoa, this is not. This is something more, I want to say honest, but this is just like a combo scoring plan. We're on a single nano management. We're actually on corporate hospitality with 3 single cyclotrons, so I actually do see that interaction that I've never seen fire. 2 peer review, which I'm not sure why exactly. We have Greasing the Palm, and we're playing 2 and 2. I don't like this card. I don't know why we'd spend 2 influence on it, but I don't see any like combo for why we'd play this besides, well, Wage Workers with events is the reason to play this, I'm guessing. As much as the 3rd Greasing seems just as good, if not better. Very, very strange. This is from Athleti. Athleti was in the top cut of the Summer Showdown just a couple weeks ago, so they've been playing quite well. But yeah, interesting. This is a scoring out combo thing. ODG separate? Okay, so it's just separate. Q-Loop was my first card I really did fall in love with, then I got sidetracked. Yeah, me too. It's such a cool card. Hey, Double, hello. Congratulations on the weekend. Glad to see your success with good old Corsair. I'm going to get salty about it, but not at you, of course, as much as the kayfabe is that I hate you, and we'll lean into that a bit. ODG separate? It's a Minneapolis the week before. Oh, very cool. The week before. Okay, cool. So you have a lot of good options if you're in the Midwest. Anyway, it's neat. These events, there's a lot of really strong players here, so I don't want to discount AMTs. Sometimes they get kind of like goofed on for being like the silly online thing that is free to enter, but there's really good players here, so like don't feel like that. That's not a good way to be thinking about things. Cambridge, speaking of, created by Not Yeti, who is, I think, was also playing. And yeah, so there's still criminals here. Moosely Hots are showing up. This was 24 players, so it wasn't the biggest event this weekend, which I'm so surprised because the UK events are always banger in size. And then this is what you would expect. Melius into Ayuko. I do think this should be flipped. I think Ayuko is probably the better deck overall, but not a big difference. And then we are playing PD, and I'm assuming most of these are combo players. After that editorial division in 4th spot, but 3 players is still way more than you think at a 24 player event. It's probably Essa. Yeah, it's Essa. And then I don't know what this is going to be, like Topan. Oh, Seb. Yeah, that makes sense. And then everything here is in the back. But yeah, outside of Moosely Hot, not a lot of people are doing anything. So yeah, interesting. Now, when we come to this, and mind you, Double posted a whole video talking about this. These are the 2 lists that took it. We'll open those up and talk about it in a second. I want to shout out teammate Cable Carnage, who has this deck with 3 revolvers in it and no other killers, which is pretty sick. And then this is just Botu Gaming, I'm pretty sure, with the River Dolphin in it. Otherwise, at the top cut, we do have 2 criminals, which is a pretty good conversion rate for how few criminals there are. And Motion Blur is playing Rexaya, which V5 is a good version, it seems. 34 Witches, no doubt, is playing the current deck list of the week, maybe with some changes. Maybe somebody there will know. And I'm assuming maybe Kikai is as well. I don't take Kikai as a huge combo player, but Kikai is always great to watch Kikai play whatever Kikai's playing. And yeah, actually, Not Yeti did make the top cut on his own event, which is crooked, and I think there should be investigation. Cool. Oh, and Tanzin just bubbled out. And I think this deck list too gets mentioned a fair bit because Tanzin's the other stealth player, and Stealth Anarch dropped no games this weekend. Was this a single day event or was it a 2-day event? Generally in the UK, there's single day events, but we'll find out. All right, grind them to a nub. So this is a Melius list, 14 influence, save 1 for the Lord. And it is just a ganked Sisyphus Regenesis deck. So Diogen, you're talking about like the version that Nick was playing. I think these are the versions that you see commonly, whether it's jungle or not. I don't think Dull Bulb loved this list, and I don't know if it did that well compared to the runner side. It has only 14 ice, which seems pretty low for a 54 card deck, so I don't totally get that. You have the Seamless ganked. You're scoring out with your Costas. You have your Charlottes. You have 3 bites, which this is a bit of a grinder deck, and you're on 12 agendas and 54 cards because we do have the full Let Them Dream playset, so you do have fewer points than it says on the tin. And we have also Proprietary Negation and Sisyphus, which I actually don't know if I've seen a deck that's running the full playset of these. Usually there's a 5-3 in here, but we're on no 5-3s, we're on 5-2s and Regenesis. So you're probably gonna have to score out 4 agendas, but if one of them is a Regenesis, that goes a bit faster for sure. Time to pull out the Shackletons? Yeah. Just like they intended. Don't take Kikai who played combos Mario all last year as a combo player. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't consider Kikai as a combos Mario player, but he did play it. I think of Kikai, I think of him as playing like, honestly, I think of him as playing Cybernetics Criminal, which is sick. Yeah. Save 1 for the Lord. I mean, you got to. 15 is just, that is selfish. All right. And then this is the list, which like is meant to be red poop deck, but I got to put my foot down here. This is not pronounced loop, right? In the UK, are we all saying loop? You live this close to France and you're saying loop? It's loo. So this is poo deck, which is equally rude in a different way, but we can't call this poop deck. I'm not allowing this Dull Bulb. Parts of this are really quite good, right? So Things that are weird, things that make a lot of sense. Firstly, it's Lou. Lou is pretty good. You can play a 40 card deck, and it's not actually that common to say a Lou deck on 40 cards. You run into some issues with like some of the more grindy decks, like see the other side of the table, and that can be an issue, but otherwise it's quite nice. This is a stealth list, and the first rule about stealth is generally don't play 3 stealth breakers. And if you want to listen to Dullbulb's video, which I'll link in the description, Dullbulb doesn't have anything really good to say about this. And that is because Corsair is not a particularly good card in terms of the numbers. It's surprisingly expensive to install, but the bigger issue is that unless you have Tungsten Tailor, it only comes in at 0 strength functionally, and there's a lot of barriers in the game, especially early gear checks that cost 1, or sorry, are 1 strength. So whether it's the Tattoo Bolas or the Blade of Barriers, there's a lot of 1 strength ice, and that means you need to have Corsair, you need to find stealth breakers, and then you have to get this all on the table. Now there's a couple problems here when it comes to stealth breakers. Firstly, you have limited stealth tokens, you have limited stealth credits, and while you have Mantle, which is obviously pretty good, especially because we're playing Keiko, and well, not so much, yeah, Keiko actually works, right? But no, not really, you're playing more so twinning, so you can use, if you haven't used your Mantle, you can use it on the corpse turn to hit the once per turn on twinning, which is cursed. It charges us up very quickly. In terms of stealth credits, we have 2 Tatakas, and she is infinite as much as she's limited. And then we have a single Penumbral toolkit, which is actually pretty sick. I kind of like, I'm into this. It is virtual, which is not something I realized. And so you can play this and get it down for basically a sure gamble off of a Gachapon, which is not gonna be your first Gachapon, but that's kind of cute. Like I actually like that a fair bit. And 4 stealth credits is not bad. I do think there's a chance that this touchstone and might not make too much sense in the deck because the deck only has 12 events. So if you draw a touchstone in the bottom of your deck and you install the touchstone, this is your other stealth generator. Like it might only get 3 to 4 counters before the game is over, which is probably not worth the install. I would suggest, yeah, maybe looking at a second Penumbral. I think in the YouTube comments, someone brought this up too, but it's the same influence and it is just more econ in your deck and it's probably a bit more consistent. But Touchstone's not a bad card if you draw in your opening hand or in your first couple, but like this does not feel like it has enough events to support this. It's still a new card, so why wouldn't you play it? Anyways, yeah, generally with stealth decks, you don't want to play only stealth breakers because now every single breaker largely requires a stealth credit. It is very cool that After Image with Tungsten Tailor doesn't require a stealth credit to break a drafter. You only spend 1 real credit. That's sick. And one of the big reasons why you want to do this is After Image is a very good, if not the best killer in the whole game. You can break, we're in the meta right now, which has the most like consistency of things like Cloud Eater, Biowak. Like we have so many big scary sentries, Lion's Mane. And having the ability to bypass those for 2 credits is definitely worth the price of entry. That alone is worth doing that. I think you could play After Image and you could play Buzzsaw and you could play whatever your Fractor slot is, and this would still be a very good deck. I think Penrose is not bad. Funny thing about Penrose, it does break 4 strength code gates okay. Better than Buzzsaw, I guess, but with support, it's kind of a wash because Tungsten Tailor plus Buzzsaw. But again, those are one-ofs that you can't really tutor for in a 40 card deck. So there's a reason to do this too. And this does break 5 strength code gates or 6 strength code gates if you have your Tailor relatively well, but you do need the stealth credits. Things to shout out, Praxis, interesting inclusion. This deck technically with open deck lists can get shot out. So if you do trash a breaker and just put like a, something on the archives that hard ends the run, like a Event Horizon, they might be in a bad spot against like an SDS deck, but that's not very popular. So I don't know if you have to actually be worried about that, but it's also really nice with this Praxis to bring back a Penumbral. Like that's kind of slick. I like that a lot. So just like a 4 credit install of the Praxis. And I know we were talking about this on stream yesterday, or last week, but this is a really good inclusion for dealing with some of the combo PD decks to knock out the cards from hand that are very, very important, let alone it gives you multi-access, and you can do this with the twinning. So you can actually see the whole hand. Even a 6 card hand is technically not possible. You can get to 5 cards if you work really, really hard. And it turns out from the day, this actually really, really did matter. And I think Dolbo was talking about like knocking out fully ops from hand. Yeah, this could definitely win you the matchup on the spot. Very good. Every time I use Penrose, I become sad and confused, unsure if it's me or the card. No, I like Penrose. Now, the thing about this, which is kind of wild, hey Shadow, is like, we got to talk a bit about the color pie here, right? Because we're at a point where the breaker color pie is totally cooked in terms of breakers. Because classically in Netrunner, there's 3 runner factions, right? Each of those factions is meant to be classically, and this goes back, hey Phil, goes back to like 2012. They're meant to be the best at breaking one of the main types of ice, okay at breaking one of the other types of ice, and the worst at breaking the 3rd type of ice, right? So criminals were meant to be the best at breaking sentries, mid at code gates, terrible at barriers. Anarchs are meant to be the best at barriers, mid at sentries, terrible at code gates. And then the other combination is shapers are meant to be very, very good at code gates, okay at barriers, and very bad at sentries. And we are in such a cooked spot here because right now, if you ask me, the worst at barriers in the whole format is probably Anarchs. And that's what I don't know how to fix this issue. Is like, if you want to replace this with an Anarch Fractor, you're probably replacing it with a Rising Tide. But if you're replacing this with a Rising Tide, you probably need to play 3 Rising Tides. It is kind of cool that you could technically play multiple Penroses, because in the bin, they're technically Fractors as well. Like, that's kind of a neat interaction. But we're at the point where, like, the color pie doesn't make a lot of sense. The best Fractor in the format is Shaper. The best killer might be Criminal, but arguably also Shaper. And the best Kogate is Anarch. Like, it is so jumbled at this point that I don't understand. But yeah, this could be one of the best killers in the whole format. And it actually seems worth it playing. But you need to be able to consistently get this down and get your Stealth Breakers. So Crim still seems bad at Fractors. Yeah, but I think Kurapir is better than Rising Tide. That's all I'm trying to say. It's like Kurapir is not the worst Fractor in the format that sees consistent play. It's probably Rising Tide. I hate Rising Tide. My homies hate Rising Tide. I just don't get it at all. Burner being better than Legwork is so strange. That's another weird one for sure. It was very surprising to get that good of a HQ pressure card when it came out. That card tilted the heck out of me, Ryan, when it came in. I think you know that. Color bias has been cooked since they made Burner a Shaper card. It seems like there's pretty little variation in played breakers right now. Yes, but the card pool is really small. That being said, like, this is a variation of a breaker suite that we're seeing, which is kind of cool. It is the stealth breaker suite. And again, I wouldn't recommend playing all 3 stealth breakers. Maybe you could do 2, honestly, but 3 is a bridge too far, let alone like Corsair is probably not worth the time. And then my last thing is, like, I was really negative coming into the set because when stealth was meant to come out, we were excited for like weird stealth stuff and like all that, you know, interesting things. And at the end of the day, so far, and we're only at the beginning of Megacities, stealth just looks like a way to charge twinning and have good breakers, which unfortunately missed the mark of like the reinvention of stealth in 2026. That hurts. And please just get rid of Keiko, get rid of twinning, get rid of the companions. We need to do a full reset here, because the fact is ultimately this deck is just so much consistent credit per turn value with a good multi-axis engine on a Svelte deck that can deal with ice really well once it's set up. And Dolbo says, and I totally agree with it, this is a really good deck for newer players to learn. I think it's really good. I haven't played this. I have no doubt we'll probably play this maybe next week. I think Tanzin's deck is also doing really well in the rankings here on Netrunner DB. I worry that with one of breakers and only 3 Gachapons, like sometimes you can just get in a bad order where you can't find your stealth breakers or the right breaker. I'm not 100% sure. Gachapon is a hell of a card, but maybe that's a slight issue here. But this seems like a really good fundamentals deck that is trying to get to that sort of like flat game state where they have all the breakers down, they break your ice for pennies, and then they charge a twinning twice per turn. And that's it. That's all it does. And again, this is ultimately like a very Sokka-esque list where there's not all, okay, besides some of the cards I think you could change around, but clearly you haven't had to so far. Yeah, this is very, very straightforward. Very, very, very straightforward. Rising Tide and Shaper 3x Propeller has been working fine. I think I've seen that a bit, but then I've also seen a lot of Shaper decks not play the Rising Tide. I want to see Chain Reaction played. I think that's a tall ask. I'm not 100% sure what deck would play that. I love Rising Tide. 1 credit install is amazing and it gets big enough eventually. I'm a Kurapir hater. I don't want to play 4 to break my first Tattoo Bowl in Crim. I mean, then you can play the Lion, right? Like you can play whatever the Lion is called. The Opera Lion. Free moshing? I don't think so. I've been telling new players to get Ashes after Elevation, and it's sad to realize how few cards they have to proxy to make the meta decks, like 5-6 per deck. Ashes owns us. Yes, I do think, and that's the thing, is like, I don't think it's good in Netrunner classically, and you know, Ashes is what it is for many reasons. We're very thankful it exists. But yeah, I do think a new player, after they buy System Gateway, buying Ashes would make a lot of sense. A lot of this deck is just that. Also, you could play a third nuke, I think. I think a third nuke instead of the Penumbral can make a lot of sense too. I feel that Lampades should have been played instead of Gourmand. Lampades is underplayed if at all. I don't agree, and I think it's really, really hard. Ashes is the true NSG core set. I think Lampades is asking for a lot. And the problem with Lampades is, again, this breaker suite is on 3 breakers. And so your stealth credits are really taxed out. So having another card that also needs stealth breakers needs stealth credits seems like a massive mistake. I think you're more likely to want to either like cut some of these breakers, play only After Image, play Buzzsaw, that, and then maybe you can play Lampades. But at the end of the day, like Gourmand is just good enough and you don't need to faff around with anything else. Like Lampades has really big downsides. Like you cannot trash anything big. You can only trash small stuff. Gourmand is still like good enough because again, we're Lou at the end of the day too, right? Ashes is a better cycle than Liberation for like 5 different reasons. Ooh, I could see some different reasons, but I don't know. Ashes is old. I tried to air check Lampades Lou, and yeah, I'm not sold on Lampades. Yeah, Lampades requires too much out of you. And again, we're in a meta where like you can die supposedly on turn 4 to combo. So I do not know why you'd put extra steps in the way of like having to install a card that costs more than 0 credits that doesn't draw you a card, and then having to get stealth credits, and then having to use the stealth credits to trash the right thing at the right time. It's way too many things. Yeah, I don't know. I could see a world where this gets played. I just don't know if it's now. This list is sick. I think this is a very good list. And I think a lot of players should be picking this up, and it teaches good fundamentals and is probably really strong. Never played it. Can't talk about what the matchup spread is. You do have a weakness of only having 3 icebreakers. You do have a botulus, I guess. But yeah, you can get locked out if the wrong breaker goes in a bin and they can stop archives. I put a second eye for an eye in this deck before Lampades. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I do think this card is worth a lot in the meta, seemingly. Lampades is a killer art. It's really fun. Yeah. I feel like Flywhale is underrated. Did that get deleted? Yeah, I think it did. I do think Flywhale is underrated. It's just like there's no deck that wants to play it. It's a good card. I just don't know if I spent influence on it. Does Lampades have the longest bold paid ability text in the game? Ooh, it is long, isn't it? No, there's no way that's the longest. That is pretty long, though. Maybe. Practicing back penumbral is fun. Yeah, practicing back penumbral is very, very, very cool. Eye for an eye plus 20 can hand wipe. I love it. Yeah. Any multi-access you can stack on top of an eye for an eye. It already gives you +1 card, but you can go to +4 cards with twinning, which is good. Like, that matters. That stuff really, really matters. But most specifically, the bold text. Oh, yeah, maybe. That is, I would say that's probably it. That is a lot of bold words. Yeah. But even this box is like pretty long, let's be honest. But yeah, that bold text is goofy. It's very, very goofy. There's a chance that there's old FFG cards that have been reworded to have bold text like that, but it probably sells as a contender. Anyways, list is cool. Shout out to Dolbob. That's sick. Yeah, I think this is probably pretty smooth. I think you can make some small changes, but yeah, it seems to be good. Don't play the Corsair. And again, Dolbob wouldn't tell you to play the Corsair anymore. This is Cable's list. It's mostly hot. I don't know if this is worth bringing up. I'm a huge Cable fan. It looks good. Biobands being spent influence on. I like that a lot. This card has been very good into assets. I think it's a really good tech card. We're on only 1 Fence or 1 Mystic, which is wild. 2 twinning. I think the 2 twinning is actually pretty important too. It feels like a lot of criminal lists are moving back towards 2 twinning. For a while in the game, we've been on 1 twinning and you just get it sooner than later. But it does feel like as a criminal, you have to do more faster. Right? Like you actually have to threaten faster because you just have to. So playing 2 twinning is, I think, way more common than it was like a year ago. And it's something I've definitely noticed. This is humanoid measured Ayuko. Shout out to Davs. Yeah, sick. 11 agendas. We're still in Fuji's, of course. Regzaya, this is just Motion Blur's list. 44 cards, so bigger, but not 45. So Zaya does have text. That's sick. This is nothing too spicy, too class act interesting. We're on a Taka just as a credit per turn forever. And then we have the Breaker Suite we expect. 1 Carmen, 1 Revolver, only one Decoder. So that's interesting. So I don't know. If that goes, you are kind of in a bad spot, but you do have 2 Boomerangs. Yeah, it seems good. Pretty nice. Preempting the Scapenet meta. I mean, we're always in the Scapenet meta technically. Like 2 out of 3 factions are playing Scapenettable cards. Shaper even has, like every deck you play against has a good Scapenet target. Unfortunately. This is Tanzin's, and so Tanzin, for the backstory, I haven't read this yet, but the local player that has been like playing stealth for a really long time, and so this is Tanzin's version of it. It's Lou. We're on 17 events, so slightly more, so maybe 2 touchdowns make sense. We're on no console, which seems wild considering like we have all the companions really, so I don't know why you wouldn't play Keiko. We don't need the MU, but at the end of the day, it's just an econ card. Maybe you can just play a Hermes in here, call it a day as well. We're on Corsair. The other deck has no pinholes, right? Like I think having no pinholes is a huge downside to the meta, especially when it comes to blue. Like I don't know how you can get the pinholes in there, but yeah, pinhole would make a lot of sense in this list as well. Yeah, Lou with pinhole, let alone pinhole in general, is just very, very good. Pinhole is so good into the PT matchup because you can just deal with things in remote servers without having to deal with the ice. Like I don't have to tell you how good pinhole is. Otherwise, we're on 3 practice, which is a heck of a lot. Again, no console is very strange to me. We do have the 3 Gachapons to hunt for things. Then everything is companions, and literally everything is companions. And then it's relatively svelte as well. Yeah. Skipnet meta and Shackleton meta. Okay, one of them sooner than the other, but yeah. Matt, what do you mean it's probably too convoluted? What is exactly? Cool. Neat. All right, Toronto. So we get to see some results here, which apparently I was not aware of. And look at that big slice of Lou pie. It is huge, followed by Arasana. That's sick. And then we get the criminals. The criminals are slowing down a bit. But again, 1 out of every like 3 people in the room, more than are playing Lou, which that does happen. And then again, about half the field is Jinteki, which I don't think is going to be uncommon from events we're going to see this last weekend and into the next weekend, because the numbers are converting here for sure. So I don't know why you wouldn't. A lot of these Jinteki decks ask really hard questions from your opponent. They have to do the right thing, which is not exactly the case of like Elio Glacier or stuff like that. Like you can build good board states, but these are constantly asking good questions out of your opponent. And if they answer them wrong, like Jinteki can punish them really, really hard, which is kind of wild. Bangoon showing up as the 4th place, but I think a lot of these, oh, actually, no, genuinely the 4th place. Shout out to the Bangoon players in Toronto. We have, I know a couple players I would expect to play Bangoon, like Josh and maybe Duckland. So we'll see who the 3rd player is, right? So unfortunately, not a lot of the lists are published besides Oda Nuvo's. Shout out to Oda Nuvo, part of NSGOP and Montreal player. Otherwise, yeah, it's kind of what you expect, right? Like, look at that. Epiphany up there, which is good. Tondo. Phoenix Rogue, also a player who played in our top cut, who's been getting back into the game. That's sick, from Montreal, playing LEO. But otherwise, it's like a clear Jinteki sweep, and then the King winning off combo PD and 1 Epiphany up there. But yeah, this is not super surprising. I'm surprised there's only 1 Yuko from Diego. I assume there would be more. Just playing Ratlat. That interesting. Not something I would pin Oda Nuvo to play, but that's cool. I'm kind of okay with not playing this weekend because there's a lot of problems to solve as a runner right now. Hey, Phoenix, how do you publish a list? Hey, how? So when you log in, you can sign in, log in via Netrunner DB. And then when you go to here, it'll be like claim ranking, and you just say, this is me, and you claim it. And then it says like, what list did you play? And then you can just attach them to either private, or I think they have to be public NRDB lists, and then you'll do it. But basically all you want to do is go to login via Netrunner DB, and then it'll ask you to like attach yourself to there. It's pretty straightforward. I do think there's a lot of problems to solve as a runner right now. I do think there's a fair bit of like runner agency in play. I don't think it's as bad as it was a couple months ago in terms of like runner win rate. So I hear you. It's definitely a stressful thing to play in. There's a lot of surprises too. There's a lot of corp decks that are getting you, especially in Swiss. Like a lot of things that are just getting you. So grinder decks are making a comeback with Ashen being banned. Yes, that I do agree with, Lloyd. Bangoon can be more feasibly lock out opponents from remote now. Now, I don't want to call out people by names, but I don't think Bangoon's 4-1. Yeah, did all right. Like, I don't know if the Bangoons did great here. Actually, not too far off. That's probably 1 win away from being in the top cut. So yeah, neat. Shout out to all the people who traveled out. This was the biggest megacity this weekend, which I think is a huge success. Shout out to our friends in Ontario. Cool. Got a good end line too from Aminga. All right, this is the Berlin Megacity. This was streamed, and do check out the stream. It was really, really well done. Mind you, Toronto was as well. This is really different, like super weirdly different than anything else. Not the corp side, but Moosey Hot followed by Shaper, and Lou is not the biggest at all, is bizarre. I don't know if people heard that coming. I don't know if this was a response to the meta, but this is super strange. And then we just have Anarchs at the bottom. Again, we're going to have AUCO and into MLS and then into PD, of course. And then we have like Op and Nuvang. Op did win the event with a really weird big Op deck. Shout out to Baserton, who's a treat to watch play. And again, you can watch this and you should. So some interesting lists here. Firstly, Pouch of Lavender, she was playing Mediated Immediacy, which is her version of the list we're going to play today, which is the ZomZraft version of Topan with Bling. And I don't know what to think about this deck, which excuse me, which is why I'm so excited to play it, because Topan's text sounds like upside, but mixed with some weird downside for sure. As a click, you can install a card from your hand, reduce the cost by 2, but you have to suffer immediate damage. So we'll figure out how that works out. And then her version, I think, has some scrounge in it for some recursion. I think she cut the, what's it called, the twinning, instead relying on the cacophony, which the other version was running too. I think she regretted it and actually did want the twinning. And you can see that in her play is like there's some turns where you just need to get some scrappy axes, and cacophony doesn't exactly do that. But that otherwise, this deck has no true multi-axis, which is a bit of a downside. Bling, what I saw on stream, like this card still doesn't look great. I feel like Topan, you have to fight Topan and fight Bling constantly every turn to get the value out of it, which is so much different than Keiko, which just gives you value from doing the thing you want to be doing anyways. Obviously, there's upsides to this, and this is doing well at events, but it's always like painful in every board state. And there's also turns that you decide not to fire this, which is like just unfortunate. This does functionally give you card draw. It allows you to fire things like Gachapon on the corpse turn and start your turn with a functional 6-card hand. So there's upsides to it for sure. But like, I'm still not sold on this as much as it did win Worlds, and everyone believes in it who's been playing Topan way more than I have, which is 0 games. Otherwise, this is like a vampire list. Herbivore is what ZomZraft has been calling it. So you do need to get those Audrey counters. If you don't have the Audrey counters, you don't have breakers. And outside of the Bodge list, this list doesn't have breakers. And I was very surprised to see like how Patch Lavender was playing this, where like at the end of the day, all she needs to do is get down to Gourmand and run just to trash something to get the first token. And unfortunately, the finals is a deck with Ob that has probably like 2 or 3 Maviruses in it. And Mavirus like won the game easily. There's some interesting plays and like different lines that could be taken where like there was a run on the remote server where we were one short credit of trashing a humanoid and a Zato, and a Zato in the remote server is a disaster against Audrey for like so many different reasons. And so yeah, it was like really interesting. But Baserton was so happy just to like sit back, click a regolith, purge every other like fourth turn, and it really did pay off and ended up scoring only 2 agendas, but Myoshu does it on a big money op. So it was fun to watch. It was really fun finals. I think the whole production was really, really great. We can't shout out Baserton's list because they're not here. Otherwise, this is similar off somebody else's list too, I think. No, maybe not actually. But this is kind of what you expect with AUCO. I was interested to see like how the hyper releases. These cards seem so much more important than they have in a while. A fair bit of this too is like you're just getting FUT, doing a little bit of tempo damage, reinstalling cards. We're on 2 powers, right? So scoring agendas is a bit better. We have a single measured and the bring them home. I don't know if it got played on the whole weekend, but we've seen other versions of this sort of AUCO list with front company. I haven't been impressed with the front company so far. It just kind of feels like lose a click for the runner because I haven't seen enough decks that can actually ice up both centrals in a meaningful way. But the big part of the text of front company also is it just protects archives. But generally people just trash this and trash another card and lose a click running R&D for no reason. I don't know if that's worth a slot. I think it's hard to build a board state where this is worth truly a slot. This list is on 3 spin doctors, some of them weren't, and it's on 2 Moonpool, which I find also a bit surprising. But yeah, very, very strong list. I think AUCO is one of the best things in the meta right now. And I think the numbers improve that for sure. Weird big op. It's like slow glacier op. It's not combo big op, but it was just like 3 regoliths, gonna empty my regoliths, have a lot of money, then score out an agenda, and then Myoshu. In theory, like you can double Myoshu and win off of a single score. I think the deck is set up to do that with Malapert. Did you try the Toxin Reanimation Protocol combo? We tried to play that once and we didn't line up with it. It just didn't feel good enough. But Reanimation is doing things. It's definitely good. I felt great, Lou. Learned I'm not great against Glacier as a player. I've also been on Keiko, Demolisher, and Topan. I'm not a big fan of Bling. Yeah, we'll see how it works. I'm interested to test it out. I only like Bling because someone made an absurdist Blue Sky account called Bling Fan that would just make the shittiest memes with Bling wedged in. I've been playing a lot of Topan with Onacom. I feel like Topan needs real card draw more than fake card draw and bring. Yeah, I could see Onacom, but unfortunately, like events don't interact well with Topan's text. But that's still fine because if you trash an event using Topan's text, you can get the card draw. So yeah, I think there's a lot of different consoles you can put in that spot. I think the interesting thing too, and that's another pain point I have with Topan, and I do think Pouch mentioned it in her write-up, is that Paladin Puemo she cut. Because at the end of the day, Paladin Puemo sometimes competes with, it doesn't fire Bling, and so it competes with your ability to install things, but it's probably fine. Maybe in a list that doesn't have twinning is less important. Bling is such an interesting case study on experimental card going very well, where you're describing the nuances of Bling. I was like, huh, that sounds like an interesting card versus Keiko, which is just, yeah, stat stick. Oh, I agree. Like, I totally agree. I'm way more interested in Bling as a card than Keiko, but Keiko is just like less effort, better payoff, especially if you need the 2 MU. Verbal's real and Topan will never get off this hill. I've enjoyed Verbal and Topan. I haven't minded it. And I think these lists are running 1 Dreamnet, which is also like cute. Kind of seems like the same sort of slot. And it's called out specifically for the, the AUCO matchups and stuff like that. This is a sick event. Great players too. Unfortunately, I think Augie got a game loss round 1. Oh, I need to say that this happened in Toronto and I don't know to who, and I don't mean to call it out, but I did know this could happen and it did happen in Toronto. So you submit deck lists when you sign up for a Megacity, right? And so when you make the top cut, one of the first things that happens before the top cut happens is that the organizers collect your decks, and then they have to check that your deck list is the same as what you've submitted as what you're playing. And if you mess that process up, the punishment is a game loss. Heaven forbid you're playing single elimination, but all these events are double elimination. But losing your first game before the game starts is awful because then you're on your last life without having to play Netrunner, and that obviously feels bad. I believe Augie got a game loss, not sure how. I think it was a deck list reporting. So it happens even to the best players, which is just, that sucks, especially when you travel in for that. So like feels really, really bad. But in Toronto, multiple players got illegal deck lists. And the weird thing happened, which I didn't know how this is resolved. 2 of the players that had to get a game loss round 1 paired up against each other. What happens? What happens when 2 players with illegal deck lists are meant to get a game lost in the top cut? And I'm only going to say this 70 to 80% confidently, but I believe the ruling is that you randomize who loses round 1, and then the next person just loses round 2. That's it. So whatever they match up, one person loses, and then the other person takes their game loss in the second round, which is actually a pretty impactful coin flip. And imagine that you're the person who is in the upper bracket, and then you're like, oh, round 2, I'm ready to play. And the person sits down and says, oh, by the way, you don't have to play me. You win because I also had an illegal deck list. And then you're immediately into the finals. It's so absurd. Yeah, double game loss happened last year at Paris Megacity. Yeah, I did not know how to resolve that. It came up in one of the judges' Discord servers. That's wild. Yeah, the latest OPB addresses it. Yeah, it's definitely in there if you have to look it up. Augie played 1 Sericulture, 1 Yagi Uda, with the decklist had 2 Sericulture. Yeah, bummer. Because like that text doesn't actually matter, I don't think. Reanimation is great if you can just jam the remote and end the game. Having a silly barrier and code gate in the early game is so nice. Just playing Herbivore Topan, which eventually dropped it too slow. I've enjoyed it when I've got it on turn 1 for sure. You can play 20 events and still have something to install every turn. You only need 1 install per turn. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Imagine taking a game loss to Yagi Uda. Oh no. Anyways, yeah, that's wild. I don't know which of those players are. I don't want to call that out. I just want to know like how that impacts the journey. Because imagine winning the event after losing like round 2, but winning round 1 because you have to win round 1 randomly. Like it's weird. It's really weird. I don't think it was the king, but I'm just saying like abstractly. Again, also there's no embarrassment if this happens. It happens. I've lost games to sillier stuff in tournaments, so it happens to anyone. Okay. Anyways, you need to play with what was in the deck list that was submitted. Yeah, for sure. The deck list submitted is rule. You don't change the deck list. Yeah. I was half of it. Oh no. Did you have to play your first round or did you get the second round loss? All right, really quickly before we get into some Netrunner, I was too tired to check. Yeah, definitely check. It's worth the weight in gold. If you have a friend at the tournament, also like I always just give my deck list to somebody and be like, can you check my list is correct? And I'll do the same for them. You lost the coin flip, but I don't know what lost means in this case. Like, do you want to win the coin flip or lose the coin flip? All right, so this is just this last weekend. Corp win rate still at 58, so about what we saw before. Runners at 42. That is actually kind of higher. I think we were down to 54. Small numbers. Like I guess there's a fair few games here, but the corp win rate snuck up a bit. This is actually closer to what it was before the last ban list. Then this is what we're expecting from the weekend. No surprise, but about a third of the field is playing these 2 Jinteki IDs, and there's no reason not to. Even with this representing as much as the field as it is, runners are not beating these decks consistently, which is wild. PD at this point, I'm pretty sure is swapped to combo. Zwicky, I don't know what they're up to. Epiphany is doing well, and we'll see what the win rates look like. So yeah. Oh wow, Hyobu stats. A lot of variance on that number, but Hyobu currently at 10 games is 70% win rate, followed by Op, and like Op is doing well. Op is still doing well. There's so many fewer players playing it, but Op is still doing really well and winning tournaments. Without Extract, it hasn't stopped them. We knew this would happen, but Op has nowhere near as much games as the next thing over there, like significantly less, but Op is still winning games. So like, do keep that in mind. And it's like a significant jump up from everything else, as much as these data points are a lot fuzzier. Now, PD turns out to be the best thing right now in the room. Did win 1 Megacity. But that's a lot of games and a 65% win rate. And then we have Melius and Oko, which again are above the average of 58. Following this, the data points get so much fuzzier. And again, because everybody's playing these 2 decks, they're still winning way more than you'd want. If you went into a tournament and said, I have a 63% win rate, you'd be in a really good spot. So now that's balanced by your runner win rate usually, but that's wild. Then Poetry, which like only 24 games. Epiphany, 59, still about average, but there's more people playing this week after week after week. I think the deck list of the week did help it. And then we start to see the other Waylands that are still doing okay, but worse than average. And then it gets pretty bad sometime around Prov and then Editorial and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's the same as last week, right? Like things haven't changed that much. This is the court matchup matrix and like this is the runner win rate. Yeah. So out of the most popular corporations, or sorry, the most popular runners, like AUCO has the lowest win rate against Lu. That is definitely worth something, but it's still you're favored, technically favored, which is pretty wild. If you look versus Moosely Hot, wait, what is this? This is Melias versus Moosely Hot. Like, yeah, Melias is winning 67% of the games versus from Moosely Hot. Now Moosely Hot is like, at this point, maybe the average deck. I think it's Lu, but those numbers are absurd. PD is actually getting, hit by a Criminal. I think it's the one thing Criminal is doing well right now, but yeah, wild. Op is on Mad now? No. Lucy was playing Op, Mad Op, but I think she was the only one doing that. A lot of the Ops are playing like Rush, or specifically like the Berlin one was won by just playing like Myoshu big stuff. Like big deck, Myoshu big money. That's it. Measured, stuff like that. I got a cube? I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a good weekend. Okay, anyways, runner side. Yep. I think the Lu has finally overtaken Moosely Hot, and Orasan is sneaking through there. But this is what you expect. And again, Seb, not surprised by this. The numbers are not good, but I'm pretty sure as long as you don't get ground out of Seb might be one of the best decks in the meta. This is no different than the chart looked like months ago, where Seb was the only one above a 50% and then everyone was 50 or lower. Now, the runner win rate should be like 46, so like Lou is still the best you could ask for. Moosey Hot's doing better than I thought she would. Like, honestly, a lot of people moved off of Moosey Hot, and I assumed these numbers would be lower to reflect that, but that's not the case, and everything from there is just kind of a trail down. There is no Shaper this weekend that performed better than average. Which sucks because Shaper looks kind of fun. It looks like it can do things, but yeah, not a lot of games here. So like, don't worry about the stat, but every week, especially since the ban list, there hasn't been a lot of sub games yet. Sub is somehow up there. And that's because most of the people playing sub are diehard sub players and they are still winning games. That's the meta, I guess. Interesting. Very cool. All right. With that, let's have some coffee and we can actually play some Netrunner, which is good. How's everyone's week been? There's a Scrubs Baserton oversized rogue shooting version up. Yeah, that's the one that had and I think that's a really good card right now in the meta, is the one that had what's it called? The thing that trashes things. Zato. Zato City Grid is looks like it's worth pursuing. It has been for a while. It's good against the Anarchs on, well, there's not that many Anarchs that are playing Audrey, but it's good against Anarchs with no recursion, and it's good against criminals with 2 breakers, no recursion. This card seems worth it's worth playing an op. I think Seb would benefit from the perception that you don't need to tech into Seb anymore. Yeah, and Seb's matchup is the Melius matchup. And that matchup is now okay as long as you don't get grounded out, I think. But like, yeah, Melius got better because there's no Seb destroying the ice on site. Turns out you can still play Seb, I guess. Why good? I'm not 100% sure. Seb just has some really mean points. Like Seb can destroy ice, so that's good. Seb is technically good against assets. Seb is good against tags. Like Seb is just really good. It's just a good deck. And it also is a deck that punishes your opponent for not respecting it, which Criminal can, but generally people understand how to play Criminal. Like respect Hermes, don't get transferred when it doesn't make sense. But Seb is also that and more. I gotta see the Zato list. I don't think Baserton published it. You can maybe like, the thing is like, I think the one that Baserton was playing was like 68 cards or like some really, really big number. So we'll see it published. Any Quebecois slang I can use to embarrass my French accent at Worlds with? Unfortunately, my Quebecois is not particularly good. A lot of the curses here, which it's not, it's slang, but it's curses. They're all like religious curses. So like tabernac and galis, stuff like that. My accent is not good. There's definitely better people you can ask in the Discord for Worlds. But glad you're coming in. All right, let's play some Topan. So the list that I wanted to play, and then I think we'll also play the version that Patchworking is playing, is the ZomZraft list that came in 3rd at the Showdown. Criminal, I think, sounds scarier than it is. Transfer fund is relatively toothless in modern corp economy, and too much of Criminal relies on HQ pressure. Yeah, I could see that. Like, there's some older stuff like Beauvert. I think it's due for comeback. Is that a slang? I don't know what that means, and hopefully I didn't say something terrible. All right, so Ice Destruction Anarch using Simulchip Recursion for flexibility. It's really nice to have a byline. The deck is a continuation of Vampire by Council, and that was the list that won Worlds last year, switching Hoshiko for Topan and shifting the slots accordingly. Topan is chosen over Lou, which is going to be a question many have, as the former gives faster setups and more guaranteed credits, while the latter helps more later on and against assets. Right? Like that's the idea with Topan. And again, I don't think any of the footage we've seen of ZomZraft was it was just unfortunate. Every time that we saw ZomZraft play on stream, it did not go well for Topan or ZomZraft, but ZomZraft was always at top tables. So we probably just missed the things where Topan looked stellar. Topan's ability to get 2 credits for free every turn, and for free is obviously like, don't worry about it too much. That seems really good. And particularly in matchups where you don't have to run that much, which against Melia's Glacier, I could see that also being quite good. So that's interesting. Technically against assets where you have to hit the table turn 1 with Epiphany and Ayuko, maybe we don't want to be Topan, but Topan seemed like a straight downside playing against Ayuko, where cards in hand is one of the most important things to be checked on, as much as also credits do matter, of course. You can replace Lou's Acid Hate with Azamat, but Topan's effect is unique in the card pool, and that is true, right? Like, there's not a lot of IDs that will give you, again, 2 credits worth the value for just setting up without interacting. To make up for the missing glue, all of Azamat, Hannah, and DreamNet come in for the Ayuko and PD matchups. These are all one-ofs in a 53-card deck, so who knows how much we're going to find them, but all of these cards are uniquely one-ofs. If you find Hannah, good. If you find Badge, good. If you find one of them, so maybe we'll find one of them. But yeah, we definitely want that. DreamNet together with Nuka also gives sufficient draw to fuel Topan, while ideally we use Topan every turn, and that was also a very big thing from watching ZomZraft, is Topan will be fired even if the card is not a 2-cost card. Andre says something terrible. We saw Solidarity Badge come down for 1 meat damage instead of a credit. And like maybe trading a card from your hand in 1 credit is correct. And I do also want to say this because we'll repeat this a fair bit. Saving a credit from your ability is one thing, but saving a credit at the same time as you're installing a card is another thing, because then you're actually getting a click compressed credit. Right? If your ability just clicklessly gives you credit, that's fine. But that's what this does. It doesn't just give you 2 credits. It gives you 2 credits at the same time as installing, which is a clickless 2 credits, as opposed to having to do something to get your ability. The do something is draw more cards. So it is not free, but that is nice. It's nicer than it looks. A loss of Ashen is not a huge deal for these kinds of lists, in my opinion, and we do have 53 cards, as we compensate by adding a second buffer drive, which also triggers frequently thanks to Topan, and a Cacophony. And Cacophony, actually, I can see it. Patch of Lavender, she was playing 2 of these. We're on one of them. Cacophony takes the role of twinning in some games, and in the slow matchups, we install both, so the corpse demise often occurs before we deck ourselves. This card is actually technically good at offering pressure. It says the first time you steal a tragic corp card, you get a power counter, and 2 power counters is Sabotage 3. Sabotage 3 is a surprising big number. Now, I'll be honest, I don't love Sabotage outside of a deck that does only this as Sabotage, because Sabotage is better the more Sabotage you do, for obvious reasons, because it compounds like non-linearly. Because if I've already got the like winnowed out 2 of my worst cards from HQ, the next Sabotage is harder to deal with. That's like the ESA problem. But here, like, we have to put on enough pressure for the corp to be uncomfortable sabotaging 3 cards every turn. This also gives them a reason to ice archives to some extent, but yeah, interesting to have this on its own. And note on credits, and again, this deck has no liquidity. That is not too different from the deck that won Worlds, but the deck that won Worlds, I'm not convinced had Sure Gamble in it. Maybe it did. Probably it did. But like the only money in this deck that is actual guaranteed money is Fermenter. Like if you ever want to have more than 12 credits, it's Fermenter, that's it. We have no Sure Gamble. The only other hard econ we card have is Strike Fund, and we heaven forbid this ends up on a bling. We generally want to play it clicklessly, but that's an issue when you're playing against things like Oppo. It's technically an issue when you're playing against things like Measured, so you have to respect those in different ways. And we have ways to clicklessly draw cards. Technically, we have ways to clicklessly get credits on a surprise by Strike Funding way at Audrey, but do just watch out that the liquidity in this deck is relatively low. We are not able to trash too many assets turn after turn after turn unless we get a couple of our pieces on the table. Runners need to break ice, install cards, and trash assets, and usually one generates credits, which are then spent to fulfill these needs. This deck trashes or breaks ice for free, and that's ideally why we're allowed to get away with this low liquidity, is that we don't actually spend a lot of credits to do our stuff. Like in theory, we install everything for free, and then the only way that we're spending credits is by actually trashing the corp stuff, and that was no different in Vampire. Yeah, so we have Paladin, we have Azamat, Fencer, Gourmand, and we also don't add daily casts, /HJ, which is, I'm not sure what that translates to. This list went 5-3, which like is not the best record, but ZomZraft was playing against the top placing players in the room. We saw lose to Eiko and Scrubs combo PD twice. It should have played Lou after all. The tournament was great. Special thanks to Man the Moon for organizing Showdown Circuit. That's sick. Yo, how was the weekend? Yeti, seemed like a great event. Congrats on a top cut. I do love a Cacophony, but it's just one more. I would agree with that, but I do think it also lights a fire underneath the corporation where they can't grind you. Like that is the one benefit to it of some extent. It's half joking. Okay, half joking. That makes a lot of sense. Yo, Chenchling, what's up? I've been like playing multiple buffer drives recently. Yeah, I can see it. Like this card, that's the weird thing about this card. It's like, does this card matter? And how many games do we install this? Do we bottom enough cards and then shuffle or draw the cards again? We technically do have a shuffle with Gachapon, but I've seen a buffer drive come down and filter cards, but then like the runner never gets to the bottom of their deck, so it doesn't matter. Because they lose on turn 5 or turn 6. Like maybe the point is if we don't lose on turn 5 or turn 6, this will matter. But I also have seen a lot of people suspiciously install buffer drive for 1 credit from Topan and then just lose the game anyways. So like I can't tell what to do with this card. It's obviously very good and you probably need it because at the end of the day, if you run out of cards, you can't actually break ice anymore. Also, credits are needed for tag removal as well. Yeah, that's another reason. We only have 1 card that like that can technically get rid of credits or sorry tags. And Laguza 2 of is also really strange because I feel like this card is so good in Topan because firstly it's a 2-cost card, so we install it for free, and it fires buffer drive on the corpse turn, which is really good, and it gives us card draw, which we really do need in Topan. So yeah, I think we've talked also a bit about what's it called? Not Symmetrical Visage, but the other one, Plasticity. And Plasticity is another card I guess you could consider in these lists for more card draw. I'm still a big fan of Stargate too, but I see how that doesn't work well with Audrey. Yeah, it doesn't work with Audrey, but I want a different win condition in Anarch. I want a different win condition in every deck, honestly. I'm getting a bit bored. But yeah, we'll give this a shot. This seems fun. I'm not a huge mulch player. This is mulch-like. We have cookbooks, which are really important. So we'll see. This is going to be a very different play style than most other decks. So it might take us a while to get ready or get used to this, but that's why we stream for a while. And we're off. How's everyone doing today? It's Tuesday. Hopefully June is good. It is, what is it? It's the 2nd. You can make your plans. It's my birthday next week. So if you want to get the gifts ready, it's just around the corner. I just want to give you like a week of notice. I find that Topan wants diverse card draw because you want to draw a ton. If all you draw is Lagu, then you don't continue to scale well when you draw your spares. Yeah, but those are damage cards, right? I want Stargate to work again, but MU space is too tight these days. Yeah, MU is a bit tight and we're not on Keiko, right? Our stratagem, BTL. We have to play around Measured. Our hand is double price. We have a steel skin and a chisel. Hey, we played some good games against Stratagem. Best of luck. Have fun. Man, we could make like a really cool loot deck, call it Beast of Luck. Oh, it'd be sick. They kept. So we consider mulling. Now, we want to always like mulligan into economy, but we have to remember there's no economy. Chisel is not bad. Steel skin in hand is okay. Double price could help us set up. Like, I don't know if this hand is, I literally have no idea if this hand is good or not. We don't have a great turn 1 Topan. We have no card draw besides the steel skin. But I could see us just doing price and seeing what happens. I'm going to try that, but like I have no idea what the mulligan priorities are in this deck. Literally no clue. I mean, 2 prices is good. Like, see 8 cards. We even could like, oh, we can't Topan an event, of course. Oh, we found assets. We found BTL assets. Oh no. So like wall to wall could be on the table. Technically hearts and minds could be on the table, but that doesn't really matter. All right, let's start hitting money. We did it. We found a strike fund. So it's chisel, buffer drive, or nuka. I'm gonna go for the buffer drive because we get it for free, which is nice. The nuka is obviously pretty good. Buffer drive won't fire this turn because we've already trashed cards, so that's off. We can price again. This is Paladin Puemo, which I don't know how many we have in the deck. Lagu seems good against the start. Azimuth is probably good against the start, but not good in the matchup. And then Gourmand is okay. Lagu, there's one more. Paladin might be a 1 of. Probably a 2 of, right? Let's check. Paladin's a 2 of. I could see us wanting Paladin. I think we're just gonna go for the Paladin here. We want to use Topan. So in theory, we can like install the Simul chip and just put the chisel in there for free. I mean, like, that's fun. I mean, that seemed like a good turn. And now we can put the pling down with a strike fund. But this is the issue, is like all of our clicks, like, oh man, we should trash the Antil. It's gonna get iced up. All of our clicks are spent doing our thing, and it's really hard for us to interact while also doing our thing. And that's like such a different like feeling when it comes to this deck versus like Hoshiko, which Hoshiko was just the smoothest at doing everything. But for us, it's like literally, do you want to do one thing or the other? All right, Antil going through sucks. That's a huge miss on a 1-cost trashable. They kept this hand, and they just have 2 more ice, which they drew with wall-to-wall, right? Again, they can't trigger all wall-to-wall, but next turn they can. They just have to do their Antil first. So Blink comes down. The order doesn't matter. We'll strike fund, then bottom it. All right. Hate to have this in hand, but we'll play it. Okay, so now our Audrey can't do anything. We get Botulus this and run the Antil. I mean, I think that's fine. It's a 1-credit Botulus. Ideally, the Audrey comes down first, but again, we have to spend 2 clicks doing our thing in return. So I think we install the Botulus and charge the Antil. The Antil going off is like, it's a lot. The thing is they have 2 remote servers, but the wall-to-wall could get bounced. I'll run this and see what happens. If it's a Masquerovka, they added credit. Okay, we just get an Antil. Okay, they probably don't want to res this with the Botchus on it, so we might have just like killed the Nice, which is fine because we have the Simul chip on the table. We want this to be an Afshar. If it's a Winchester, it's pretty bad because the Trace will destroy a lot of our stuff, so we can't really check HQ until we have an Audrey with a counter, or until we have a... What's it called? Devil Charm. BTL doing its best SSO impression right now. I mean, the advancements are scary, because if this gets to 10 advancements and it's a Pharos, we actually can't deal with it at well, unless we Botchus it. Okay, so I guess we install the Audrey for free, and then it draws a card. Well, technically it doesn't blink, but we do Topan it. Yeah, because we did actually pay credits. And now we need a draw, which is a bit ugly. We have the Gourmand, so that's good pressure. I mean, like, we're setting up really smooth. We gained 6 credits so far this game. And we fired a strike fund and steel skin clicklessly. If we install the Gourmand, we don't want to do the last click because the fire's blank. But I think we just continue to set up. And having a twinning is quite nice. I don't know how good the chisels need to be, but yeah, we know some of this ice has to be advanceable, right? Oh no, actually, these can go in anything. This has to be advanceable. This might not be. Probably is, though. So far, it looks like Miyoshu measured. Nothing special. But we need Cookbook if we want to flicker our Audrey. I think we'll start with the Gourmand, and then we'll just get the twinning out. I think the twinning is really important. So we're going to start with the Gourmand just to get a free card draw. It's a Lagu, which is probably not that important. Mind you, Topan is install 1 card from your grip. This card can be installed as if it were your grip. So you actually can Topan the Lagu. But I think the twinning is so much more important. The question is, can we use the Paladin to charge the twinning this turn? We not easily, because we can't install this Lagu, so I think we're just gonna waste the Paladin. But yeah, we definitely need cards in hand. Chisel goes to the bottom, which actually sometimes is not right to put in the bottom, right? So we can either install this, but our MU is full, which, yeah, oops. Or we can install the Lagu for 2. I guess we'll do the Lagu for 2. It'll fire a bit, and we have buffer drive. This deck does seem very weak to measure in general. You want to keep tossing cards from your hand to the deck. I know, this is like, I don't know how to play against Ayuko when I constantly have 1 card in hand. But like, we've gained 8 credits so far in this matchup without interacting, which is important. So we trash, it's a botchist. We'll put that on the bottom. Sometimes it's not right to put in the bottom. You want to have access to it, but we already have access to 1. And now we've advanced, which if that's on top of a Malapert, you can go Myoshu here, but it's a bit expensive. The issue is like we need to break something. We need to trash a card to get Gourmand to get a counter. So at least like this might be an overextension. This probably is a logjam, but if we run this and we trash this, which could be a Spin Doctor, then we get an Audrey counter and we can go deeper. I think Daily Cast need to void Oppo. Yeah, our money, like our liquidity is not good. Let's start here and see what happens. But like we've technically had a good start. We have a lot of cards on the table. Yeah, it's a Spin Doctor, so we're not going to get a Gourmand. We haven't seen a Devil Charm yet. We could run this. We're expecting to get stopped by anything. We could flicker this Botulus to break 1 and the run subroutine. But if this is a Logjam or a Pharos, all of those have more than 1 and the run subroutine. So we need to find a Devil Charm. We haven't fired Topan. We haven't fired Paladin. We haven't fired Twinning. Fermenter is the card we need here for money. But unfortunately, like maybe we get rid of this Chisel. Hannah is good. We haven't seen Event Horizon. Install Fermenter, Topan, Hannah. I mean, yeah, you can end games really quickly. We could be aggressive here. This Chisel will lower the strength of this ice, but ultimately, if it's an Afshar, that's fine. If it's a Winchester, though, I think we lose the game on the spot. We might have to simul-chip the Botchus onto it and then just break the... No, it's still really bad if it's a Winchester. And drawing feels so expensive, right? Because if you draw, you have to commit. Anyways, we'll price here. Oh, Steel Skin, nice. So choose 1 trash card to put in the bottom. Devil Charm needs to go to the bottom and we'll install the other Devil Charm. We actually like... Okay, this means we can actually do HQ. We're not going to host here. Okay, so we're not going to charge the Twinning, but we can run HQ here. They did just draw with the Spin Doctor. If they res this ice, it'll get blown up, which means we'll get an Audrey counter and we can draw. That was a really good hit. And 1 Devil Charm we know is at the bottom now. Yeah, Jaina will allow you to do that. You can always take me damage for fun. It is a Winchester, so that's not the best use of Devil Charm, but it is good. Otherwise, if we face check into that, it's a disaster. So this will open it up. It's a wall-to-wall, which we have to Gourmand trash that. That got returned to hand. It gives us an Audrey counter. I think we always do it. We draw a card. Let's see what happens. A little pricier, he says, then draws the price. He does he do it? Hey, Sanjay, how's it going? I mean, man, do we not have money. We made them spend 4, which is the most we've made Stratagem spend. So that's like good. But like, yeah, we need to get this Fermenter down. Luckily, our MU has opened up. This is to be advanceable. Free card draw. Gourmand on the bottom. We get another Fermenter. So they could have Maviruses in there, but they're not scoring out, and they can't really with an open HQ and Audrey. The thing is, like, Audrey's really bad against 2 ice unless we have a cookbook and we can flicker it. So I'm assuming we'll just install the Gachapon, install the Fermenter, install the second Fermenter, but then maybe they just purge. If we install the Gachapon, we get the filter off of the bling. But the thing is, like, anything off of this we can't play unless it's paladinable. We'll start with that. It's a buffer drive. Okay, we can let that go. Doesn't matter. And we can remember we can always crack buffer drive to put a card on top of the deck. So I think we'll just do Fermenter. I mean, 2 Fermenters seems a bit ridiculous and we'll probably get purged. But I think we always have to have 2 Fermenters. Like, Stratagem will definitely purge us. Is Audrey basically the updated David? No, not really. Botchus might actually be closer to David in some extent. But Audrey is like more of the modern Faust, right? It's way more Faust than it is David. Okay. I mean, this seems like a lot. I could get the simul chip down, which is good on tempo. We haven't Topanned. This is the first time we haven't Topanned, but like I would actually want to Topan the Hannah and get rid of the Fencer because I don't think we're going to need the Fencer. I'll install 2. I guess we'll draw 1, install the Fermenter, and we won't. Oh, I mean, when in Rome. Yeah, we didn't Topan that turn. Audrey's probably more like the updated Faust. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which you probably do if you know David. I think they were the same cycle. All right. Above the law or eminent? What is this? Or is this just so they can Mioshu out? But if they res the Malapert, they can't Mioshu. They're 1 card short. Action. Oh, interesting. Thinking. So what do we have to play around here? They can't. It's a 4-2, so they can't really goof us up. I don't think there's anything we do. No, all good. Like, are they going to trash a resed upgrade? With Kimberlite? That's what I was going to ask. Like, what are they going to Kimberlite? Yeah, I mean, it has to be Kimberlite, but then the Kimberlite has to come off. Oh, no, because they can Kimberlite an ice. Oh, we're cooked. I was like, what are they going to trash? It has to be an upgrade. But they trashed the Kimberlite. They got a Winchester and trashed it to the Kimberlite so they can trash the buffer drive. We have no window to respond, but like, I think ultimately we have no more buffer drives. So we are definitely, we have to win, which means we have to twinning every turn. They're only on 6 credits. We know this is advanceable. Oh, sorry. I was meant to Gachapon. Sorry, do you mind? Yeah, I was like trying to make sense of it. I'm like, what can they res there? So we'll crack the Gachapon on technically on their turn. We got a cookbook, which is good. It's for free. We can host the top card and blink. I mean, I'm not sure if we should. And that's the problem is like, I think we're going to run out of cards now. So I'm not. So we'll shuffle 3 cards back. Cacophony needs to come back. Oh, we couldn't install Cacophony because we didn't have a Paladin credit. Oh, that's pretty bad. Cookbook, we don't need back. The Gachapon with 19 cards, we don't need back. DreamNet is okay. Nuka's definitely going back. I think the DreamNet. Okay. Yeah, installing the Cacophony actually would have been pretty good. Okay, so we have an Audrey with a counter, so we can face check. The problem is like Audrey has limited uses here. They have to have agendas in hand. They've filtered nothing. We can see 2. If we install the Fermenter, we're over MU, so we can install the Simulchip to C3. I think we'll start there and then flush the hand. Yeah, it's not a Lou list. I've only made some of the connection that Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors is a Modern Faust situation. Yeah. It's more monsters. Okay, so we'll sweep 3. Antil. Oh my god, imagine we had credits to trash things. Oh my god, imagine we had credits to trash things. What are we doing? We should have cracked the Fermenter there first, I think. Oh, that's so bad. What are we doing? Okay, so I guess we do like draw Fencer. We did shuffle our decks. Our Devil Charms are still available, which is nice. I wonder if we flush server 1. I don't know what this is. A Stavka would like be okay. Oh, we need credits to flush server 1. Whatever. That's good. If we feed that to Audrey at instant speed, we can get credits. So I guess we do install a Fencer for now. Yeah, I didn't like that turn. Sounds like we need a daily cast. Yeah, I could see us wanting a daily cast. It's really good with Topan. It's really good with price. Oh, it's a Tranquility. So we're going to get a card. We're going to lose a card. Okay, we lost a blink, got a strike fund. Seals feels good. Now without having our buffer drive, there's no reason to like feed the Audrey every turn cycle. Okay, 2 cards. Okay, nothing to do here. We have 1 credit to trash. This is either a wall-to-wall or an anthill. This is a wall-to-wall or an anthill. On 11 credit suddenly means they can res everything. We definitely want to have access to a Devil Charm. What are we doing? We face check this. This will cost us 3 to trash. We only have 1 in here. So I think we take a Fermenter. Let's ask for an action, and then we'll start just like touching stuff. I don't know if they have agendas in hand. My guess is this is a wall-to-wall, so I think we want to see 2 on R&D. This also could be the Spin Doctor. So I think we'll run this, then run R&D. Okay, so no Mavirus. Yeah, running with no credits was really silly because Audrey counters are important. This will be a spin? Yeah. So now they have unknown in hand. We need to charge something. So worst case, we'll install Fermenter last click. We can go HQ or R&D here. We know a couple cards in hand that are trashable. So I guess we'll start there. It's a tree line. Okay, that's annoying. If we want to Audrey this, we might not get a counter back, but we have all these, so we'll go ahead and we have to. Oh, 5 strength is annoying because 5 strength is 2 cards. We die to bite axis, but 2 cards of strike funds. Yeah, we're just gonna run out of cards. Like without buffer drives, we can't only. We have to make really good runs here. They did res this. Can we not challenge remote here? I think it's a wall to wall or an anthill. Maybe after this fires, we can challenge it, but like with Audrey with a single counter, we just force ice reses. We're assuming this is a log jam, which gets res for 4, which is not that bad. But yeah, we could clear this here. Chip the botches to the tree line. Yeah, we've already trashed the thing. I think we do. I wanted to keep the simul chips for what's it called for chisels, but botchless deals with this thing good enough. Oh no, we can't. Oops. Yeah, we can't because we've already trashed a card. Yeah, we can't do it without spending 2. Yeah, we can't simul chip a botchless because they're only botchless, and we have none in here, which means we cannot trash it for fun because we've already trashed a fermenter. Yeah, that's not good. I think we just let it fire. Yeah, we bottomed one. It might have been wrong. Chisel helps Audrey too. Yeah, it does. I just don't know if this is a card we want to botch us more than we want to chisel. I think we just let this fire. I don't know. Stratagem rezzed it. Thinking. Like running this will force some credits. We can see 2 on R&D, but Fencer Fueno will convert here. They drew 2 unknown cards. We know they have trashables in hand. We have to make only the right runs. This just gives you credit back, right? On 8. Yeah, let's let it fire. We'll run server 1. The thing is, if we don't charge twinning, we're a huge loss here. So we're committing to getting in, which might not be the play. At minimum, we can always like simul chip the Audrey, but that's very expensive when we just need our chisels to work. So let's show us a logjam. Yeah. So at least that is a lot of credits. We could break 2 of the subroutines to prevent the 2 credits, but this is what we thought this would be. So now the worst case scenario here is we're not doing anything. The only way that we can charge Paladin Puemo is by installing a 4 cost card from our heap, a program which we have none. So this is what we wanted to destroy. And at 7 strength, it's getting harder and harder to chisel charm this. So we could like put a chisel on this and work on it, but nah, this is bad. What we can do is they can simul chip for the botchless on their turn, and it'll start with 3 counters with the cookbook. Like that's the best we have. But yeah, this is a bad turn because we didn't charge multi-access. Hopefully the thing is, if this is the Antil, which we think it is, yeah, they can still res it. Yeah, that was a not a great turn. We didn't do anything of Topan. We just like cracked a fermenter and made a couple goofy runs. At least now they have points in hand, they might stay there because I don't know if they're going to wipe the Antil. But every time they have 2 Kana fires, we're in a bad spot. Because more ice is bad. We can't deal with more ice. We only seen 2 points. They've drawn through only 20 cards, 15 cards, around 44. And I don't know what they shuffled back with spin. I don't think there were agendas. I imagine you have a pinhole. Yeah, 100%. Like imagine you have pinhole. So easy. Get a free Audrey counter. Use her fencer. Okay. I forgot we had pinhole on the deck. I didn't think we do. Losing a chisel sucks. Yeah, no buffer drive is like a death sentence. That's really bad. I wonder if we shouldn't fire Lagu. Yeah, they have points in hand. I wonder if we should not fire Lagu. Okay, so this is a wall-to-wall. We can decide whether we want to fire simul chip here, but it's somewhat expensive, so I don't think we do. The only way to get through this logjam is if we fire simul chip here, reinstall the simul chip, it'll come in with 3 counters. If this is a virus, if this is an event horizon, then we get called on that. But I could see us moving the botchless here and assume this is just a wall-to-wall, which we don't need a challenge. The thing is, like, we have to do the simul chip now. Technically, botchlessing this is pretty good, and I would imagine this is an agenda if they trash an Antil, so I'm going to go for it. Cookbook, bling. I don't think so. Yeah, why not? Simul chip. Okay, we have to install that. At least we'll get a Paladin twinning charge. Okay. Let's just go. We did that on their turn. So let's see an event horizon. Yep. Okay. So event horizon does beat us here. I'm gonna ask for. Oh, I have to do that on approach. Sorry. I had to ask for action on approach, I guess. Can I wind that back? Because in theory, we can destroy this at instant speed. The problem is we haven't popped a program, so it is a bit expensive. But we have to actually do this at the right window. The issue is if we install a simul chip, we crack a simul chip to put a thing on this, they can respond and crack it before we trash the ice. But my guess is that we have to use an Audrey charge on this. At least they'll be on 2 credits, and then we can break the botchless and then they crack the event horizon. So I think this is still fine. Because they won't have money to score out. We have to just contest the wall-to-wall here. Because otherwise, oh no, they'll only be on 2 credits, but it's cheap for us. So we can maybe go R&D for 2, or we can go HQ for 2. But yeah, really, really hard. Man, the matchup is tricky. Can we just chisel it? No, if we put a chisel on this, they'll just pop it. So like, there's no difference. Well, actually, no, you're right. Maybe we can. If we just put a chisel on it and they pop it, then we get through the remote server. The thing is, like, on approach, if we install the chisel, they can respond by popping it, which functionally does what we want it to do anyways. But the issue is if we fire simulchip, we have to trash one of our installed cards. So we lose a fermenter at 4. We do have a chisel in the bin, all of them. But like maybe we just want to run this and force Event Horizon anyways and say that's good enough for us. It gets us in, yeah, but I think we just let this go through on low credits. We can always like just simulchip this again. I think I'm just going to go through this because we can just run centrals. Yeah, it doesn't even take a card, I forgot. Like if they pop it, they pop it. Audrey not being unique is interesting. Yeah, it usually doesn't matter. I've seen board states where you do that. But now we can run server 2. They probably can't score. And then we can run R&D and C2 after we install the simulchip. We probably won't need to do that first because we can get a fencer here. Unless it's the last spin doctor. But I think this is a wall-to-wall for 1 credit. Third spin doctor. Okay, wow. So they don't have recursion anymore. So if we find a cacophony, that's good. So I think we just have to run R&D. Well, we'll probably C2. So we'll simulchip from hand. And then we'll run R&D. We're not worried about this card because it can't go anywhere. And we always can respond to it by flickering. So they need to get money up really quickly. We'll C2. Off the books. Nice. That charges everything. Fencer's angry. Toxin. Okay. Do we pay for Fencer? I hate paying for Fencer. Oh my God. I hate paying for Fencer so much. So they're drawing into a Toxin, which is not super useful. Yeah, if we get into the server, Fencer's worth it. We'll pay. Pin the grid. We don't have enough clicks. You're right. Grid actually does give them a click for 2, which is good. But I'd rather just like flicker the Botulus. Oofa doofa. Why? How did they do that? Was it single advanced? And 2 conifiers? Oh God, that's so bad. At least they're on 1 credit. We lost our twinning. Ouch, ouch, my head. It's okay. We can still win this. So running this is not super necessary. R&D is new. They have probably points in archives. Oh, BTL. Yeah, you're right. They can always score at a 3 too. Shit. So we haven't seen any 5-3s yet. We also have to watch out we're on measure, but they don't have money. So we need all of these to fire. Paladin Puemo, we can install the fermenter. That's fine. Fencer Fueno should convert. We, in theory, when it comes to Botuluses, if we top deck a Botulus, there's only 1 more raw Botulus in the deck in 12 cards. So we find one, we can install it perfectly for free, and then we can run HQ, which is probably where we want to run here. We have no real breakers, but we definitely need to trash them with Audrey. So I think we do draw here. The other option is we could just like Topan down the Hannah and hope it doesn't hit the fermenter or the pinhole, which like, I mean, when we're here. Good. Hit the pinhole. Bad. Turns out bad. Okay, that's not good. We can at least install the cacophony with the Paladin. And then we can run R&D and hopefully trash something expensive. I don't know if we can afford to use the Balchos. They can jam this remote server next turn. Man, losing that pinhole sucked because the Tranquility is actually the target for sure. This Hannah might not have been worth it. It was just like a Topan trigger. Man, having to spend 2 clicks just to install cards feels so bad. I guess I'm running. I think there's points in archives. Like 3 spins are out, and archives is not a great run for us. That's good. So we charge our twinning. Just kidding. Audrey gets a counter though. Cacophony gets a counter, which is good. So we can run HQ here, and I think we do. The problem is we see a single. We know there's a wall-to-wall in hand, and I think we know there's a Toxin in hand, which maybe on 1 credit you throw out. We also get to run this Tranquility home grid server and destroy it, which might be correct. I wonder strategy on purges next turn. We have way more money than we think, but I do actually think we run this server and trash the whole server because we trash this for 5. If they purge, it's fine. Oh wait, 7 strength is really hard for Audrey. I forgot about that. It's our whole hand. Yeah, we probably can't do that. We run R&D for single. I think we run HQ. 5 strength is also really bad here, man. I think we just draw. Yeah, wow. This lists are interesting to play. I don't think we get another click here. We'll just draw. That's okay. Having no spin doctors into cacophony is kind of cool. We've only seen 6 points out of 18. We've drawn through 20 cards, so there's probably 2 more agendas in play. Wonder if there's a world where Topan wants to run Basilar. Clicks are precious and small hand size just makes the random pings more predictable. I think taking 3 cards out of hand with a single install is probably not what you want to Topan, right? Because like you're already really bad at taking cards out of hand. So like taking more cards out of hand seems a lot. I think you just want to get click compression in a different way. It doesn't have to be Basilar, which is also like, I think 4 influence. Ooh, advance for credits. Okay, we're on 4, so we can res most ice. Masquerade we can deal with. 5 strength tree line is a bit annoying, but we'll get there. Nothing we want to do here, but they did not install on the server, which means, yeah, they probably have to purge. We have to take this fermenter. The thing is, like, that's a good turn to run with the simulchip. So we take the fermenter. We can install the solidarity badge, which like if it fires, it's fine. I'm trying to install to hit the twinning, not realizing we don't have a twinning, but I think there's one more twinning in our 10 cards. Nope, there's no more twinnings. Oh, cacophony is all we have. But we definitely take the fermenter. We can draw, take the fermenter, run R&D, see what happens. That's probably not it. So now if they res, we can simulchip whatever we want in. We have 2 Devil Charms left in the deck. That's the best thing. The issue is like all our chisels here are at the bottom. And shout out to Patch of Lavender, who was actually playing, what's it called? Scrounge for this sort of thing. Messney, okay. We could not easily run this, but we do want to run and trash things. I think here we run HQ, just because we want to trash something with Cacophony Fueno. They have to res this. We'll simulchip this. Oh no, that's our 1 Botulus, and we need that Botulus there. It's a high cost to reposition this Botulus. So I think we just spent 2 cards in hand. They don't really have the money to threaten measured, but yeah, we have the money to survive measured. I'm going to run HQ. We'll see if this is an Afshar or something annoying. But I do think this should be a reasonable run. Especially if we trash something like the Cacophony from HQ gets way harder. So this is 5 strength, so we have to trash 2 cards. So strike, strike. No reason to spread those out. And then we'll use a counter. We definitely need to get a counter back here. Pivot, I mean, fine, it's free. And then we can fire Cacophony and get an Audrey counter. Sabotage 3. We know Toxin in hand, maybe. Pivot was the other card we knew. And they have a wall-to-wall somewhere, which I'm surprised didn't go in here. So they did 2 from hand, 1 from R&D. So we know that they lost their Messney, which is fine. Now this server, they can't just jam into here because we can run it. So they're just setting up. They're on 10 credits though, so they can res any advanceable ice in the game. Okay, yeah, that's what they have to do to make the server harder to run. Okay, cool. Archive's gonna be loaded? Yeah, I think so. It's a bit expensive for us to check, but we could go for it. We know that there's all the cards that they sabotaged, like they had full control over it. They knew the top of R&D was safe. That's kind of the ugly thing of running here into here. This Gachapon has a chance at instant speed to go get a Botulus, but again, we have very limited runs left in the game. I could see us poking R&D for a single. I guess we draw once. Too late for this to be good. But I want to run Archives. 3 spins are out. Aked is the easiest it is, but let's see if we can get an extra Audrey counter for that to be good. I guess we'll run R&D for a single. Hopefully we can trash something. This Fencer was good so far. Tucana, nice. Cheap trash. Cacophony, Audrey counter. Everything we want and more. We could run server 1 to deal with it. Again, we have 20 credits, but we could trash the server. This hand could be the wall-to-wall. But I think actually we can run Archives here. Maybe there's nothing in it, but like I'm curious. We won't need this. Badge actually might have been worth installing. Nothing. Okay. So they threw out an extra Tranquility, the Messney we knew, the Toxin, the Pivot, the Treeland, the Logjam. So their hand is just a wall-to-wall. We know what is in their hand 100%, if I'm not mistaken. So we know the top deck, we know their hand. It's a wall-to-wall in hand. Top of the deck is a Tucana, which we trashed. So we should run back because there's no agendas in the game here. Let's see if they res on last click. They do. It's a Messney. We'll lose 3. We can break this, but it's all our counters. I think losing 3 here is not that bad because that will put them on next turn. They could do 4, 5, 6, and then push the remote server. I think we just let this fire. I don't want to use our last Audrey counter like this. We've already hit our Cacophony. Maybe this was too much. Maybe we should have drawn or installed last action. Losing 3 cards doesn't matter. We know they don't have measured. So now they have unknown and wall-to-wall. There you go. Advance, advance. And then they can put the wall-to-wall in the Tranquility if they want. They don't, so they have an unknown in hand. Mess and Cheswa we could break with this Botulus. We have 1 more Botulus and 8 cards. Again, we need to touch a lot of cards. With not a lot of cards in hand, it's hard for them to do Cacophony, so we just need to fire Cacophony. We can go through this for, unfortunately, 2 cards. Do we have a Tungsten in here? No, we have no Tungsten, so 4 strength is just going to be 4 strength. Unless we top deck a Botulus, which is why drawing is good. Interesting. We could pinhole server 2 to trash the Tranquility. It's not the worst play. They might be able to res this, but if they do, we're happy. But pinhole trashes this. Yeah, we pay 1, pay 1, pay 3. Fuck. This is maybe where they purge, but again, I don't know if they jam or not. Pinholes turns on the Cacophony, which is good, so I could see it. Honestly, maybe the Tucana is the thing, but their money is not good and they have to res a lot of ice. So I could see us pinholing server 2 and then just installing a fermenter. Maybe we need this for like pseudo soft expose, but if they purge, they can't jam unless they're playing business. So let's see what happens. Yeah, we had 2 more Devil Charms than 6, which like that's I think where I have to use our simul chips. So like this last fermenter is gonna be really important. Okay, nice. So we'll take down the Tranquility for 3, get a Cacophony trigger. This is why like Cacophony is good, right? We'll install a fermenter, and then we'll force them to sabotage. So we know half their hand, so we'll see where they come from. So they did all from R&D. So now running archives is a bit more interesting. They don't have recursion. There could be enough points in archives, but they kept the wall to wall. I think that's the last card in the hand. Oh, wow. So I'm assuming this is an event horizon, but it's advanced, so it won't be. We can't trash Lagu. We're safe to measured. I have to remember to play around measured. They could do single measured. We have to pay 10 or 8. So that's the top deck. They have 1 unknown. I think a wall to wall in hand. I don't know why they'd keep a wall to wall instead of sabotaging though. Okay, so why shouldn't we be able to run this? We should be able to run this, right? Like this is an advanced card. Was the ice advanced with BTL or some trick? Because BTL, like you have to advance the card, so it has to be advanceable, but there's a chance that like this was advanced off of a wall to wall or something. And that actually tells you whether there's an advanceable ice or not. And if we know it's an advanceable ice, it can't be an event horizon. Okay, thanks. Okay, so if we want to crack a simul chip now, that's fine. The issue is that we crack the fermenter, but we have 3 cards in hand. I don't know why we can't run into the server. The issue is it does fire to Tucana, but we should be able to get into the server. We're going to have 6 credits on the fermenter next turn, so we have to play around measured. But I don't know why we wouldn't just run this. Logjam is free. Outermost ice is 2 cards. Yeah, we just run this. That puts us on game point. We can draw once. That's good. I don't really want to destroy this ice. I'd rather destroy the Messney, I think. But this also will give us a counter. Oh, okay. So now we need 4 cards in hand. So this, we just have to Audrey. Okay. So we're down to 7. I don't want to crack the fermenter this turn. This logjam is obviously free. It's hard to break this with the botchless, but we got there. We steal the agenda, which makes Paladin upset, but that's fine. She's done enough. We'll do Paladin, Fencer, Cacophony. So that's 3 more sabotage next turn. And this has been firing a counter every turn. Like Cacophony is honestly not that bad. I would probably rather have a twinning, but it's hit some cards. And like Stratagem now has to run. Like they have to push forward. We've seen no 5/3s though, but we're all on threat 4. Let's see what the Tucana does, which takes cards out of R&D. Event Horizon, perfect. And we will trash this. Actually, I don't know if we trash this. Yeah, it's free. Okay, Fly Swatter or off Tucana just once. Technically would purge too. Yeah, Fly Swatter would be really good. So Stratagem has, I think, a wall to wall. I'm not misremembering it. Like they didn't trash it and shuffle it back. These are 3 unknown cards. We are, if they can do credit measured, we have to take at least 1 credit or draw 2 cards. The Devil Charm can get installed for free and Paladin's still pretty angry. Yeah, we could check archives here and we could just win. Like this seemed like a desperation play, so I kind of want to check archives. The issue is like we have to discard a card from our hand and then we have to like not lose to measured. So we're like priced into cracking fermenter if we check archives. No, we could just click for credit actually. Yeah, I'm gonna run archives. So we'll trash the badge, break the subs. Might as well break both. Saxone's in the bin, Tucana and a Bioac. Okay, so we're on game point. Fencer, Paladin's really angry, but here we have to click for a credit. I don't think there's a way that we get double measured because Extract got banned. So I think we just click for a credit. If we lose the Devil Charm, we lose the Devil Charm. Then we have to throw out Pally, but that's fine. We could have thrown out another card like the Bling. That actually could have been correct. All right, they're not purging. We can't do that. Advance. So if they have a Seamless in hand, this is a 5/3. So maybe they're just like buying time. And problem is that the Cacophony doesn't work if you lose the game, because then the game is over. So I could see us doing Fermenter. Trash Lagu? Yeah, you're right. Trashing Lagu was slightly better. Yeah, because we're not going to fire the Lagu. Yeah, that was a way better play. I forgot we're not going to fire the Lagu anymore. Maybe actually on the turn where they push like this, we fire the Lagu, but we can't run the Logjam 3 times, I don't think. And having more cards in hand matters. So if that's a 5/3, they have to have a Seamless or a Slash and Burn in hand, which if they do, they do. If it's an Uzyef, we need to have 2 cards in hand. We have no way to clicklessly draw. We can probably hand it this turn for tempo because I don't know what else we're going to do with this. We probably actually should have handed this remote server last turn for sure, because we knew that there's no ice we couldn't get through. We could have got a click back. Yeah, that was a mistake because we knew it wasn't an event horizon. There was no ice that keeps us out. Maybe actually if it's a fly swatter it is, but I'll like float a tag. It's fine. We should have handed last turn. So I think we can just like see some cards. We think there's a unknown and a wall to wall, but we could see a single off of R&D. Pop Fermenter, play Devil Charm, Simulchip, 2 Chisels, run remote twice. Can we do that? This could be a Charlotte, but Pop Fermenter, play Devil Charm, Simulchip, 2 Chisels, run remote twice. We crack the Event Horizon. I mean, yeah, that works. We don't even have to crack the... Oh, no, we have to crack the Fermenter for Simulchip. Yeah, that could work. Huh. Yeah, if we think this is an agenda, that's definitely the play. And we can hand it the last run too. Yeah, I like that. It's risky. If this is a Charlotte, we like lose all our tools, but like we're playing from feels like behind because we have limited resources. So this goes up to 16. Devil Charm for 1 could have been free. My bad. And then we can Simulchip on this and then Hannah run it. In theory, no, we should Hannah run the second one because if they crack the Event Horizon or they don't, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm into this. I wonder if we should have just fired Lagu anyways to get 1 card in hand, because now we're priced into like, if we had a card in hand, we didn't have to destroy the Messney. We could have just paid 3. If the Charlotte, it's pretty bad, because then they can purge out and we're locked. I don't think we do the Hannah right away. No. So let's see if they crack it. Feel good for myself, played Netrunner since ages. Hey Zed, left around elevation, but it seems people like play some of the old school cards for Mentor Devil Charm modules. Yeah, Virus Anarch. It's like still quite fun. So we are definitely doing that. So now we can hand the remote server, which we did lose a click. We could have had 1 more card in hand. We didn't hand it. Yeah, we don't want to hand it into the Vent Horizon. We want to hand it after they crack the Vent Horizon, so we don't take the tag. So that was intentional. So our on encounters happen first, so we don't even lose the credits. Oops. Sick. AGG. Man, losing the buffer drive is pretty scary. Drew 4 agendas in a row there. Yeah, that last game seemed a bit desperate. Seemed a bit aggressive. So yeah, so it looks like they were flooded there. So they just had to jam out. Even if that went through, we wouldn't have lost the game. But yeah, it looks like they drew poorly for a bit, considering we saw maybe it looked like a drought of an agenda for the first couple turns. Yeah, that's a reasonable line. Like I don't know if I would have read that as a Charlotte because we don't have multi-access. It's much better for us to run centrals. The Ace Gem well played, thanks too. And we had a Cacophony there, which will knock 3 more cards out of the hand. Interesting. I think when they ripped 3 from the hand, maybe we miscounted the hand, and maybe this is an agenda and not the wall to wall. Yeah, I think the wall to wall was actually not returned. It was overinstalled. So I think all my mapping was wrong. The wall to wall was here. So there's actually 2 unknown cards in hand, and I think they were all agendas. Topan wins games. Topan was okay. Topan fired. Okay. How do we search this? Paying to... So there was 1 turn I think we could have fired Topan that we didn't, but Topan saved 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Maybe not true because some of these were 1 costers, I think. 12. We still have 12 credits. We saved 12 credits in how many turns was this? In a 15 turn game. I mean, like, that's not bad. And we could have fired in more, and we did not play perfectly. Of course we didn't, and we lost our buffer drive. But like having the flexibility of like Simulchip and all that sort of stuff is pretty dang good. Like we did not break any ice for money. That cannot be understated. I mean, kind of cool. Generally kind of cool. I could see us playing the daily cast though, but you saw all of it was the fermenters. It was literally just the fermenters keeping our money up. I hope the Cyberpunk TCG leads to some more people to Netrunner. Yeah, me too. I'd be surprised if it does though. Ultimately, it feels like that audience is for going for something else. Oh, one thing I want to say about the Cyberpunk TCG. Obviously, they're not out yet as much as the Kickstarter is over, but they have changed the base rules of the game, which I'm really happy to hear. Because from what I played from the early demo decks, like the rules were not amazing. So it's good. In some ways, it's weird to be like, oh, your rules engine is not locked down, and you're obviously, you know, pushing to Kickstarter and making literally like $14 million or whatever. But they have changed like fundamental rules. Like the game will now be a turn longer. The ability to access your leader is now half price. So I mean, that's probably for the best. But all right, so Komodo, they play a lot of BOAC and ganked. If you destroy the ice, you don't have to worry about ganked, which is a nice interaction. Thanks, you too. Now this opening hand has a Lagu, has a steel skin, which you kind of want to keep in multiple different ways. It has an early twinning. I mean, the double price was actually a really sick opening, it turns out. I don't know if we can face check with just a chisel. I don't think we can. So this hand is probably like install twinning. And no, I don't know. I don't think we keep this hand. What did they change in the base rules? So now you have to need 7 dice to win the game. So instead of 6, so the game will just be longer. They also added another action phase after you attack. So the game is much more interesting. So now cards that interact with the dice that you stole, the dice you stole from the gigs, you now can actually play those cards. But the game used to just be like play cards, attack, end of turn. Now it's play cards, attack, play cards. So very much like Lorcana or Magic or anything else. And now calling a legend cost 1 instead of 2. But it's going to play more similar to Lorcana. Can you have RFG the first buffer drive to get back the second one? No, because the second one was trashed. We lost it off the top. Oh no, we lost it off of a bling and we didn't want to save it because it's unique. So that's on us. This is better. Devil Charm Chisel Fermenter. Nuka, very good. I know comparing applies to tomatoes, but strange for me how FFG still pumps life to Arkham and left Netrunner out of the loop. FFG lost Netrunner because they could not renew the license. They definitely wanted and they intended to do more Netrunner, but at the point, the license agreement could not be renewed, which is a complicated license agreement. I'm assuming it has something to do with the Cyberpunk upcoming video game, but FFG intended to, it just financially didn't make sense. I imagine whoever had the license was just like way too much money. But at the time that they lost the license, they had like a new game designer. They had just made like a new core set. It was a very unfortunate time to lose the license. Hey, Roar, hopefully your day's been better, huh? Enjoy your lunch. Thanks for dropping in. Okay, so Devil Charm Chisel is fine. The problem with these cards is they're very good. So we want to keep them in hand. Did Komodo mulligan, so they might have points in hand. But like we might not Topan this hand because this is such a strong hand. Like all of these cards are golden. So like maybe we shouldn't even draw and just install Nuka, but I think I'm okay here doing Nuka from Enter Click for credit. Maybe we even show the charm. Yeah, I think we can bottom out a bit. Because like, we want to get these cards on the table because the more of them that are on the table, the easier it is for us to Topan the Chisel. And maybe we don't need Hannah. And she had been Curators Netrunner so longer than FFG at this point, which is wild. Yeah, much longer actually. FFG only did it for like 6 years. NSG has been around for like 7 or 8 at this point. But yeah, they've been longer. Yeah. It did come out of nowhere seemingly. Like I don't think FFG expected to lose the license because they would not have invested the way that they did into it. Okay, so we could open up HQ. I don't know what the call here is, but with Spin Doctor, the hand has to have agendas in it. So let's have some fun. We could technically install Hannah, charge the Spin Doctor, and then like chisel the pinhole and then Axis. But if we hit a, like, that's another issue is we cannot safely run HQ because we'll die to a bite, we'll die to a Fuji. So actually like this doesn't make a lot of sense. But we could just blow open HQ and cost Melius credit. I think we still do it. I think we run Spin Doctor, then Nuka that run HQ. I just want to destroy the ice and then not have it and not like have it get chiseled back. I mean, this is sketchy. This might not be the play. So no res. Fuck. I mean, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And having low hand size. So losing the Cacophony sucks. We did cost the R&D flip. Not Archives flip is interesting. So we're going to draw 2 cards and we'll trash the bite. We're floating a tag. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it doesn't feel that way because NSG had a slower release cadence. Yes, exactly. NSG has put out less cards in that time. But they've done a lot of really, really great stuff. Their organized play is like the World Championship Series have been fantastic. I heard about 3 different stories. Are you the Netrunner license? Had a semi-insider tell me a number of years ago that FFG was just looking to get out of the competitive LCG space altogether. I mean, but there's competitive LCG. I mean, maybe. Oh, are they raising a BOAC for free? I mean, okay, it's an Unleashed deck and we floated a tag. This BOAC will die though, and Komodo will be sad because we have a simul chip, so we can just destroy the BOAC just for like for our own pride. But Unleash cleared the tag for us, which is pretty good, and it only cost the chisel, which was on the ice already. So cool. So they don't have money. We don't have to overextend here, but we can just like simulchip and knock this out. Okay, so we don't have money, so that's crack the fermenter, but we want to crack the fermenter on the turn that we're actually running. They definitely have points in hand, and if this is on Unleash, they're probably on 4/2s, like Orbital Superiority, and see how they run. So that's scary, but they haven't hit a Charlotte. They've only hit Hedge Fund, so their economy is not going to be there. They'll be on 3 credits next turn. If we can do credit Paladin, Paladin next turn will install. We're not going to Topan this hand. Like, that's the problem, is I don't want to Topan this hand, because this hand is too good. And maybe that's like a fallacy. Like, I'm okay trashing the top card of my deck, but trashing a random card in hand here, like if we lose a Simulchip or Devil Charm, or sorry, yeah, if we lose a Simulchip or the Devil Charm or the Botulus, it has a huge impact on how this game plays out. FG kind of weirdly collapsed around then, right? Killing off Netrunner, 5 rings, a few other LCGs, X-Wing, Armada. I don't think it's exactly that. X-Wing was run by somebody else. I'm not sure about Armada. 5 rings was knocked out a year after, but like that was coming to it. But they're still doing great for Arkham, Marvel Champions. They have Star Wars Unlimited, which is doing really well, but yeah, it's definitely a different world. All right, just a purge. We're okay with that because we can install the Simulchip. Well, actually, maybe that's not good. So we install the Simulchip. We had to crack this fermenter for 2, so maybe that was fine. Maybe we can just continue to set up. The secret to Topan is not to put good cards into your deck. Yeah, then you can always click Topan. I hear you. It's tempting. That's why you play like 100 card max. You just put bad cards in there. I don't think there's much we have to do here. Like, we have to trash the Biowanked because Komodo's playing ganked. I wanted to crack the fermenter, so technically a good purge, especially because Melius is getting a credit a turn. We could face check R&D on 6, like it could be Lion's Mane, it could be, and not a lot of people are playing Sai Santana anymore, which is good. It could even be a Botu, which is very expensive, but I could see us poking R&D here. Again, the issue is our hand is really good. But I could poke R&D here, see what happens. If it's a Lion's Mane, it's a Lion's Mane, I guess. Especially because we don't have 3 credits. This is a bit risky. Nice. Malleus was on R&D. Oh, great. So the bite is going back. It's a seamless. Good to know. So Sisyphus. But the hedge fund went back. I hate Melius like this. Like, why did we run? And the cost of running was giving Komodo back a hedge fund, which like was just a straight 50-50 here, whether it was on archives or R&D. Did Komodo play us? I don't know. But the fact that like our only good thing was that they didn't have credits and now a hedge fund went back to hand. Like, I should not run. I should just learn. Play against Melius, don't run. What are you doing? Oh God, that gets me so bad. Like, just giving a hedge fund back was the worst thing we could do. Now, they did lose a credit, and so they also lost a click if they play the hedge fund. So it's only a 3 credit hedge fund, but oh God, Melius. That's on me. It's like, I need to play better. I need to not play Netrunner. I need to just set up. Draw. That could matter. Just click for credit. The Melius fault associate. I hate it. I hate the fact. Oh, you want to be aggressive because they're on a bad board state? Oops, hedge fund back. Like, come on. Funny that X-Wing goes to semi, goes homemade rules, fan mod keeps the game alive. Well, a bit harder to get the models, but still cheaper than 40 or game one titles. Yeah, so maybe a Charlotte. Like, I don't know if we open HQ here. We could also just run this. We know that they have a seamless in hand. So the seamless in hand is not good. This could be a Sisyphus. Again, we're kind of expected to crack the fermenter. Man, I feel so much less powerful in this matchup. Why? They didn't res this, which either means they couldn't or they didn't want to. It would have bottomed them out maybe, but it also could be a 7 credit res or even a Michael Webb. So if this is a Charlotte, any of these can be a big old snake, which we can deal with a snake. We have Simulchip Devil Charm. We just have to lose a fermenter. Just don't run the Melius server easy. I mean, yeah, that's why I don't want to play it. I don't know if a single poke is all the aggressive anyways. If you were swinging for finality or something, it'd be worth the cost. Agree, Tron. But like, I want to go for the cheeky poke to stop Melius from flipping. Like, I wanted to just like trash something. Maybe it wasn't a good run. Ultimately, like a single R&D when we're on 1 credit probably wasn't it. So yeah, it is like shouldn't have been done for 2 reasons. It's just like so bad when it's recur a hedge fund. It gets me. I realize that I'm a goof. All right, if it's a Charlotte can fire once. We've lost 1 pinhole. I think that's the only pinhole we have. No, we have 2. Sick. All right, somewhere in the 38. I just feel so slow here. I mean, this Devil Charm is so good, but it's unique, so we can't install it. So like, we could just Topan and hope for the best because we've clearly stalled out here. If we do Botchless run, Botchless is really bad on 2 ice because they just res the other one, and if it's on a Tattoo Bullet, it's like the worst thing we could have done for ourselves. So like, what do we do here? Nuka draw? I think we do Nuka draw, and then that's good. All right, So we're going to install this buffer drive and it's going to hit the strike fund or the blank. Nailed it. Damn, we're good. We needed that to happen. We really needed one of those to happen. I'll just click for credit. I don't want to put the badge down. If it's a Charlotte, I don't know if they purged a Fermenter on 2. Oh, it's a Sisyphus? Because they didn't res it. Yeah, great. Sisyphus got scored. Oh, Unleash is going through. Doesn't matter. Just don't hit our Devil Charm. Oh, hit a Strike Fund. Sick. So they can res an ice and clear the tag, which maybe we're happy about it. Like, we knew they had a Seamless, and Seamless is the only way that this punishes us hard. Yeah. Tier? Are we taking 2 core? Or are they trashing our... We took 2 core. Okay. So they have a tier. That's 7 strength. That's hard to deal with. What did we lose? We lost the Dream Knight and the Botulus. That's not that bad. But we're now on 3 hand size, which is not great. They're down on 8 credits. I think we now just like start smashing. The issue is like, this is just a single touch and it opens up HQ. And the problem is like opening up HQ here is not super relevant because if they have agendas, they'll just put it in here. We know nothing about the hand. They did keep, right? No, they mulligan. So there could be more points. Side game still exists. Yeah, there's like a fair few side game cards. Some pretty good ones too. This one is like one of the weirdest side game cards. Okay, we don't have the tag to clear, but the tier is res tier. Trashing the tier is slightly more difficult. Okay, so what can we do? We can tear this down. This list is probably not unganked. I don't know if... Was Sanjay's list unganked? So we can always... We need to find multi-axis. We've lost a Cacophony. We still have 1 twinning. I think we're on 2 Cacophony on the list, but we have to find them because that's the only way... Oh, we only have 1 and 1, so damn, we only have 1 twinning here. We can always buffer drive it back if we want to. Yeah, I think we can just do, again, we have Steel Skin Strike Fund, so I'm going to Topan the Lago and hope it doesn't hit the charm. Good enough. I don't think there's much we have to do here. Sometimes you want to install and then draw in Topan, which is like kind of also ugly. That's really good. I think we just install this for 1 and then we won't fire it this turn. I feel like a Chisel really could use a Tungsten Tailor in the deck. Yeah, and Tungsten Tailor is like really good against the 4 strength ice, which is in the format. When it comes to Audrey too. Like Audrey with Tungsten's good because you don't actually spend cards to break the 1 strength stuff too. Like I could definitely see the Tungsten. I think Tungsten Audrey is way better than it looks. Cool. Free card draw. Yeah. Nice. Audrey's there. No cookbook yet. We got to do this again. Okay. So we could simulchip here. We probably don't. So at least the BOAC is up. The tier is up. We only have 3 hand size. We can always click through the tier, which is not amazing. This could be a Charlotte. But I think we probably just have to do something here. We can technically install Audrey, crack the Fermenter, crack HQ, touch a card. We have the Steel Screen and Strike Fund, so we're pretty safe against a lot of things. So that gets a twinning. We'll see 2 in HQ, but this could be an agenda, so there might not be more points in hand. We also could die to like Melias bringing the bite back, which like, Melias. So Simulchip, Chisel, destroy this. Excuse me? Oh, excuse me. But yeah, the problem is like now if the HQ's the call, they can bring a bite back and we just die. At least with Steel Skin, it's not likely we die. Devil Charm -6 strength. Destroyed. C2. You monster. You did this. We'll see 2 here. The call was R&D, which has been every single turn so far. Unleash, can't trash it. Orbital, okay. So there's probably still an agenda in the remote server. We don't have anything to fire here. Was there a concept to bring back campaign mode to Netrunner? I know the original Terminal Directive was kind of a disaster. I don't think there's a huge market for it, and Terminal Directive was really quite bad. So maybe, it looks like they're setting up another Unleash. The question is like, how bad is the Unleash for us? But we know that they could have jammed the Orbital. They need to also have a Seamless in hand, which we can't interact with. How do we take 3 damage? Is there a subroutine that does 3 damage? Yes, there are subroutines that do 3 damage. There is... the Archives one that does 3 damage. So in theory, if they score out a 4-2, we can always throw the Steel Skin and Audrey and get 3 cards in hand. I'm just going to install the Devil Charm because I don't want to lose it to damage. I never played it, but there was a fan-made campaign that I heard was pretty good. That was a while ago. Does Cloud Eater do 3 damage? I guess it does, right? Yeah, but Venomous is the one I was talking about, but Cloud Eater does it. So in theory, if they like score out a 4-2 that gives us a tag, ooh, looks like we don't. Chiseling the tier is really difficult. So They don't have a seamless. This looks like an Anoetic and agenda or a ganked an agenda. On 10 credits, we have to be scared of this. We have Devil Charm Chisel. The problem is tier is 7 strength. So the only way that we can blow up the tier at instant speed is if we find, what's it called? A cookbook. Now, we've already fired Buffer Drive, but we could just send the Audrey the Steel Skin just to draw 2, but there's no reason we don't do it on our turn then. We also could just install the Chisel on the tier, committing to that line, but it looks like Komodo wants to score this with a click left to hit us with the Unleash. But yeah, tier is 7 strength, Chisel, and Devil Charm just do -6. So we need to find a cookbook here. So I could see us just throwing Audrey at Steel Skin. If we draw the cookbook, we can maybe blow the server up, but like this second ice is going to stop us because we won't get a counter on Audrey. Because Audrey's only cards you're accessing. You don't access ice when you encounter ice. We'll draw. That's worth installing. Charges the twinning. Something's going to get blown up next turn, that's for sure. But we should be safe. I think we're incentivized to Topan this Chisel down. Steel Skin first. Oh, now we have to discard a card. No. I don't know. Maybe we die here. I'm not sure how. Like, we die to End of the Line, if that's in the list, but I'd be surprised. I think the list also has Mindscaping, so maybe double Mindscaping now we lose because we threw out the Steel Skin, but they're not scoring. Okay, now they are. Just a Fuji, sick. Hit the Gachapon sucks. Buffer Drive, but they pass turn with an open hand. And again, Melius is going to call HQ for sure. Strike Fund. We'll put on the bottom. Okay. Okay, so we have no clickless card draw. We'll just draw it. That's good. Issues if we run HQ, they have a chance of getting a bite back, let alone having a bite. Okay, I think we just run Archives, run HQ. Because HQ has to be the call here. Yeah, blue floor. Threw out a Tattoo Bola, so the hand has to be better than Tattoo Bola. We're going to run HQ C2 before things go into the remote server, because they drew last click-ish. Cloud Eater, Unleash. I mean, we knew the Unleash. Not a great turn for us. A Gourmand would have been very important, but we should be able to get that next turn. We had to waste a click running Archives, otherwise they get back like their best card from Archives, which like, I don't know. Okay, that's good. Lagu, draw Cookbook. That's really important because now we can, oh no, because we installed the Chisel. Yeah, so now we actually have to flicker this Chisel to get on the server, which is tricky. But yeah, we pre-installed the Chisel, which is not right. Because this Chisel only gets counters on the encounter. If we hit tier, we can triple click through it, I guess. And then just destroy here, but then Anoetic throws us out. Yeah, why do we install this? I think we wanted to get Topan, but you don't want to pre-install this when it's 7 strength. Because we have no way to get the strength down without encountering it, and the order of this doesn't work the way you want it to. All right, so can they win? If they have Seamless into La Costa, they win, unless we pinhole this, and we know this bottom card is the upgrade, right? I think. We already fired Buffer on their turn. So what can we do to get this? Install the Cookbook, then flicker the Chisel with Simul Chip. We can kill the tier. Yeah, but then we can't get through this. Like, we need another Simul Chip or a way to get through the next ice. Because for sure the next ice ends the run. So like, we need a Botchless to be able to do the play. But yeah, we can technically trash the Simul Chip to flicker it. It's just, we need the Simul Chip to deal with the second ice. But that is probably our line. Oh, that's good. I have no idea what server to run here, though. I'm going to go HQ. I'm assuming she put this on Archives, but this could be a Regenesis. Fuck, it's HQ. God, I hate Melius. 50-50 on recurring a card is not fun. Like, how am I meant to know which server this is? 50-50 to recur your best card in Archives. Sorry, I'm salty. It is an Anoetic, okay. So now this needs 2 Seamlesses, and we don't know if... Did they add a Seamless back? They added a Seamless back. The 50-50 on adding a Seamless back is just silly. Just silly, straight 50-50 if a Seamless goes back. So now they might have 2 Seamless and a 5-3. Oh no, a 4-2 wins the game. Yeah, we lose the game here because we can't get in the server and we just gave a Seamless back. Because if this is a 4-2, they just do Seamless Advance. I guess we have to do install Cookbook Run. And hope that we can Audrey through this. Devil Charm, yes. Continue. I mean, we have to do this now because we gave a thing back. So hopefully we get through this with 2 Subroutines. Gourmand Trash Seamless on HQ. I mean, yeah, that's another option. This seems a bit better because then we get rid of the ice. Knowledge Seeker, perfect. We can get through that. If this is a Fuji, I guess we die, but so this is 2 boosts. We'll put the strike phone on the bottom. And then we'll break 2 subroutines. So we'll break the bottom 2. Uh-oh, it's a table bite? See how they run? Sorry? Oh, no problem. All right, we had to run that we lost because we gave a seamless back, so we had to do that. The Knowledge Seeker is hard, but if they don't put another ice in front of this, we can just like force it to be derezzed. They have enough money to re-res it twice, so we don't have enough clicks to actually force the issue. Good thing is if they install, we draw a card, which is important. And we have a twinning that will be on 2 counters probably next turn, so we can just like go R&D and hope. The thing is like we need Audrey to get a counter for that to be actually like reasonable. As much as they might be running ice that doesn't end the run. This was not rezzed on 6. So I don't know. Oh, no push. Okay. Okay, so we didn't get a draw. We don't have to do anything. We just have to set up. We want to find our simul chips. We have 1 more chisel. We have 1 more botchless, 1 more simul chip. 2 pinholes are out. We could always run the spin doctor, which is probably worth something. That's really good. That's a great draw. I don't think we haven't Topan this game at all, really. This might not be worth the click, honestly. But it means they have to take more risk because they're just throwing out agendas with their ability text. Okay, so if we install the simul chip, that allows us to flicker the Audrey, which is super important. We want to install here for twinning and paladin. We could also install the bling, which wouldn't fire the bling, so I guess we'll do this. In theory, we can install the bling next turn for 2 and then install the gourmand, which like can't trips forward. That's maybe okay. Hey, Jolin. What does flicker mean? It comes from magic, but flicker means basically like destroy it and bring it back. So it flickers out of existence and back into existence. Because if we haven't trashed a program, simul chip can trash a card as a cost, and then we can bring it back in, and then when it hits the table, it gets installed, so Cookbook has a counter. I think Flicker Wisp was the card for Magic that the name was borrowed from, but Flicker just means like out in as quickly as you can. It's a good word, very useful. We have to run every card in the remote server because we know they have Seamless. They're on 11. They have no clicks left. We have no counters to break the Knowledge Seeker. We could botchless the Knowledge Seeker. So we actually could run this, or we could like Audrey Flicker the simul chip. Do you think it's an agenda, chat? If we want a simul chip, we should do it now. We could simul chip the Audrey for a botchless, which will come in with 3 counters. Like, there's no way this is the agenda, because it loses to the table. But maybe that's why you do it. But what is this, like, a spin doctor? Like, why would they do this play when they know we can get in here? And maybe that's why you do it, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't played enough against Komodo to know whether they would make this push, but this looks like a spin doctor. I don't know what else it would be, though. Like, I don't want to just lose to Seamless and not doing anything, but, like, maybe we do. Because, like, maybe it's not that big of a risk. If we steal 1 more agenda, we still don't win. I can't tell. If we draw into a natural botchless, maybe we do it. Yeah, double bluff. John, how's it going? We got your gameplay up this Monday. I don't know if you saw it. Hopefully you're well. Original MTG was just called Flicker. RFG is a card then returned to play. Oh, I thought it was Flicker Wisp. Oh, it's just called Flicker. Cool. It's cool when you make a card and it becomes that important that it like becomes the terminology. Might be the coast. I guess it could be the coast. We haven't seen any. I think we just start a turn and say that we're not running it. Okay, we want to install with Paladin. We want to be able to run R&D sooner than later, and luckily we can flicker it. So we can just see 3 on R&D. There's 4 cards in Archives, also could just be a Spin Doctor, because they drew a lot. Let's just start doing fun stuff. So we'll install this. We'll install... Ooh, Gachmon's better. We have a price. I think we'll play the price. Do a Steel Skin. Yeah, that was way better. So that was, I guess, an okay blink. So we have Chisel, Cookbook, Devil Charm, and Steel Skin. So Devil Charm is probably the best card here. Oh, this is the bottom of the stack. Excuse me, this is Buffer Drive. So we'll add the Steel Skin at the bottom. Then we install Chisel, Devil Charm, or Cookbook. I think Devil Charm is the best card here because it means we can immediately blow up anything. And will we host the top card of our deck? We can install that card instead of a card from our hand. Yeah, okay. It's another Gachapon. We install that. We can stop blinging, but this is 2 Gachapon installs, which is like really good. So do you want to host the next card on top of our deck? It basically just gets into the bin. Sometimes it's right because we have a simul chip, but simul chip has enough counters. So let's just see if we lose here. We could lose. Rough game, but after watching, I realized it wasn't one-sided as I remember. No, it wasn't. Oh, we lost the seamless. Okay, we should ran it, I guess. Man, yeah, that's the sort of Melius game where I get really frustrated, where it's like a straight 50-50 whether the seamless comes back. They didn't need it, at least, but we could have had that for sure. I didn't think you'd push the agenda to a server we could have got in. Yeah. Yeah, we could have got in there. So maybe we should have called it. I don't know if it makes sense to put a Lacosta just on the table, but like spin doctors were missing 2 and there's 4 in archives. Yeah, thanks for the game. It was a very gutsy play. Yeah, if we stole it, we're only in 6 points, which means we're in game point regardless, besides the Fuji. It's not that expensive for us to check it, so maybe we should have, but I don't know. Yeah. Okay. That's the sort of like gameplay pattern that if you know your opponent, it's easier to call. So yeah, I guess if we called that, we might have actually been okay to end the game. But yeah, bummer. Taking an unleash on turn 2 was not that honestly bad. The core damage also wasn't that bad. Like a lot of the unleash didn't actually matter that much, and that's because we can trash ice, which is good. Topan felt way worse this game, but it's because we held our like key cards in this matchup, and in this matchup there's much more, I think it feels like key cards, but we had a really good hand early which we couldn't get rid of. All right, cheers. Hey, cheers. All right, let's do another one. This is fun though, genuinely quite fun. A lot of moving pieces, a lot of agency. I like it a lot. 4 runner. Biowac was arguably not the optimal unleash target where I could have had Tier Cloudier, but my lizard. I mean, yeah, when it fires, I only lose one thing. I'm like, wait. Yeah, so I could see it have been better if it was, I don't know if Tier was on the table at that point. But man, yo, you're going to see me in the replay. Losing the 50-50 on Archives HQ to get the seamless back is just like the worst Melius. I hate that so much. It's so annoying. Like, call this 50-50, and if you call it wrong, you lose the game. I don't get that. When things are iced up, like, then there's more incentives for sure. I don't know. Maybe we should have pinholed Archives. Oh, you could have installed it right. Yeah, you did have a lot of clicks left. All right, Nuvang. Nuvang is technically a rough matchup because we're Ice Destruction, and Nuvang is probably playing Reanimation Protocol and can have some big ice. So this is not meant to be great. They mulliganed. Our hand is good. We have Price, Strike Fund, Pinhole, Fermenter, Gourmand. Like, that's perfect. If the Price hits Audrey, we're like really off. But yeah, this is meant to be a rough matchup. Hey, thanks, you too. Tyr's just a guy. I mean, 7 strength is hard for us to kill. We actually have to get a bunch of pieces together. So it is probably optimal even. But yeah, I don't know, even with Tier. I think with Tier, you don't do the core damage. I think with Tier, you're meant to trash one of our cards in game 3. Because the core damage is like not super relevant. But the trash one is relevant. I don't know if it's ever truly 50-50 since calling Archives doesn't protect anything. No, it does. It protects Archives. Because we want to pinhole Archives or run Archives for fun. Okay, Nuvang trashed the top on 2 cards. We have to play around Measured, which is not the easiest thing for our deck because this deck is definitely on triple Measured and all that other stuff. Server 1 could be seamless into something as soon as turn 1, but more likely to be an Antil here. So I don't know if we want to straight pinhole it. We'll start with this. Nice. Only target is Bling. We hit Pinhole, Bling, Price, Strike Fund. Oh, okay. So I guess we get a Bling, and a Bling gets a Devil Charm. That's a good install. So I think we just install the Devil Charm, install the Fermenter. Probably draw once. We haven't Topaned yet somehow. But like, I do think we probably Topan the Fermenter because it has a 1 in 3 chance. I guess we do Gourmand, Topan the Fermenter, and go for a 50-50. But then we don't fire Bling. Devil Charm is really good in the matchup. It deletes all Wayland Dice besides the 10 strength Pharaohs. I'm going to Topan the Strike Fermenter and 50-50 it. Or sorry, not 50-50 in it. I mean, I think we do a 1 in 3 because if we lose to Gourmand, Gourmand is still good next turn if we keep it. And I want to install it next turn so we can fire Bling. So hope for the best. Okay. That was the mid case. And we'll host. Oh, I wanted to host. Sorry. I clicked no on Bling. I was meant to click yes. Did we click no? I can't do undo paid ability window because it's going to hit a different card. How do we fix this? I don't know if I can. Because I have to redo the damage. Can I just reveal the top of the deck? Do you mind? Yeah, okay. So show. Oh, that's the whole deck? Sorry, shuffle. I guess draw 1. So it's a simul chip. I will install it. Last click. Thanks for your patience. Yeah, we got a random shuffle in there. It's all random. It doesn't matter. But I thought show would show the top card. It shows the whole deck to us. Of course it does. Cool. It's an antil. Okay, so pinhole would have been pretty good on that. Hey, Lorraine, how's it going? Undo manually. Yeah, we could have manually recovered the card and then like just done 1 damage, but this seems okay. And it's nice to have a card where we're going to get something on the bling and only have Strike Fund in hand. This antil going through does suck. We need to deal with the Spin Doctor so they can slash and burn and Nuvink with impunity. They trashed 2 cards on the top of our R&D. There's technically a cost of running archives because you flip cards up, but I don't think it's real. So we'll start with the Gourmand, which will blink card. We wanted a more expensive card here, but we'll take it because it's free and it gets us another card. Topan, bling, yes. Fencer, I mean, we keep blinging as much as we're not. We have no clicks to run and play the game, but I mean, deeper down the rabbit hole we go. We're going to keep doing it? No, I think we're not going to draw off this one. I don't think it's a reason to because we're just discarding a card. But yeah, I guess we died to Fast Events SEF and we didn't have time to run the Spin Doctor. Let's see if they just SEF us and we die. They can't Angelique because they're not on threat, but they could Fast Events and SEF. It'd be weird in Nuvang, but I mean, technically we could die here. I mean, Bling has fired a lot. Some of them were quite good. We can't contest a remote server. 2 ice? Yeah, we can't contest a remote server. And they're definitely on like seamlesses. This is likely to be like Sokka's Brawn version, which at least we can deal with bronze. Oh, we lost 2 pinholes? When did that happen? Oh, I guess we destroyed one. We priced one. Okay. All right, I guess we have to draw cards. That's good. I think we can install that, run the Spin Doctor. It probably won't fire. We also can just run HQ here, but with the Spin Doctor, I think they've thrown out their agendas. So we'll just get rid of this sooner than later. Oh, they let us trash that. Interesting. So the 20 down first might have changed the math here, but we will trash that. They have a big deck. It's like 54 cards usually. So it's sometimes that means they have another one. I think we can just draw up. We install the Gachapon. We want to do it next turn because of the bling interaction. We can install the twinning. I think I'm just going to keep cards in hand. We need to draw deeper. We need to find a Gourmand or a Chisel or a Botulus. Not a Gourmand, sorry, Audrey. I wish there were more incidental damage cards like SEF. It's nice for the runner to be a little afraid of taking random damage. I think you have to be, it actually really changes the texture of the game. Because if you're holding your 1 of Breaker and you lose the incidental damage, like, I know it's not an important card, but NBN now getting incidental damage on their face checks really changes how you have to play the matchup if you're playing singleton breakers. I feel like you want to get an Audrey before you use the Gourmands. Yeah, I hear you, but I don't know what else we can do. This looks like it's a Basalt, and if a Basalt gets scored, the game is cooked. So, like, we can't really contest this. Let's just draw through our deck. Okay, so that technically can contest 1 ice. On 26, they can res 2 ice, no problem. Milwaukee area guy. Oh, cool. But Basalt is going to go through like totally uncontested. We have to install this though, because otherwise we lose it. I think we install the twinning and Topan it, right? Outermost. We've got the most bling triggers per turn that I've seen in such a long time. But the problem is they're so awkward. Like having to spend this click or I lose the card feels bad. Ending our turn 0 cards in hand also feels bad. And if we install this, we can fire bling, but it's not. Yeah, dies to ZF. Yeah, but we would have died to ZF last turn. So I don't think we have to play around it. Let alone, I don't expect a ZF in this deck. But we would have died to ZF last turn. So we don't have to worry. I mean, I guess we install it. This might get breakers. We won't bling. Just send it? I don't think so. We can't get through. We know we can't get through 2 ice. So I don't see a reason. Actually, we could get through like Event Horizon and like a big ice with Simulchip Double Charm, but we have no Botulus. If we get Fly Swattered, it's like, okay, yeah, Basalt, okay. So now we have to watch around for Measured as soon as someone's on threat 4. You can get through most things. I don't think we can get through like Maskarovka. Like 2 end run barriers we can't get through. We can trash 1. I guess with the Gachapon we could if we're lucky. Our MU is full, so I don't want to use the Gachapon here. I think we need to crack a Fermenter first. Yeah, Gachapon could have got Fermenter, but our MU was full, so it's like possible, but it's kind of ugly. Okay, we're going to take 1 Fermenter. We're going to run HQ, trash a card, get a twinning. Like maybe we crack a Gachapon here. Now we just need to get MU. I'm going to run HQ. Nice. We'll trash that. So 1's in the bin, but again, Basalt. I thought we draw a card, but Gourmand doesn't do that because we didn't use it. That's on me. We could check archives. There's a chance we'll be on threat 4, but at least we have 13 credits. We can jump up. I guess we'll check archives. They could use a basalt here. Chisel free its own MU. No, that's true. Yeah, Chisel uses its own MU. So let them dream. So that's points. Fencer's up. We saw Humanoid, Toxin, Maskarovka. So I do think this still lines up with Sokka's list. I'm pretty sure. We are not on threat 4. They flipped up cards. I think we just draw here. We do want to empty up one more MU so Gachapon can hit on Audrey before we use these Gourmands. But I think we just need to keep drawing. That's good, I guess. Don't want to backseat too hard, but I played too much Vampy last. No, don't worry about it. I definitely haven't not played enough of this archetype. I do want to know more. And I know this list has like interesting lines that I'm not going to get right away. I've played very little Audrey decks. Like sometimes I struggle to know the text on Audrey. It's just never been in my wheelhouse for some reason, even though there's some of the most interesting decks in the meta. Our money's good. We stabilized. Like, we just want to fight in Cacophony. We have our twinning. We didn't charge it that turn. But, like, Cacophony is okay, I guess. Into Nuvang. It's a bit weird with Basalt. But now they have to force an issue. So they're not doing anything this turn, which is really good for us. I think we can start with one Gachapon here. Maybe not the second one. So we have Audrey, which our MU is full. Azimat, our MU is full. Chisel, good. Gourmand, good. Chisel's good. They seem to ice R&D and not HQ, so that makes you think the points are there. So I could see us going for the Chisel and just like forcing a Devil Charm on this one. We have 2 more Devil Charms somewhere. That's good. So we'll shuffle cards back. Steel Skin is good because damage matters. Azimat we don't want. Second Audrey we actually kind of want in our bin, but we can't control that. Hannah back is it's okay. It's good against like running servers, but it's not that good probably. And ultimately with Event Horizons is a bit hard. So I think we just shuffle Audrey and Gourmand back. Done. Okay. Okay, so we want a Pally. We could have got deeper for a Pally. I think Pally or what's it called is what we wanted to hear. Cacophony. I think we just run this. If they res, they res. We probably blow it up. We do want to get an Audrey on the table, but I wanted to use the Gourmand. Maybe we just crack our Fermenter here. Yeah, we can just run. If they purge us, it's not the end of the world if it's a Fly Swatter. Click the Fermenter first. I'm not too stressed about it. Like, we have enough money. If we steal a 3-pointer, then we will, I guess. It's a Logjam. Okay, that dies. That's a good Devil Charm target. We'll see 2. We died to Bite, I guess. Slash. Okay, so we're still not a threat. Fencer's angry. But luckily, Fencer will defeat this, which charges to twinning. So the top of the deck is unknown. We could go back for 2 more cards. We're still not a threat, but we know they're on Slash. So we have to keep them honest when it comes to whatever. We could run HQ here to Gourmand a card. They might have points. We've only seen 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. They have to be playing 22. They've drawn through, what is it, 15 cards? No, more, like 25 cards. Yeah, I'll run HQ for a single. We just want to open up some MU here, so we'll try and use a Gourmand on whatever this is. Spin, I'll pay. That will trash for sure. Okay, that's good. So now we can get Audrey down, which is a bit ugly. I think we'll just draw and get the Simul Chip down. If they purge, we're fine. We're not on threat. So we can do draw purge. I mean, draw Simul Chip. Oh, that's really good too. We want to Topan that, which is going to be a bit hard with this hand. You can now click Fermenter and install Audrey to charge. I don't know if we have to click the Fermenter. Like, they can't purge here, can they? I'm pretty bad at like, I have a Fermenter on 6 counters and I still won't click it, but I just don't think we need money. Eventually we will. Okay, looks like a spin. Looks a lot like a spin now. They did break fully lock. The reanimation is really, really good because we were an Ice Destruction deck. That was a very good target. You kind of need money to be triple measured. Yeah, but at that point, that's when we'll take the Fermenter, right? We just need 4 cards in hand, 16 credits, and they're not purging this turn. They might have a Mavirus. Mavirus shows up as a 1-of in Nuvang because you do want cards like upgrades for, what's it called, for Logjam, and it's just a good card. But like, yeah, now we just need to do Fencer Fueno stuff. So I think we'll do Audrey. We'll run spin, we'll run HQ. Draw a card probably. Okay, they're going for the server, so we want to cut off the points before they enter there. They could have been a business. Oh, a business would have been cool, yeah. Usually they don't have slots. Like, we haven't seen a Sokka yet. I'll start with server 3 before we trash things. They can't give us to us because they already have a Spin Doctor in the bin, and we have a Fueno and a Twinning and a Audrey. Then we'll just run HQ. Maybe we'll click Fermenter. We'll see how we feel. If we steal points, we could click Fermenter. And then actually we could die if we... Wait. If we steal points here, we can still die, right? Because we go up to 18. They could do measured. Yeah, actually, I don't know if we can. I wonder what card has claimed the most runner kills in ANR history. I would say definitely Scorched Earth. There was just more players playing back in the day. There'd be Boomer Scorched Earth, but probably Scorched Earth. Maybe Snare, but like Snare doesn't kill as often as it is annoying. But Scorched Earth usually kills. Okay, so the issue is if we run HQ and steal an agenda, they can do measured. If they have a second measured, they can do a second measured, and then they can play the third measured, which means we need to have a lot of money. Yeah, it has to be Scorched Earth, I think, because that was like the predominant kill card for the first like 3 years of the game, and that was when the most games were played in the smallest period of time. We pop this, we go up to, what is it, 6 plus 12, so we're at 18, so we can survive double measured. Maybe they have they don't know that we have a steel skin in hand, which is technically plus a card. We could have 2. I mean, I'm just gonna do it. We died a bite, I guess. If we steal an agenda here, things get a bit dicey. Tree line, we'll gourmand that. Okay, that's good. We have a Nuka. So we've done our thing. We just want to trash with Fencer, but we can't really here. So we're still safe. I don't think I take the Fermenter. Is everyone going to think I'm daft if I don't take this Fermenter? Is daft like... Is that a bad word to say? I don't say it around here a lot. I think we'll just install a Nuka and we'll pass. Maybe you purge the Audrey counter. Take the money. No. This is cool. This is exciting. Imagine there was 12 credits on a card. Would you purge it? I mean, with the Audrey counter, maybe you would. Now they'll purge the Audrey. We'll see. It's 12 credits. Yeah, but imagine about 14 credits. It could be 14 credits. You'd add a slash green mail measured. Yeah, if we don't have steel skin. But like, they need to have all of that. I mean, they're thinking about it. So I think they're thinking about the purge or not. Which is what I'm thinking about. Imagine having 14 credits. Yes. All right, if they push, can they win? They would need to score this out with enough money left to Myoshu. So if they do a 1-pointer, they score green mail into Myoshu. That's only 3 points, so we're fine, right? Audrey refusing to crack fermenters. No, this is how I play. If they lose a whole turn, that is such good ability text. Why do people not want your opponent to lose a turn? Imagine getting 2 turns in a row. Oh, I almost spilled so much water. Okay, maybe I'll crack it now. The question is, can we run this? They're on 11 credits. We have an Audrey with the counter. We have 2 simul chips. The chisel is a bit deep. We have to click it now before we run for reasons, but I could see us running this. Okay, we'll take 14 credits. Everyone be cool. We only have 2 cards in hand, but Audrey only has 1 counter. We have no cookbook, but we have access to chisels, no botulus. I think we could start running this, right? This suggests they've been a better line than Purge, which bodes poorly for us. Yeah, but I can't see what the better line would be than Purge. You don't see a 4 dice, and like they have only 11 credits. I think we can run this. If it's an event horizon, we Audrey it. We go deeper. They have to be forced to res 2 ice because this 3rd ice is not doing anything. I'm just gonna run it. But the bad ice, I guess, is hammer. What happens if it's a hammer? Nuka draw? Yeah, Nuka draw is probably fine. If it's a hammer, it's bad. We have to simul chip chisel it. I mean, cookbook is probably worth something, but we can't run last click because they just trade event horizon. Let's see what this is. There's probably a hammer in this list. We don't want to hit click to movement because we have on approach triggers. So we'll see if they say no for their action. Did they say no for their action? I can't tell. They didn't. I shouldn't hit that button. They're thinking, shit, I need to wait for chat. Dice to double an enemy? Not anymore. I mean, they got to score out. It's a fly swatter. I mean, that's pretty good. Now I see why they put the 4th ice there. So we could break this. Technically. They're on 9 credits. We could simul chip for a chisel just to destroy it. This card is probably not worth destroying. Maybe it is annoying enough. But I could see us also just like running HQ here and seeing, hopefully trashing a card. Yeah, that would have been bad. Like, that's maybe why they didn't purge, but yeah, so Audrey has no counters, so we can't get through this. I could see just running HQ. We could also gotcha pound for a botulus. I'm actually into that as well. Yeah, let's do it. Nice. Hosted on Blink? I don't think so. So we'll shuffle back a Botulus, a Devil Charm, and a Gachapon. Done. Cool. Deeper we go. And now we have a target for the Sacrificial Simulchip. I think we get in here and have enough credits to not die. Let alone they're going to need enough credits to thread measured. You just have to remember they can double measured on 8 credits, which is a pretty low margin. Compared to most corps, I guess. Technically, Hedge Fund could do... Oh, they can't do triple measured because of the amount of clicks they have in a turn. Let me in. Okay, they obviously can't res this one, right? They did. I mean, yeah, I get it. It is annoying. Oh wait, we don't have a Devil Charm installed? Why did we think we could do this? I thought we had a Devil Charm installed. Oh, that's really funny. I was convinced we had a Devil Charm installed. So why are we doing this? We had a Devil Charm at some point. Yeah, we used it. I'm only doing this because I thought we had a Devil Charm. Admittedly, the Audrey got purged, so we could have put a cookbook down first. But this Masquerade will put them on 8, which is fewer credits than when they started this run. When we started this run. I think this is okay. Maybe if it's 2 Basalts, we're in a really bad spot. But they can only do triple measured at the end of the day. Okay, so we want to simultrip through this. We can just flicker the Botulus. Yeah, let's do it. We're already here. We know this is an agenda. Did we not trash a program? Wait, can we not? Why? Oh, we trashed the Fermenter. Oh, y'all, because we took the Fermenter, we can't do this. So we have to spend 2 Simulchips on this. We can't do that. Thought we're going to make them spend credits. I mean, they spend 3. Right? Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to do this. I think we'll just run HQ here. If we hit the Seamless, they can't score out. If we hit the Slash and Burn, they can't score out. Myoshu, okay. I'm gonna leave that because we have to. Yeah, they could do Seamless Myoshu, but they needs to be a 4-2 into Myoshu, right? So they could have done like Seamless and Off-World Office in a standard meta, and then maybe we lose to that? Like, Off-World Office Myoshu was probably real. But we saw the Myoshu in hand. Our Gourmands are all accounted for, I think. No, we have one more. We did just shuffle our deck, so the ordering with the buffer drive we haven't installed. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Now this server will not get easier to run. Seamless wins on a 3-2? No, they need 10 credits, right? Oh, because they Seamless for plus a credit. You're right, they can do Seamless credit Myoshu. Oh, fuck. It's not. So let them dream. Okay, that's fine. You're right, they can Seamless 3-2. That's absurd. And still win. Man, Myoshu's a card. I guess we could have Simulchip flickered for a thing. Oh, they added Gourmand to, sorry, they added Green Mail to hand? Okay. So they're expecting to score the Green Mail out and bring the Myoshu back. Trashing the Myoshu doesn't matter because they of course have Basalts. But next turn they can Seamless launch the Green Mail. Man, 4 Ice Rush remote server. I mean, I guess we're not putting enough pressure on. So what they can do is they can Seamless and then get the Myoshu back. If we trash the Myoshu, it doesn't matter because they can just pull back on our turn, bring back the Seamless on their turn. Because they Seamless to go to 9, credit Myoshu, which brings them to 8 points. So we have to run this or we lose. We can make them spend credits or we lose. So the bot just deals with this. We need to get an Audrey counter. There's a couple ways to do that. Wow. Okay. Wow. We really have to think about this because we have 2 Simulchips. If we install the cookbook, the Audrey gets basically Simulchips. Yeah, the Green Mail gives them 2 more. Yeah, so they can go lower there. See, Basalt was a mistake. I mean, so far all the recursion cards are the cards that I hate in the meta. So yeah, maybe. Man, recursion cards are really annoying. Yeah, the fact that they can recur endlessly before the game is over. Yeah, so we have no way of intelligently interacting with their game plan unless we can make them spend a lot of credits. And even then, there's a chance that they have like a hedge fund into Seamless into Myoshu, which like if they do that, we have to we can't stop it. So the question is whether we Simulchip now. We have this as our only Botulus, so that's not good because we currently need this Botulus here. So we can't really Simulchip to move the Botulus down the line. We can do it once. So we could get lucky and find something to trash with Audrey. That would be really important. We know their hand is Myoshu and then 2 unknowns. If we do a cookbook, we can
get through a 2 ice subroutine, and we can flicker the Audrey. So there's probably a line where we install the cookbook, just run, break this. If they res this, we flicker both the Botulus and the Audrey, reinstall the Audrey, use the Audrey to break, use the Audrey to break. And then they have an event horizon. I guess they might not have enough money, but I think we can get through this by just installing the cookbook and running. Best case scenario would be like we run a central second click after installing the cookbook and find a trashable. But I think we do cookbook, run R&D, run remote. I don't think we beat Event Horizon, but if they res Event Horizon, I don't think they have enough money. The question is, where are the trashables? I think I'm just going to hope R&D has a trashable because we know HQ doesn't. So it's a 1 in 3 of like whiffing. So if we find a trashable here, there's not that many trashables in New Vank. Ugh, Sokka. Okay. Not because of Sokka, because the card not being trashable. We'll run this now. So as we have to remember, when we simul chip to recur the Audrey, we will trash this Botulus. And we still have to respect like 2.5 measured, which maybe that's a reason we shouldn't run HQ. Break. All right, let's see what happens. We need to force a lot of money out of their pockets. Continued approach. Continued movement. I have to wait. I never know whose window it is. They say no further. Okay. So now we have to do a double flicker. If this is an event horizon, they go down to 4. So we have to do simul chip. We will trash the Botulus. Oh, giving them 2 credits is bad, actually. So I think we trash the Audrey to flicker the Audrey. And when we install the Audrey, we'll choose to trash the Botulus, which is legit. We'll do cookbook. Will we host a card on Bling? I mean, I don't think it helps us. Getting a Hannah would matter, but we need to click sooner than that. And I think we RFG'd Hannah. We did. So probably no. They can actually reserve and some Yoshi win. Yeah, I'm worried about that. So I think we have to stop this. But yeah, if they go down to 4. Yeah, you're right. Because they seamless for +1. They go to 5. They score, they go 7. No, I don't know. They would need an econ card. Yeah, if they have a hedge, they can do it. So we'll break all this. Trash a card from your hand. We'll get rid of the Lagu. Actually, no, we'll trash, sorry. Trash the badge. Oh, come on, oops. I boosted. Wrong window, though. It'll hold strength, I think. I do think triggered paid ability win corporate coercion is the worst. The runner often relies on trashing win cons and then nullifies the whole tentative Netrunner design. Like Gourmand is a bad card against Basalt, really bad, kind of wild. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, continue. Is there a hedge in heap? Oh, you're right. You can just grab a hedge fund. Yeah. So they can grab a hedge fund, but then we don't know if they have a seamless in hand. So that's what matters. So yeah, they could still do it if they have it, but they need everything in hand. Their hand has to be seamless Myoshu, and then they have to use a hedge fund. I think. No, because they can grab a hedge fund and seamless. Yeah, we're cooked here if this is the thing. Okay, so I'm going to ask for action. We might be able to run this back. I don't think we are, but they don't know that we can't. Is there any way that we can surprise them with a hush? But this is the worst case scenario. Okay, so they just popped it. Why do you have 2 simul chips? Yeah. Board state is cooked. You're right. This should be like this, should be like that. Because I did undo paid ability window and I ruined that. This is how we should be, right? Hey, Duckland, should you have simul chip on the Audrey break? Yeah, I did undo paid ability window and it undid everything. I think this is our right board state. Right? Okay, so the problem is they can grab a hedge fund, grab a seamless. They can seamless, they go up to 5. They play the hedge fund, they go to 10. They play Myoshu. Yeah, there's a seamless in archive, sure. But they need seamless, Myoshu, and everything. So the one way to stop us, and by stop this, I mean buy us literally a turn, is simul chipping for a Gourmand and running HQ. If we hit the Myoshu, then they can't combo this turn. How's Topan? Mid. Some games have been good, but like we fired Topan once this game. Man, just abandoning centrals and doing remote server Myoshu Russ. I mean, yeah, it seems real. So can we run this back? To run this back, we have to break a Maskarovka and a Fly Swatter. The best we can do is simul chip, but we can't flicker. So the only thing we can do is bring in the Botulus, which does not do enough. So I don't think we can run this. So the only line that we have to win is, we know the top of R&D is run HQ, Simulchip for Gourmand. Gourmand trashes a card, which maybe we should have simulchip for Gourmand anyways when we ran R&D for single. That was maybe a bad run. I don't know. But we can simulchip for Gourmand, and if we hit the Myoshu. If we hit the Myoshu, they have to like have a Seamless in hand, have a Hedge Fund in hand. Like there's 3 combo pieces and they can only recur 2 of them. So if we knock out one of them, maybe we can do something. But like, I think that's the only way, because we definitely lose on this board state if our opponent knows the line. Their line is on our turn, grab Seamless. On their turn, whatever, grab Hedge Fund. They do Seamless, go to 5, Hedge Fund, go to 9, score the agenda, go to 11, Myoshu, go to 1, win. I think we only can Gourmand go HQ. That's the only play we have. I guess actually we should have blinked, but I think the only card that gets us a blink here, because we're going to lose, is Hannah, and Hannah's out of the game. Like, yeah, click left with that doesn't work, so I think we'll just go HQ. Maybe this blink is wrong, because if we win, we want to not discard a... Damn, good game. GG. All right, bummer. Fencer, yeah. Yeah, they have it. All right, so we had a 1 and 3 there to buy a turn, and then maybe we can win by like sweeping HQ or something, but unfortunately that wasn't it. Event Horizon was the bad card for sure. I don't know if we played it perfectly. I don't think we did. I don't know if I would have seen this line. But yeah, this is the line that loses. Wait, what happened? Seamless? They're on 7? Yeah. They grab a Hedge Fund? Yeah, this is it. I mean, that's gross. Myoshu is strong. Like, Myoshu is a really strong card. And again, when they score out of Basalt, you can't really interact with it. It doesn't feel like, hey, thanks for game. Yeah, saw that ending coming. Wonder if we could have gotten in if we simulchip Botchless the Maskarovka and then only break the end of the run so we could break it twice. Yeah, maybe that was a line. Yeah, maybe that was actually better. I would have to think about it, but like only breaking 1 subroutine and having the Botchless is pretty good. Because I was trying not to give them 2 credits, and I realized like the 2 credits didn't matter because ultimately they had the sure gamble into Seamless line, which I don't think I would have saw immediately. Yeah. What was the third ice? The issue is if we put a Botchless there, then we have to like reinstall our Audrey. Yeah, maybe we could have done it. Maybe we could have forced the other res. I think yeah, Botchless on this with 2 counters means we can run it back. And the only thing we lose to is Event Horizon, so having the ability to run it back was pretty good. Yeah, maybe that does enough for us. Topan, I don't think fired. Tree line didn't make sense to res a Botchless around. Okay, cool. So worst case scenario, they could have res the tree line. I don't think they would have been combo out, but then they just like do it next turn, I think. So we have to win on centrals. Topan fired, paying 2. Oh, some of these are Gachapons. So I think actually some of our numbers are wrong. Okay, hold on. Topan, hit it for Mentor, so we saved 1 credit. Huh? I think that's the same for Mentor. Yeah. Chisel, we saved 2 credits. That's the same trigger. Botchless for 2 credits. I think we saved 6 credits, which this game wasn't that long, but it did not feel good. It was 9 turns, 6 credits. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, cool. That's a scary archetype. Again, we have no reason to force them to ice central, so they can really get away with this. But yeah, we even got our twinning early. We just weren't able to charge it enough. Maybe we should have cracked our Gachapons a bit more greedily, but at least we fired Bling a lot, I guess. That does help. We only have 19 cards left in our stack in 9 turns, and we're like a 53 card deck. Interesting. Man, weird. Weird games. Straight weird games. Hey, I'm the new Vim. I just played GG. Good game. And yeah, London, is your list with like 4 card switch? Yeah, London was like calling out the lines too, like how we lose on that. Yeah, there's maybe a line where we put a Botchless on the second ice, or on the on the Maskarovka, and then we can run back. Because yeah, Event Horizon is how we lose there for sure. But I don't know. I feel like we still lose there. Yeah, man. Maybe okay, so for our next games, we're going to test it, and we're just not going to respect Topan. And just if we have good cards in hand, we're going to lose them. And we're going to just say all cards are 2 credits, which like I don't agree with that. Because we do need some cards in the matchup. This hand looks good. We have Audrey, Cookbook, Bling, Paladin, Strike Fund. I mean, we can get a good Audrey, Topan this turn. They mulliganed. I'm worried that these are Zwicky, like, don't build a remote server, fast events decks with reanimation, which is a weird matchup because they can do anti-ice destruction. But there will be like BOX and stuff like that, which we can blow those up, I guess. Hey, best of luck. Have fun. All right, Petty Cash. So they're going to have 2 triggers, 2 turns. Random question, but I'm going to my first ever Netrunner turn with Roseville off the grid. I was wondering where are some good ways to prepare. Hey Finn, how's it going? I have an older video. It was from 2022 on my channel that says like, oh, you're going to your first big event. And it talks about like some of the ways that I prepare for big tournaments. I'm not sure how big off the grids usually are. They're pretty long, I think. They're pretty big. But a big thing is like mentally preparing for being in a loud enough room with a lot of people for a long time. That is kind of a big deal. So like make sure you have snacks. If you need like earplugs, do that sort of stuff. If you play on JNet, try and get a couple games in person if you can, just to get the cards on the table. Bring extra sleeves, really important, because if you rip a sleeve and you can't replace your deck, you have to replace your whole deck. So bring extra sleeves is really nice. Print out your deck list ahead of time, have it on you. You can sometimes refer to it if you need to. You can call a judge over. Also being very ready to call a judge over for any questions you have. That's very important. I love how push Mioshu ended up. It would have been easy to take such a silly card, unplayable direction with a trash cost by making cost like 16. I would be okay with a trash cost of 6, but yeah. All right, so we don't have much to do. Yo, Wenjong, heads up. What's up? If you're going into OTG, you should come through Madison in the next weekend for Megacities. Yeah, that's coming up in 2.5 weeks, I think. All right, so we should think this through. So we want to get Audrey down, Cookbook down. Can we install all these cards? 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we can't. And if we install Bling, I think we just set up to Topan next turn, which is exactly what we said we wouldn't do. But I think we just do this. We could do a 50-50 on the Audrey. But the problem is I don't want to draw, because drawing puts us away from our beautiful Bling. But I think we install Audrey here, click for a credit. And then next turn we can install the Bling with Topan, and then it starts drawing, and then we can start setting up. I'd say Def, keep in mind what type of judge calls or game losses. Yeah. Ooh, Greenmail. Nice. It's a competitive event. So like, yeah, you do need to play clean, but just call judges over. Miyoshi is my goat. If Miyoshi had 1 fan, it's me. Miyoshi had no fans. I'm dead and gone. Okay, let's start this. So we'll Topan, our first trigger. Bling. We'll do all of Topan. We'll host the Bling. It gets a Gourmand, really good start. We'll gain 2. We'll install the Gourmand, which draws a card. Host on Bling, it's a Fermenter. We'll install the Fermenter for the Paladin. I mean, feels good, I guess. Like, that's a lot of free card draw when we're on no cards in hand. But then ultimately, we're on no cards in hand. We have to watch out that this ice out of anything can be a Biowak. And for Biowak, we need 2 cards in hand, and we need another Audrey counter. So not perfect. We definitely want to find our Devil Charm Chisel. At least the next card we draw, we can Topan down guaranteed. 1-2 is only able to take 1 weekend off, and Rosevale is closer. You'll have a good time. OTGs are good. OTGs technically are like money events too, I think, which is technically a different tone. I don't think that's going to make anybody like a weird angle shooter like in some other card games. Otherwise, OTG wouldn't do that. But yeah, OTG is a fun event. I've been to the Game Center, which I think is where it is. So sad I can't make the OTG because FabNats is here. Yo, Swide, where's FabNats? I don't know if I knew you played Fab. I probably did, didn't I? Draw? I mean, we could send it. We are so incentivized to Topan this that we have to. So I guess we'll open up HQ, which it is a fast events deck. They are building a remote server, so maybe it's actually right to contest this. Okay, so we'll do Cookbook, Topan, Bling. We have to legally play this? Would I click for 3 this turn? No, I don't think I would. I think I would just let this go. I don't think I'd click this for 3 when we have a Fermenter. So I think we just install Nuka and die to fast events of ZF, I guess. And casual AF. Okay, who are you playing? Also Minneapolis. I figured as a local it'd be the only time I attend to FabNats. Oh, that's sick. It's the new set too, right? Omens is out. Hansei. So this looks like it is the list that like John was playing on camera and or I think Alpi played at. I said Belgian Nationals, but there's no way that's correct. Which building a remote server is strange. It's probably bad publicity until proven otherwise. So we could face check with the Audrey. We just need cards in hand, which luckily we do have access to those. Okay, we can install Botulus and just hope that it hits the Azamat. We can also start with the price. Our MU is full, so we can't really get programs that we care about. But running this is probably like an Antil or Spin Doctor. Might not be an agenda. But we can always check this. Worst case, we Gourmand it. I'm okay running it. If it is the big old snake, it just ends the run. Or sorry, the lizard. Let's see what happens. We need to make runs to win Netrunner. Event Horizon. Okay. Yeah, okay. If they pop it, we're happy. Antil. So we'll just pay 1 from pocket, keep the Gourmand around. We keep our Audrey alive and well. We can contest this with a Chisel. So we price for a Chisel. We're over MU. Yeah, Audrey is too. They still don't have bad publicity, so I think we can just continue to set up. This will trigger Bling. It's a buffer drive for free. Bling, we don't need. Nuka, Fermenter, we'll do it for the 1 card we want to install. And if we Bling off the top, it's a Gachapon. We'll install that and we'll stop blinking, which I'm pretty sure you're meant to stop blinking at some point. This Gachapon could hit us a Cacophony or a Twinning, which would be the best case. They just purge. Is everyone yelling about Fermenter in chat? I don't think we care. This has measured in it. So on 2 credits and Paladin, we can definitely fire the Gachapon. Audrey, Bling, Devil Charm, Dreamnet, the twinning. I mean, we're going for the twinning here for sure. The Dreamnet we haven't installed. Obviously, it's good. We'll shuffle back. Devil Charm, price. Second Audrey is actually kind of worth something because we haven't seen a Simul chip yet. The Dreamnet and the Bling are like Bling we definitely don't need. Dreamnet maybe. But we did unfortunately fire our Gachapon to our Gachapon. So now we just want to install things using Paladin. This is the issue where like Paladin wants you to use Paladin instead of Topan because otherwise you don't get counters. So Lago's a connection, it doesn't work. Fermenter is MU full. So like we actually can't install anything here. Oops. So they purged our Audrey, which is important, but we literally cannot install anything here to fire the twinning, and we need to. We don't have a Simul chip. We could draw for a Simul chip. I don't want to crack this Fermenter. We in theory could trash this Chisel. It's like not super important. And I could see us installing this Fermenter off of Topan. Oh no, we have to use Paladin. Bummer. So I think we can install the Fermenter and Topan the Lagu, which is definitely going to fire a fair bit. So I'm not going to click for 2. I'm going to actually get rid of this Chisel. Trash. Done. Yep. Cookbook. And then we'll Topan the Lagu. Topan. We might as well, I guess. Bling. Pinhole. It's a good card in the matchup. We don't know if they're on, we know they're on Antiope, which means it's probably not full fast advance. They actually grabbed cards with Toxin. We should have known what those are. We didn't pay any attention. They Toxin to Maskarovka and a Winchester. So that's probably a Winchester. I think we just keep drawing here. The Pinhole would be good in the matchup, but it looks like this might not be. Oh, that's good. Not full fast advance. Is it bad that I'm so loop-pilled? Where's the card draw on trash? No, that's good. I think Lou's fine. Petty Cash. They did remove one from the game, so less likely technically that they're on Plutus. Simul chip on the bottom. Okay. So it costs us 6 credits to run this, or we can just get a Chisel off the Gachapon. So we know there's 1 Simul chip on the bottom, so we could draw into 2 Simul chips. I could see it's just Gachaponing for the Bling and seeing if it draws a Chisel. Simul chip is good enough. That hits the twinning. So we could crack a Fermenter, run this, but if they purge, like, sorry, not if they purge, this, they can just crack it, so it's not worth anything. So we can run this in Gachapon. We get to see 6 out of 25 cards. Our MU is full though. So this is probably just like a low value Fermenter. And if whatever's in this remote server, I don't think it's that worrisome. We could always pinhole and say that it's an anthill, but if it's an anthill, we'll pinhole next turn. So I think we just draw here. We've already Topaned, right? No, we haven't, but we don't want to. I think we just draw and click 1 Fermenter. That's really good to Topan next turn. Also, OG pricing came in today and it looks really good. Ooh, has it been shown yet or no? So they don't res Hansei. We have to play around measured at some point. There's cards in archive, so it could be a Spin Doctor. Ice in front of Event Horizon, really good. So we do want to chisel that. We will crack the Gachapon because our MU is open. What are we looking for here, though? I don't know actually if there's anything we're looking for. I think we want to keep this at instant speed to be able to grab a Botulus or a Chisel. This could be something we pinhole. I don't think so. I think we just get Cacophony down here and we start running centrals. There's 3 Devil Charms left in the deck. I think that's what we want. Yeah, we really want Devil Charms here. Okay, so I think we can just Topan this Cacophony. Charges the twinning. Above the Law will ruin the game. That's a good hit. Then we draw. Okay, hit a Devil Charm. Didn't. We have Badge, whatever. Chisel, pretty good. We have the MU. Gachapon, we already have that. The only miss we hit was a price. Okay. Cookbook. Host Bling. Yeah, we can. We want to find a Devil Charm. Lagu. Okay, that's garbage. That's fine. So we run this. Worst case scenario, we can flicker the Cookbook, but we can see 3 on R&D, which is good. Technically, if we see 4 points, though, we lose the game, which we probably should be respecting that. Because if we see too many points, we just die to a single measured, and that's embarrassing. We don't want to do that. So we probably have to pump the brakes slightly. You don't want to be too aggressive here. We just need to find a Devil Charm. Okay, we can always send that to Audrey on their turn to draw 2 cards and put it on the bottom. I have no idea what server 2 is. Could be like a Malapert. It's a spin. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, the cool thing about this is once per turn, so you can always just feed me, and then get some card draw and bottom the Steel Skin. Can't tell whether they're spending their influence yet. We've seen very few cards because we haven't been running. Hanseis are 2 influence easy. Second ice on R&D, yeah, makes sense. The Chisel's working. We expect Maskarovkas. The thing is, like, we expect like Valid Chows and Trebuchets are all 6 strength. So again, our 3 Devil Charms in 18 are so valuable. Spin Doctor for 1 unseen, so 1 face down filter. Get us a Devil Charm. Not the way we wanted it. And now actually we shouldn't do the Steel Skin into the Audrey. I mean, can we run this? We need a Devil Charm to run this. We know 1's on the bottom, so Gachapon does shuffle, but there's still 2 in the top 16. Not the best odds. We can start our turn by just like feeding Steel Skin to Audrey just to draw 2 clicklessly. I mean, I could see that being cracked. Nothing. Okay. There's only 1 chisel in the deck, so dealing with Event Horizon is a bit tricky. But I do want to run this. They never advanced, which is strange. So like they could just score out above the law, knock out the high value twinning. So we could consider running this. Worst case, if it's like a big thing, we just flicker Audrey and have cards in hand. We could also like pinhole it and see what it is. But like they have to have agendas. They've gone through, they filtered 1 card away. They've drawn through 25. They've seen 1 point. So HQ is cooked and this is probably an agenda. I just like without the Devil Charms, I feel weak, but we probably shouldn't. I wonder if we can just like crack the Fermenter, put a Botchus on this run. That's probably good enough. We'll play 6 for the Event Horizon. Yeah, that seems good. Do we want to Topan this? No, we want to charge the twinning. So we'll see. It only has 2 counters. Might be good enough, but we have to run it twice. So if it's a Masquerade, they'll get credits. Oh, it's a big one. It's a BOAC. So this is what's something we want to destroy. We can't get through all of this. They are on 0 points now, though, which is good. And eventually we'll destroy this. So we might just work on destroying their scoring remote server. If we break this, we can't break all the subroutines. We can technically say, like, are you going to trash a program or end the run? And if they trash a program, we might be able to get through the server. Then they throw the Event Horizon at us. I mean, I think we just break the ones that matter and just say you have a card in the server. Trash? Excuse me? Oh, weird. Yeah, I think we just do this. I don't know what they can score out here that we're really concerned about. We could Topan, but Bling Last Click is a bit weird. So I think we just draw up. We didn't fire Cacophony, but we have a twinning loaded and running HQ is good. We know this is a Winchester, but we need Audrey counters. So, I mean, that's the last chisel. We want that for an Event Horizon, I guess. But they are building a remote server. Yeah, above the law is definitely the worst here if they trash our twinning, but at least we have a Cacophony. Oh, they overinstalled? Okay. Stop bottoming the Devil Charms. That's 2 Devil Charms on the bottom of our deck. So now we have to fire Gachapon just to shuffle. If this goes through, we're not super upset though. Like this is just points. And this means they're not on full fast advance. We've seen no bad publicity. They're on 28 credits though. They're probably a Myoshu deck again, right? Man, Myoshu. I think we have to fire the Gachapon here just for the shuffle. Because we know that there's 2 Devil Charms on our bottom 2 cards of our stack. Or bottom 3, I think. This server we can get into. Could be a big deal. Yeah, actually. Yeah, big deal as well as an option. So all we have to do here is find a Devil Charm. We can pay 6. So we will shuffle. So Audrey, Botchus, Buffer Drive, Fencer Fun, Steel Skin, Steel Skin. So we can install one of these. Our MU is full, but we technically can refresh the Botchus. So we actually can just run the BOAC. But we only can run it once. So I guess we just get the Fencer Fun and shuffle. Host the top. It's not shuffled yet, but we might as well because there's a chance it's a charm. Simulchip is really important. So 3 cards back. We'll shuffle back a Botchus and 2 Steel Skins. The Audrey's RFG'd, so this is our last Audrey, but we just shuffled the deck. So there's a small chance. Again, there's just 3 Devil Charms in 10. We have no way to clicklessly draw. That's the RNG we have to live with when we play the Price and Lagu. I mean, yeah, 50-50 to draw the good one or bottom it, but like, I don't know, 3 and 50. Can't be too upset about it. But yeah, how do we clicklessly draw here? We can't. Unless we Topan the Simulchip, which seems fine actually. There's not a lot of cards in our hand we care about. So this allows us to clicklessly draw. Good. Okay. Devil Charm? No. This is in our hand, but we have to play it, which sucks. Because that means we can't run the Sack Zone. If they score the Sack Zone, it's not the end of the world. And they can't Myoshu it. It's so ugly. This on the top is so bad. If we drew it, we could have like Audrey did, I guess. But now we have to pay 1 to draw 3, which puts us at 8 cards in hand. We want to install a card with Paladin. We'll find a Devil Charm off of this for sure. Yeah, there you go. So we'll get our twinning counter. So if we run this, it's not amazing. We definitely are missing the MU. Like I could see us playing a Keiko here for sure. We can install the Hannah for 2. We also have to watch out. We have no more like money coming in unless we like simulchip for a fermenter because we used all our fermenters. So like we're gonna have to play the triple measured world for a bit. So we can't install Devil Charm. Our MU is full. So the only card we can install here is Hannah. Hannah into the Vent Horizon is not amazing. I could see us just like clicking for credit, throwing out 2 cards here. Yeah. If we install the Hannah, we can't use Paladin. Have we charged a twinning? Yeah, we did. We did charge a twinning off of the Devil Charm. Yeah, okay. Credit. We'll throw out Hannah. And I think the Pinnacle is probably still worth something. I'll get rid of a Gourmand. Let's see if they just score it and pass. We're relatively happy. We just should figure out how to run HQ. They might not score it though if they want to like do a Myoshu. Like they might just, oh, seamless. Okay, so now they do Myoshu, which I mean, they're down to 19 credits. Okay, so now we have to blow open HQ, which we have a Devil Charm on the table. We have an Audrey without a counter. We can do this. Hey, Huckleberry, thank you all for your insights on the Off the Grid. I've been trying to tune in more streams in the future. Catch y'all later. Hey, cheers. If you're going, hope you have a good time. It's a good event from what I've heard. Okay, so we want to get into HQ for sure. This is a Winchester. Winchester is annoying. Our MU is really full, but this botch list doesn't matter because we're going to destroy the BOAC. So we don't know what this card is. We have to use our Simul Chips pretty aggressively here, and then we're going to run out of cards. Yeah, no Audrey counter is not good. Next turn, I don't think they can win on the spot, but we're on also threat 4, so we have to play around 300 measured. So, man, we've made like 2 runs this game. Do not feel good about it. We know this is a Winchester for sure. The only way that we break Winchester really easily is by destroying it. So we could pre-chisel it, but that's a bad Devil Charm use, and then we could like botchless whatever this is. The problem is like once we trash this botchless, that's fine. We can't Topan this hand, it's too good. I'm worried that we're gonna run out of money. And then we're gonna die to measured here. This is Gourmand we also could get rid of, but I think we're gonna use it here. And we want to use this what's it called? This Gourmand to just get our MU open. No further. Oh wow, okay. So I don't know if they were, I would trade a Winchester for a Devil Charm. Yeah, they did. Okay. So we'll do Devil Charm, Chisel, Reach. We'll see all the cards we can. We'll pay 3. We have the money. SDS, we'll steal that with the Gourmand. Seamless. Okay, good to know they have that. We could go back. We've trashed the program though, so the best we can do is like simul chip up. We can install Devil Charm. We got an Audrey counter, so we could run back. In terms of measured, we can survive 2 measured, but not 3. But we know they have a seamless in hand, so it's very unlikely unless they top deck a measured and every other card we miss is a measured. What else did we hit? We had measured, which we trashed, yeah. We got a cacophony counter, we got a twinning counter, so we've done what we need to. This server, if they push into it, we can blow it up next turn by just like spending 6, but I could see us running back. Yeah, I'm okay running back, I think. They should have more points here, right? Like they've drawn through 29 cards. They shuffled 1 agenda back. This is only, what is it? 6 points so far? I'm going to see 2 again if they don't res. They didn't res last time, so maybe this is a BOAC and they don't want it. It's a Fly Swatter. Oh, very cool. Man, that card's been annoying for us today. We can't really botchless this, but there seems like there's points in hand. I think we just let this fire. We have a botchless in our hand to deal with it, but that's going to be our turn. So I don't know if we want to show the Devil Charm. They have to know that we're on more Devil Charms, right? So I guess we install this with Paladin. We've already fired twinning. So can they score out 7 more points? I don't think they're on bad publicity anymore, so they actually have to score in a remote server. They still could be on big deal because we have seen very little influence. Ice on HQ, okay. Nothing to fire on their turn that we care about. Do we run R&D here? C3? I mean, locking the deck seems fine. The remote server's not doing anything. Township Chisel and Swatter would be Kino. Yeah. I just feel like there's better targets. How's it going, by the way, Axel? I liked your commentary this Berlin Megacities. It was a good tournament. Yeah, wow. My brain is cooked. We're like 4 hours in and I'm like struggling to see the lines now. This is the issue. Like between 3 and 5, I get so hungry because I haven't eaten since noon. And we're just like locked in and playing this. And we're in survival mode. Like we've felt like we've been on survival mode. We've not they're not playing our game. We're playing their game. And we've been playing their game for the last, like, I think 18 turns across 2 games. I think we just run R&D here and see what happens. We don't need to install the Botulus. We can always respond by flickering the Audrey or this Chisel. We have the Devil Charm for this. So they're forced to res this one. That's the problem with these mulch decks. They make you think too much, which is like, the thing is, you put in the work now and then later you think less. The problem is I'm still at the think a lot now thing, which is important. They asked me to be nice while commenting Berlin. For real, putting on the shackles. I mean, it was good. You being nice is good commentary. I'm glad that they did. Okay, so this does look like Sokka's list. So it has a Brawn in it. We're incentivized to Chisel Charm this, but I think we're just going to click through this because I don't think we have much else to do on our turn. We'll Chisel Charm this later, but like just seeing 3 on R&D is good enough. I did that the wrong way. I should have clicked on it. I did the interface wrong, but yeah, cool. So if they res this, it gets instantly destroyed. It's a Maskarovka. That's pretty good for them. So I think we have to flicker the Audrey. We might not get a Trashable necessarily. They're on 3 credits, so like we can be a bit risky into measured because they can only play probably 1. They have no obvious face down petty caches, which can sometimes goof the math up. Yeah, I think we'll flicker the Audrey here. This Chisel is useless though. Do we flicker the Chisel into a Botulus? Maybe we do. That's probably better. Because I don't want to Chisel that, I guess. We have to remember we can use the buffer drive. Cookbook. Install Bling. We have no clicks left. Let's not. Keeping their money down is important. Because otherwise they can measure us. If they have a Hanse, they can double measure us. We won't die to that. No, we will die to that. We have to keep their money down. Okay. Measured. Yeah, it's cheap. Gives us an Audrey counter and a Cacophony counter. BOAC. So the top of the deck is Petty Cache, BOAC. So if we hit the Cacophony, they trash a Petty Cache, which we don't want them to do. So I don't think we use the Cacophony here because they know the top of R&D is safe. I think it's really bad to fire Cacophony on a turn that you've ran R&D. So 2 measures are out. They have 1 Spin Doctor in the out of game. I unironically wonder if Topan deck would be work as a loot deck with Carnivore instead of Blink. I think it could. I think Carnivore is a bit too much. Like I think I'd just play Keiko or find Influence to play Hermes. They have the Hedge Fund. Okay. Nice. Steel Skin. Steel Skin. So this server we can blow up. We have to use our second Simul chip. So we have no idea what this is. We're just going to blow this up pay 6. We don't have to play around measured anymore. Could be a Spin Doctor, but it's fine. Imagine Carnivore's 2 to install. Yeah. Man, Hermes is a bit cheap, huh? Okay. Fine. Oh, we can Event Horizon for a card. That's fine too. So we have no more Chisels in the list. They're all 3 in the bin. So I think we're just going to Simul chip this Botulus. For that, we can fire Blink here. It's a Steel Skin. Ugly. We could have known that. Oh, no, we shuffled the deck. Install Ozma to trash the Simul chip? Yeah, actually, maybe you're right. Or even the Gourmand, because actually the Botulus here makes sense, but unfortunately we got information. I could see that being correct, yeah. We install it for free, getting the twinning counter, and then we destroy it. Yeah, I actually like that better. I think the Botulus on the Maskarovka means we can run every 2 turns, and now we have to rely on Audrey. Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good change. We have the clicks to burn here. Okay. We might run out Audrey counters, so we'll do Devil Charm -6. We have 1 more Devil Charm in our deck, 1 more Simul chip. This... we can actually just pay 6 probably, but we'll use Audrey. They can't really crack this, right? So Green Mail, wow. Okay, so Cacophony's on 4. Paladin's angry. Easy to fix. What do we know about the hand? We know the hand has a Petty Cache in it, which they did not play. No, they did play. It's in the bin. And they played Hedge Fund. That's why they have money. So the top of the deck is another BOAC. So maybe we don't Cacophony now, but I don't want them to draw the BOAC. The BOAC's not a good draw though. Yeah, man, installing the Azuma would have been so better. Feels bad. We don't want to use the Steel Skin. The bottom of our deck is, I think, like only Strike Funds. No, all the Strike Funds are here. Uh-oh. And this is our only buffer drive. Run Archives? I mean, yeah, I guess, but it's only for interest. It's not, we don't have much to do here, but this is like, I have no idea what's in here. We have to see more points by now. Wow, they're on a bite and a Spin Doctor hit the bin. What is their hand? I could see us botching this and running HQ. We want to install a card. I think installing the Simul chip is fine. And I think next time we'll pinhole server. No, they have to put another ice here and res it, but they're drawing the BOAC, which they can't afford to res unless they get rid of the sack zone. That's the second green mail. We're on game point. We're on threat 4. They can do Hansei. They can't do double measured easily. So I think we'll just get credits. Cacophony. I think we'll do it. If they trash the top card of the deck, I mean, that's okay. Maybe they forgot. 3 from HQ. Wow. So they have a BOAC and they got rid of their hand. There's a petty cash. They get a clickless card draw. So that's nice. So they have BOAC and that's all we know. They just drawing? Let's see if they jam. Behind just an event horizon doesn't feel like enough. We have to break HQ here. Issues like Fly Swatter is hard for us to deal with. You could play a Buzzsaw. You trash 2 measured? Yeah, 2 measured are out. There's only 1 left in the game. So we don't have to be super scared about anything more than single measured. Okay, thinking. In 3 cards, we have a Devil Charm and we have a Simulchip Chisel. Issue is that this Fly Swatter sucks. It really does suck. They probably have points in hand. We know they didn't throw out agendas because that would be really weird. So we can like Botchless on the Fly Swatter. Or we could also just like Botchless on the Maskarovka and run it. But I think we Botchless on the Fly Swatter. We want to sweep HQ. Because there are only 10 cards left in the deck. They have to have points. So if we Botchless on the Fly Swatter, we basically just want to figure out how to draw into our Devil Charm. And then like maybe we trash the Audrey. And then we have to win with just the last run. Yeah, we have to like win with the last run here. I think it's really tricky. Because this is our last Simulchip and this is our last Audrey because we removed one from the game. So this Audrey can't survive, so we have to install the Azamat. Wow. What is this turn? Oh my god, my head hurts. So we can install Gourmand, which draws with Bling, which has a 1 in 3 chance. Maybe actually better because we know the bottom card is not. This will hit a Devil Charm half the time. Yeah. So we'll install the Devil Charm. Now their points are not going anywhere. There's only 1 more Spin Doctor. But we could like botch us on this and run next turn. I think that's next turn. So we'll install the Azamat so we have another Simulchip target. The bottom of our stack, we should have 100% information what this is. Issue is all of our strike funds and all of our steel skins are out of the game. The most important thing is all the strike funds are out of the game. If you keep 1 strike fund, you can recur it and basically play it every turn off of the Audrey and then just have this like really good econ engine as much as we can't actually spend the credits because we have no real breakers. But it's a cool thing to do. And that's why you keep the second buffer drive, I guess, to be able to remove the game to that one. A Cacophony could trigger here. I don't think it does. I think we just draw. I think Fencer Fueno, we will pay a credit for her. I think installing the Azamat actually is clumsy because we're going to have to Simulchip for something here. Yeah, I think we just draw, click for credit. Right, so the rest of our deck is useless. We'll pay 1. Probably will fire. Hansei, big money. Draw. So they have 5 cards. Now they're building remote server. So we should try and, you know, fix the issue here on HQ. So we can do Botchless run. Botchless Azamat run? No, OMU is over. So worst case scenario, we trade the Gourmand into something that destroys ice. It's an Afshar. I mean, we just chisel that. We keep the Devil Charm, but it's kind of useless because there's no more anything. So we're going to Simulchip the Gourmand. At least HQ is softer. We probably win, but if we don't, it's really bad. So this will die because of the cookbook counter. No reason to do that. So we'll do Chisel first. And we can get 2 runs on HQ. We have to watch how they're playing Bite, so we want to be a bit careful. Break subroutine. Yeah. So this should win the game. Sack zone, good start. GG. Lobola, yeah, okay. Pay to steal, yeah, it does win the game. Hey, GG. They had to be somewhere, right? Like they only have 7 cards left in ID. Hey, thanks, you too. Tricky one there. That's fun. Tricky end there to not run out of gas. Hey, cheers, you too. Yeah, wow. I mean, that makes sense. And now they're at the point with 7 cards left in R&D. Like, they still have to get to 7 with Cacophony. So their play is like to do install advance and remote server. Say that, for heaven forbid, we whiff, and they put it at 5-3 in here. Like, it maybe gets a bit sketch, because, like, if Audrey doesn't trash a card there, we can't get a counter, and we have to run this twice. The thing is, like, Event Horizon has real text, which is paying 6. Yeah, yeah. I think you get there in 1 more turn or 2. I could not find a charm for the first 10 turns, which really hurt. Yeah, we couldn't find a charm. I don't like how long it took us for us to run. I wish we could run a bit sooner. This is why you never want to Mioshu unless it wins the game too much of a credit hit. I don't... Oh, hold on. Maybe. But I do think being on game point as soon as possible forces us to play their game. and because they don't have a 5-3, they don't seem to be on basalt. If they lose the Myoshu, they lose the Myoshu. I think the problem was like their remote server was not good into our deck. If they had a third ice, like a Maskarovka, then the remote server is good into our ice. But like a huge Devil Charm target and then an Event Horizon was not good enough. If they had a third ice here, like heaven forbid they had, which people are not playing anymore, Kessleroid. If they had a Kessleroid on the remote server, I think it's totally fine. They just jam at 5-3. Yeah, a bite would have got me. Hey, thanks again. Yeah, they threw out a Spin Doctor, I think, unforced, which might have been a mistake. But yeah, I don't know. I think a Temple Myoshu is not as bad as it looks. I just think the remote server wasn't it. Like, I think they over-indexed on R&D, and then they should have just like, because that was like the thing that we lost in the last matchup. Our opponents realized like the whole game's in the remote server. Central servers only matter if Audrey can get counters, and you know how trashable your deck is. Just pushing the remote. All right, it's 4 o'clock. We've been streaming for about 4 hours. I think we might call it there. We usually stream for about 4 or 5 hours, but I think that actually makes a fair bit of sense today. We've been playing a fair bit of Topan, and honestly, we probably could fire Topan a bit more, but I don't think I'm impressed with the idea itself. It's nice that it helps you set up, that's for sure, but I could see a world where you just trade this for loot and see how it goes. I think you have to be able to run more, but also you could put one of Evolve Breakers in this list, and maybe it also would be a same idea. Like, once we get to the bottom of our deck, and we have the Steelskin Audrey engine, if you play Keiko and you have slightly more MU, I could see us wanting to play one Buzzsaw, one Echelon, maybe one Fractor, and having a good day with that, and like actually getting through our Breakers, which is kind of cool, and breaking ice for cheap. I could see that. I also can see like playing, what's it called? A singleton copy of the Tungsten Tailor, which seems pretty good. Yeah. Of course, I want to give you a huge thank you to all these names here and more, and specifically on the channel. We've been putting out some video content. We'll have another video next week on a Monday. We're trying to get more stuff out on this channel. We have a bit more time for that for sure. And again, this stuff would not be possible without all these names here and more. The sort of video stuff we do takes way more time than you might think. So like all these names in our daily cast patrons are exactly the reason why this happens. So thank you so much. If you want to support the channel financially, you can find a link in the description on Patreon. Any amount of like contribution greatly does help. I promise you it does. So if you want to like contribute and become a supporter of the channel, it's absolutely super appreciated. Otherwise, in terms of YouTube, you want to leave a like. If you want to subscribe, mind you, on Twitch too, you can follow. That's a fun one. Or you can subscribe to this channel, leave a comment. That sort of stuff helps a heck of a lot. Again, we're going to be streaming twice a week. We'll be back on Thursday night, which we have to figure out how to play this HB combo deck for better or for worse. And then otherwise, we'll be back next Tuesday, but there'll be another video on Monday. So look forward to that. It's all done. I just have to publish it. So it's good to be able to have that done. That was this weekend. It took a fair bit of time. Thanks for helping pass a slow workday. Catch you on the next one. Hey, glad to be able to make the workday a bit more manageable. I know how it is sometimes. That's for sure. Hey, Masterado, cool stream. Take care. Thank you. You too. I've been bad at answering some YouTube comments, so I'm going to take some time after we do some publishing to go back and just sit down and read all the comments. I promise you I do. And we'll catch up on that. Take care, y'all. We'll catch you in the next one.